Fengzi, you are so nice. Shen Cheng put the breakfast on the table in the bedroom and said while helping Zhang Wanwan get dressed. I'm not good, I'm a bad Fengzi with no conscience. Zhang Wanwan didn't feel embarrassed when someone heard her saying bad things. I think she must be talking nonsense. Yeah, so you said she was talking nonsense. How should I punish her? Shen Feng asked with a smile. Zhang Wanwan gave Shen Feng a kiss on the face. This is how I punish you. After the two of them finished their breakfast and packed up their things, Zhang Wanwan suggested going home to visit. Although Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday hasn't arrived yet, it was still a long journey after all. Now that I'm back, I should go and see him. Especially now that the relationship between Zhang Wanwan and Zhang Ziyiqi has long been eased. Zhang Ziyiqi no longer has any opinion about Shen Feng. The most important thing is, the steamed bread is still in Zhang Ziyiqi's house. Su Yan hates dogs the most, so she has to take it back quickly. Shen Feng drove and took Zhang Wanwan to Zhang Ziyiqi's house. When she arrived at the door, Zhang Wanwan knocked. The person who opened the door was not Zhang Ziyiqi or Su Yan, but a nanny in the house. This nanny has been with Zhang Ziyiqi and Su Yan for many years and has a good relationship with Zhang Wanwan. Seeing Zhang Wanwan coming back, the nanny immediately smiled and said, Wanwan, you're back. Aunt Li. Zhang Wanwan also smiled and hugged the nanny. They look so close. Shen Cheng came in following Zhang Wanwan. At first, Aunt Li didn't see him. When she saw Shen Feng, Aunt Li's expression became even more interesting. She let go of Zhang Wanwan and greeted Shen Feng happily. Oh, this this my son-in-law? Come in quickly. You are my distinguished guest. If you say that. When Aunt Li saw Zhang Wanwan, the expression on her face was laughter. When she saw Shen Feng, Aunt Li's face was already full of smiles. She hurriedly pulled Shen Feng to the living room, saying as she walked, Sir, come and sit down, I'll make you some tea. He was so enthusiastic that he seemed to have completely forgotten that Zhang Wanwan was beside him. When Shen Feng looked at this scene, he always felt a sense of déjà vu. Once upon a time, when he was taking Zhang Wanwan back to his home, Tang Ping and Shen Xiaojiyuo also treated Zhang Wanwan warmly and ignored him. This is probably the changing of times, Shen Feng thought to himself. Then he saw Zhang Wanwan drinking the tea that Aunt Li poured for him. Shen Cheng felt a little emotional again. This is probably the family status. The kind that won't change no matter how you turn it. Zhang Ziyiqi went to work and was not at home. Su Yan was the only one at home. At first, Zhang Wanwan didn't see any steamed bread at home, and was worried that Su Yan hated the steamed bread so much that she stewed it. As a result, Su Yan was seen coming down from upstairs holding a steamed bun. Zhang Wanwan was almost stunned by what she saw. She hated Go Wuzi's mother the most. She held the steamed bread as if she were a big treasure. When Wotu nestled in Su Yan's arms, enjoying himself very comfortably. When he saw Zhang Wanwan, his expression didn't change. It seems that he no longer wants to recognize Zhang Wanwan as his master. Mom, you don't like dogs, right? Why? Seeing Su Yan sitting next to her holding a steamed bread, Zhang Wanwan asked with trembling lips. Su Yan smiled and said, Oh, I don't like dogs, but I like steamed bread. Wanwan, you don't know how obedient and sensible Wotu is. He is so well behaved. And he is very smart. I have never seen such a clever dog. He is so cute. Su Yan stroked the dog and said, Since Wotu came, I've been happier every day. Wotu lay in Su Yan's arms and yawned with his mouth wide open. And he licked Su Yan's hand as if to please her. Su Yan laughed happily, went to the kitchen and got a big meat bone for Wotu, which Wotu gnawed happily. Zhang Wanwan couldn't help but her eyelids twitching as she watched. Mom, do you usually feed Wotu with meat and bones like this? Su Yan waved her hands. Why do you always feed it these meat bones? Zhang Wanwan breathed a sigh of relief. That's fine. Otherwise, wouldn't the dog be eating as well as she is? Then Su Yan said, in addition to meat and bones, I also asked someone to prepare special dog food for it. And also specially made beef jerky. And I also got some preserved fruits for it as snacks. And it loves them. Zhang Wanwan. She finally understood why Wotu behaved so obediently and honestly and liked to please Su Yan so much. So this guy eats so well every day? Mom, Wotu is just a local dog. You don't need to buy so many good things to feed it. It's enough to make it full. I only feed it ordinary dog food and ham sausage at home. As a result, after Zhang Wanwan said this, Su Yan immediately rolled her eyes. Wotu is such a good dog, how can you be so stingy to raise it? No wonder when your father brought it here, I saw that it was so skinny. Wotu, tell me yourself, do you like to follow your mother or your sister Wanwan? Zhang Wanwan didn't expect that she was of the same generation as Wotu. What was even more unexpected was that Wotu, the ungrateful dog, actually jumped into Su Yan's arms without hesitation. He also pointed his butt at Zhang Wanwan. He shook his big tail proudly. Zhang Wanwan clenched her fists in anger. The dog is relying on the power of the man. The dog is relying on the power of the man. She took out her cell phone and typed a line of words in the search bar. How to make delicious dog meat. When Su Yan saw Zhang Wanwan's search, she immediately snatched Zhang Wanwan's phone away. He stared at Zhang Wanwan and said, Wanwan, let me tell you, WOTU is now an important member of our family. Don't even think about touching a hair on it. Zhang Wanwan looked at Su Yan aggrieved. Lie? Mom, I finally came back from a business trip to see you. But you kept talking about steamed bread and didn't care about me at all. Who is your daughter? Am I not your sweet little cotton padded jacket? Su Yan sneered. You know your mother doesn't like dogs, but you still send the dog here. You are not a caring little cotton padded jacket. You are a black-hearted little cotton padded jacket. Besides, why should I care about your affairs? Isn't Feng Zi taking care of you? Zhang Wanwan pouted. Aren't you afraid that Feng Zi will bully me? Su Yan ignored her and said to Shen Feng earnestly. Feng Zi, if Wanwan dares to bully you in the future, remember to tell Mom. Mom, my dad hasn't accepted Feng Zi openly yet. And you cooperate with my dad and pretend to be a little mean to Feng Zi? Zhang Wanwan said pitifully. Su Yan nodded. Okay then. Then he looked at Shen Feng fiercely and said, Feng Zi, if Wanwan dares to bully you in the future, remember to tell Mom. Zhang Wanwan. Okay, this is really my mother. Chapter 135. He can't be the only one suffering. When Zhang Ziyiqi returned home at noon, he heard from the nanny that Shen Feng was cooking in the kitchen. When Zhang Ziyiqi heard this, his eyes lit up. As a fellow foodie, Zhang Ziyiqi was very satisfied with Shen Feng's cooking skills. He crept to the kitchen door and peeked inside. Shen Feng's cooking skills were very professional, and Zhang Ziyiqi felt that he learned a lot from watching him. Just as he was watching intently, Zhang Ziyiqi felt someone patting his shoulder. Zhang Ziyiqi, feeling guilty, almost fainted from fright. When he turned around, he realized it was his daughter Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Ziyiqi touched his chest and said with a sigh, Wanwan, what are you doing? Are you going to scare Dad to death? I want to ask you what you are doing. This is your home. Okay. Why are you being so sneaky? Are you secretly learning how to cook from Shen Feng? Zhang Wanwan said. Zhang Ziyiqi immediately straightened his chest and raised his head, pretending nothing happened, and said, What are you talking about? I just came back from the company and heard the sound of cooking in the kitchen, so I took a look. As for my cooking skills, are they bad? Do I need to learn from him secretly? It's almost the same as if I could teach him. After Zhang Ziyiqi finished speaking, he left without looking back. But having said that, Zhang Ziyiqi ate no less than anyone else at lunch. While eating, Zhang Ziyiqi asked Shen Feng whether the gift he had mentioned earlier was ready. Shen Feng smiled and nodded. Then take it out, Zhang Ziyiqi said. In fact, he really wanted to see what the surprise that Shen Feng had vowed to bring him was. Now Zhang Ziyiqi has witnessed Shen Feng's abilities. Whether it was the previous variety shows or the recent commercials, this young man was far better than he had expected. So even if the gift Shen Feng prepared for him was not that good, Zhang Ziyiqi would not care too much. Now, he is just simply curious. Dad, Feng Zi said she would give it to you on your birthday. Ain't you just bear with it for 2 more days? Zhang Wanwan said this and picked up a piece of food for Zhang Ziyiqi with her chopsticks. He also picked up a small piece of meat for Shen Feng. Finally, I picked up a big piece of meat for myself. Zhang Ziyiqi smacked his lips as he looked at the meat in Shen Feng's bowl. Then he coughed and said, Since everything is ready, it shouldn't take 2 days, right? I'm already this old. And I don't celebrate my birthday that often. There's no need to make it special. Besides, with the current situation at the company, I don't have the idea of us celebrating my birthday. What happened to the company? Seeing that Zhang Ziyiqi's tone seemed a little melancholy, Zhang Wanwan asked. Zhang Ziyiqi wanted to say something, but Su Yan quietly touched Zhang Ziyiqi and whispered, What do you say to the children? Let them worry about nothing. Zhang Ziyiqi immediately shut up and didn't mention the matter again. Zhang Wanwan and Shen Sheng looked at each other and both felt a little strange. What problems has the company encountered? Shen Sheng had clearly already dealt with all of Jiang's hostile companies before. So logically speaking, the company's development should be going smoothly now. Zhang Wanwan was very confused. In the afternoon, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan left Zhang Ziyiqi's house. Originally, Zhang Wanwan wanted to take WOTU with her, but Su Yan liked WOTU, and WOTU also enjoyed the life here. So in the end Zhang Wanwan had no choice but to let it stay here. Shen Feng drove to the villa, while Zhang Wanwan made a phone call in the car. Hello, Uncle Ming, is there any problem with my dad's company now? Zhang Wanwan asked into the phone. Sun Tianming was originally Zhang Ziyiqi's assistant and started the current business with Zhang Ziyiqi. Now he has become a senior executive of Zhang family. Zhang Wanwan often played with Sun Tianming when she was a child and was quite familiar with him. Sun Tianming felt a little emotional after hearing Zhang Wanwan's question. Wanwan, the situation at the company is very complicated right now. Zhang Wanwan's heart tightened when she heard Sun Tianming's heavy tone. Did something big happen in the company? It's not internal. It's external. It has some rival companies that don't get along with our Zhang family. Zhang Wanwan used the hand-free mode. So Shen Feng, who was standing by, also heard what Sun Tianming said. He frowned, parked the car on the side of the road, took out his cell phone, and planned to have another heart-to-heart talk with the CEOs of the rival companies. He sent a message to MRLI of Shanhe Trading, whom he had threatened before. Shen Feng, MRLI, what's wrong with you? You don't take me seriously, do you? Shanhe Trading MRLI, huh? We are fine, what happened? Shen Sheng was about to continue typing, and Sun Tianming said, I don't know what happened to those companies that have been at odds with Zhang recently. They all seem to have changed into different people. Not only have they stopped targeting our Zhang family, some have even offered us an olive branch and expressed their willingness to cooperate with us. The most important thing is that it's not just one company that did this, but many companies that did this together as if they had agreed to do so. You know, many of these companies were our mortal enemies who were eager for us to go bankrupt. Sun Tianming sighed. Boss Zhang and I both suspect that these companies are secretly working together to plot something big. These days we dare not import goods or sign contracts just to see what other companies are planning. As a result, we have lost a lot of money. Zhang Wanwan, Shen Feng. After listening to Sun Tianming's words, the two were speechless. Oh my god, Zhang Zhe is worried about this? Even lost money for it? Zhang Wanwan didn't know what to say to Sun Tianming for a moment. Shen Feng also looked at his mobile phone. On WeChat on his mobile phone, MRLI of Shanhe Trading was asking anxiously, Brother? What's the matter? What happened? Shanhe Trading Mr. Li, please speak up. If there is anything we did wrong, please let us know and we will definitely correct it. MRLI had witnessed with his own eyes how ruthless Shen Feng's methods were last time, so he really didn't dare to offend him. Shen Feng typed a few words helplessly. Shen Feng, it's okay, I sent it to the wrong person. Don't worry about it. MRLI from Shanhe Trading was staring at his phone in a daze. Sent to the wrong person? Who are you fooling? You clearly mentioned Mr. Li by name before. However, MRLI still replied, It's okay. It's okay, just come to me if you have any problems. After sending this message, MRLI turned off his phone. As a result, at this moment, Shen Feng sent another message. Shen Feng, yes, there is one thing. Do you know when Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday is? MRLI was stunned. How could he possibly know when Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday was? Shanhe Trading MRLI, I don't know, how about I ask someone to find out for you? Shen Feng, no need to ask, I know, it will be in today's. Shen Feng, so MRLI, do you know when Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday is now? MRLI rubbed his face. This guy deliberately told him that Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday was in today's. Isn't the meaning obvious enough? It's obvious that she wants him to give her a gift. But MRLI could only respond honestly. Shanhe Trading Mr. Li, I understand, like you mean. Shen Feng, that's goodbye. Shen Sheng said goodbye. But MRLI started to worry as he looked at his phone. For no reason, I suddenly have to give gifts to Zhang Ziyi, my former enemy. No matter who it is, they will feel uncomfortable. MRLI sucked his teeth suddenly, an idea came to his mind. A message was sent to a group of bosses who were also completely obedient to Shen Feng's treatment. Shanhe Trading MRLI. Special notice, Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday is in today's. Special notice, Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday is in today's. Special notice, Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday is in today's. He even copied 3 more specially, as if he was afraid that the bosses wouldn't see them. Those bosses who received the message from MRLI wanted to curse. If they didn't know when Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday was. And of course they didn't need to give him any gifts. But now, President Li had slapped the news in their faces that Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday was in today's. And they couldn't play dumb anymore. These bosses were so angry that their teeth were itching and they hated Mr. Li to no end. But MRLI felt refreshed. If he were the only one who was unlucky, he would be very miserable. But if everyone is unlucky, then he will feel much more balanced. Chapter 136 Shen Feng's cousin. In the afternoon, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan drove to Qingliu County. Before, they always took the bus to Qingliu County because it was more convenient. The reason for driving this time is also because it is more convenient. Because Shen Sheng and Zhang Wanwan planned to bring Shen Shaojiuo and Tangping to the city so that they could attend Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday party 2 days later. This was proposed by Su Yan. Before Zhang Ziyiqi came, Su Yan told Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan that she had actually talked to Shen Feng's parents a long time ago and they had also discussed having dinner together later. Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday is obviously a good opportunity. After driving back to Qingliu County, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan arrived at Shen Feng's parents' home and knocked on the door. The door opened quickly. However, the person who opened the door surprised Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. It's neither Shen Xiaoji Yuo nor Tang Peng. Instead, it was a young girl who was about the same age as Shen Feng Zhang Wanwan. Her appearance is not as outstanding as Zhang Wanwan, but she is still pretty among ordinary people. As soon as she saw Shen Feng, the girl showed a look of surprise on her face. "Brother Fengzi, you're back." As she said that, the girl was about to hug Shen Feng. Seeing this, Zhang Wanwan immediately pulled Shen Feng behind her. Then he looked at the girl kindly and said, "Excuse me. Who are you?" "Ah, Sister Wanwan, I forgot to say hello to you. Don't you remember me? I'm Yuya." The girl had a sweet smile on her face and stretched out her hand towards Zhang Wanwan. Crescent moon? Zhang Wanwan thought about it and then remembered this person. Li Yuya, a distant cousin of Shen Feng. This cousin seems to have a miserable life. Her parents died early, and she has been living with relatives since she was a child. When she was a child, she also lived in Shen Feng's house for about a year. Because Zhang Wanwan lived opposite Shen Feng's house at that time. So I had seen her when I was a child. However, a woman's sixth sense told Zhang Wanwan that there seemed to be something wrong with Li Yuya, who had a sweet smile and looked very friendly. As soon as she saw Shen Feng, she was so happy that she wanted to throw herself on him. This cousin only lived in Shen Feng's house for 1 year when she was a child. Is it necessary to be so close to him? You are already in your 20s, but you still don't know that men and women should not touch each other? So naive? Is it possible? She remained wary of Li Yuya in her heart. But on the surface, Zhang Wanwan's superb acting skills concealed all her emotions. She smiled and said to Li Yuya, "It's Yuya, it's been a long time since I last saw you. I didn't remember you for a while. I haven't seen you for so many years. You've really grown into a big girl and are much prettier." Li Yuya also said, "I can't compare to you, Sister Wanwan. Not only are you beautiful, you're also a big star. You ray amazing." Shen Xiaoji Yuo also came out at this time. When he saw that it was Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan who came back, he hurriedly welcomed them in, while letting the two sit down to rest. Shen Xiaoji Yuo said, "Fengzi, Yuya, you still remember the cousin who lived in our house when she was a child? She worked outside for the past 2 years and recently returned to Qingliu County, intending to find a job here, but she couldn't find a suitable house to rent. And not at home, and there's an empty room in our house. Your mom and I discussed it and decided to let Yuya live there first." Li Yuya brought over 2 drinks and placed them in front of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. And he said politely, "I have to thank my uncle, otherwise I wouldn't know where to live during this period. I'm really sorry to cause you trouble." Shen Xiaoji Yuo laughed. "Oh, what are you talking about? We are all family besides. You have been helping us a lot at home, doing the laundry and cooking." They still feel embarrassed. After hearing what Shen Xiaoji Yuo said, Li Yuya seemed to have just remembered something. She said with a cry, "Brother Fengzi and Sister Wanwan are back, so the meal we cooked tonight is not enough. I'll go prepare some more." Okay, Fengzi is back. You don't have to worry about the kitchen anymore." Shen Xiaoji Yuo patted Shen Feng on the shoulder and said, "Fengzi, go cook 2 dishes and let Yuya taste your cooking skills. Your mother has gone to the supermarket and will be back soon." Shen Feng nodded and was about to walk towards the kitchen. Li Yuya hurriedly followed and said, "Then I'll help Brother Fengzi. Otherwise he will be too busy." As she spoke, Li Yuya also wanted to walk into the kitchen. Zhang Wanwan saw it and immediately stood up and said, "Yuya, you just take a rest, I will help Fengzi." "Sister Wanwan, you just came back from outside, you should take a rest first. Yuya, you are a guest, there is no reason to let guests be busy. I cook here all the time, don't worry, Sister Wanwan. I'm more skilled at helping Fengzi." "Yuya, you really don't need to help. Sister Wanwan, let me do it. Yuya, let me do it." Seeing the 2 people in a stalemate, Shen Feng silently called his mother. "Mom, I'm going home. When you come back from the supermarket later, buy some vegetables." Li Yuya, Zhang Wanwan. The 2 women looked at each other. More or less, they all saw a hint of something wrong in each other's eyes. While waiting for Tang Ping to come home, Zhang Wanwan ran to the bathroom. Squatting on the toilet, he sent a message to Shen Feng. "Fengzi, what's wrong with your cousin?" At this moment, Li Yuya was peeling oranges for Shen Feng in the living room. After Shen Feng politely said that he didn't want to eat, he took out his phone and sent a message to Zhang Wanwan. "She has been deliberately getting closer to me and trying to please me. There are 3 possibilities. What is possible? First, she's attracted to my money, and second, she's attracted to me as a person. Zhang Wanwan, what about the third one? Shen Feng. Third, I'm interested in them all. Zhang Wanwan. Although he said a string of ellipses, Zhang Wanwan felt that what Shen Feng said made sense. But she felt a little confused. She and Shen Feng are a legal couple with a certificate. And they even announced it on Weibo. Even if this matter is known to the entire internet, relatives of Shen Feng like Liu Ya should also know about it. Liu Ya dared to flirt with Shen Feng in front of her legal wife. He really didn't take her seriously. Zhang Wanwan squatted on the toilet and thought for a long time. Finally she sent another message to Shen Feng. Zhang Wanwan. Fengzi, come to the bathroom. Shen Feng, what? No more paper. Zhang Wanwan, I've been squatting for too long and my legs are numb. Shen Feng had no choice but to help Zhang Wanwan out of the bathroom. As soon as she came out, Liu Ya came up to her with a worried look on her face and asked, Sister Wanwan, are you feeling sick in the stomach? Do you want me to get you some medicine? Hypocritically. Zhang Wanwan curled her lips secretly. His face remained expressionless as he replied, It's okay, don't worry. It's alright, it's alright. Liu Ya seemed relieved. The more Zhang Wanwan looked at it, the more fake it seemed. This woman has such a deep mind and such contrived acting skills. Back in the living room, the three of them chatted idly. Liu Ya even peeled an orange for Zhang Wanwan and handed it to her. Zhang Wanwan glanced at the big, nice orange in Liu Ya's hand and said with a fake smile, You are too polite, I can peel it myself. Sister Wanwan, have this, I picked it especially for you, it must be sweet. Zhang Wanwan narrowed her eyes. Definitely sweet? How could a woman like you who is obsessed with someone else's husband be so kind? Maybe you picked a bad orange for me on purpose. Zhang Wanwan wouldn't be fooled. She looked at the orange in front of Shen Feng. I guess this orange was peeled by Liu Ya for Shen Feng. This woman is bent on hooking up with Shen Feng, so the oranges she picks for Shen Feng must be the sweetest and best. Thinking about this, Zhang Wanwan took the orange in front of Shen Feng with a smile and said, I'll just eat this. After saying that, Zhang Wanwan broke off a petal and put it into her mouth. Liu Ya's face changed. He hurriedly stopped her and said, Sister Wanwan, don't eat that. But it seems, it's a step too late. Zhang Wanwan took a bite of the orange. He immediately covered his cheeks. So sour. Chapter 137 Sister, did you hug the wrong person? Shen Sheng gave Zhang Wanwan some salt water to rinse her mouth. And Zhang Wanwan's twisted face finally relaxed. She likes sweet food, but particularly dislikes sour food. The kind that people don't even dip dumplings in vinegar. Shen Feng had to make many sweet and sour dishes specially for Zhang Wanwan so that they were not sour at all. And only then would Zhang Wanwan like them. To her, the destructive power of this orange slice was too great. After rinsing her mouth and coming back to life, Zhang Wanwan let out a long sigh. Then he glared at Liu Ya and said viciously, Why are the oranges you peeled so sour? What are you thinking? She was right, this woman was really bad. Sister Wanwan, I really didn't mean to hurt you. I peeled that orange for. Halfway through her words, Liu Ya glanced at Shen Feng and quickly shut her mouth. Seeing this, Zhang Wanwan suddenly remembered. Yes, the orange she just ate was peeled by Liu Ya for Shen Feng. It's not for her to peel. So why is it so sour? Zhang Wanwan ran to the living room with a frown and picked up the big orange that Liu Ya had peeled for her. He broke off a petal and handed it to Shen Feng. Try the poison. Shen Feng opened his mouth and ate the orange that Zhang Wanwan handed to him. He also kissed Zhang Wanwan's fingertips. Zhang Wanwan blushed. But when she thought of Liu Ya beside her, she immediately became tough again. She even pinched her throat and asked, Honey, is it sweet? Seeing Liu Ya showing an uncomfortable expression, Zhang Wanwan felt proud. Shen Feng tasted it and then nodded. This is sweet, very sweet. I've already told you. What I gave to Sister Wanwan is sweet. Liu Ya had a strange expression on her face and defended herself in a low voice. Zhang Wanwan frowned slightly. Then why did you give Fengzi such a sour one? I said it was a coincidence, do you believe it? Liu Ya said in a low voice. Zhang Wanwan didn't say anything. Shen Feng said, In that bag of oranges. Only the one you peeled for me had a green skin, you said it was a coincidence. Do you believe it? Liu Ya lowered her head as if admitting her mistake. Zhang Wanwan felt very strange. Liu Ya acted so close to Shen Feng at the beginning. But she deliberately picked bad oranges for Shen Feng to eat. What on earth is she thinking? Zhang Wanwan wanted to ask something else. But Tang Ping happened to have just returned home. This Liu Ya is indeed steaming. As soon as he saw Tang Ping coming, he immediately helped Tang Ping carry her bag and hung close for her, being extremely attentive. Zhang Wanwan didn't even have the chance to question Liu Ya. At the dinner table, Shen Feng told Tang Ping and Shen Xiaojiuo that he planned to take them to the city to help Zhang Ziyi celebrate his birthday. Shen Xiaojiuo agreed quite readily. Although they haven't seen each other for a while, It turns out that he and Zhang Ziyi still have a good relationship. Now that the two sides are relatives again, he is of course happy to help his old friend and in-laws celebrate their birthdays. But Tang Ping was a little hesitant. We are willing to go. But what will happen to Yu if we are gone for a few days? Liu Ya said timidly. Brother Feng Zi, can you take me with you when the time comes? Of course, I don't have to go on my birthday, I just want to go to the city to have some fun. Is that okay? Zhang Wanwan quietly kicked Shen Feng and gave him a wink. Shen Sheng immediately understood and said to Liu Ya. Sorry, we drove here, and the car is small, so there may not be enough room. It's okay, we still have a car. Shen Xiaojiuo said with a smile. Shen Sheng rubbed his forehead speechless lie, then toasted his father with a glass of wine. You are a professional at destroying your son's career. You are such a good father. Tang Ping glanced at Shen Feng, then at Zhang Wanwan. She is an experienced person and her thoughts are more meticulous than Shen Xiaojiuo's. Tang Ping had already seen the eye contact between Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. It seemed that Shen Sheng and Zhang Wanwan didn't like Liu Ya very much. Tang Ping picked up a dish for Liu Ya and said with a smile. Liu Ya, we are worried about no one being at home for a few days. How about could you stay at home for a few days? I'll take you to Zonghai City later. Okay? Shen Feng toasted his mother with another glass of wine. There is an old saying in the Shen family. If you have any questions about internal affairs, ask Tang Ping. When he wasn't sure about foreign affairs, he asked Tang Ping for help. His mother is indeed much more reliable than his father. But Shen Xiaojiuo frowned and said, what if no one is home for a few days? You let Jia look after the house while you go out to play. Do you feel comfortable with that? As soon as Shen Xiaojiuo said this, he was immediately glared at by Shen Feng, Tang Ping, and Zhang Wanwan. Shen Xiaojiuo scratched his head, thinking that he was drunk again and talking nonsense. During the dinner, no conclusion was reached as to where Liu Ya was. However, Liu Ya showed a strong desire to go to Zonghai City with Shen Feng. This made Zhang Wanwan feel even more uncomfortable. After finishing dinner and cleaning up the dishes, Zhang Wanwan took Shen Feng and said she wanted to go out for a walk. As a result, Liu Ya followed out again. Zhang Wanwan pulled Shen Feng and walked quickly. And Liu Ya jogged behind to catch up, pulling Shen Feng to walk slower. Liu Ya pretended to look at the scenery around. Finally, Zhang Wanwan took Shen Feng to a dead end in the old city. Liu Ya also followed. Zhang Wanwan turned around and smiled at Liu Ya. Sister, are you still following? Liu Ya often nodded. Okay, then you continue. Zhang Wanwan smiled and stepped on the low wall at the end of the dead end. In no time he climbed over the wall. Liu Ya was so stunned. She looked at Shen Feng blankly. You can't climb walls, right? Shen Feng didn't answer. Instead, he told Liu Ya through his actions. Indeed, he would. And from the other side of the wall, Zhang Wanwan's voice came. Bye sister, go home by yourself. I won't play with you anymore. Liu Ya hurriedly wanted to flip over and catch up. But she is not like Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, who have been climbing high and picking fruits from trees since they were young. She has not forgotten the traditional skills even when she grew up. And she has also innovated and mastered the skill of climbing over the wall to go online in the middle of the night. After climbing twice, Liu Ya failed to climb up. It made her very depressed. Helpless, she turned around and wanted to leave. But just after turning around and walking a few steps, a wild dog slowly walked towards the entrance of the alley. Liu Ya and the wild dog looked at each other. You look at me and I look at you. Then, the wild dog immediately started barking at the top of its lungs. He also pounced on Liu Ya. Liu Ya was so frightened that she screamed, squatted on the spot trembling, and covered her head with her hands. But just when she thought the dog was going to pounce on her and bite her, she screamed in fear. Behind her, there were two sounds of feet falling to the ground. She raised her head with some fear. And Zhang Wanwan was seen holding a branch that she had found from somewhere and rushing towards the wild dog. That speed is probably faster than a dog. The wild dog that was running towards Liu Ya saw Zhang Wanwan, and its eyes immediately widened. And the foreclaws pressed hard on the ground to break. Then turned around and run. Zhang Wanwan chased after the wild dog for 2 steps. Threw the branch at it again, and then snorted coldly. You are so brave and yet you still act like a dog. You are not even as cruel as my WOTU. Shen Sheng helped Liu Ya up and asked. What's wrong, are you okay? Liu Ya was so scared that she cried just now. She sniffed and threw herself forward in grievance. Zhang Wanwan thought that this woman was going to take the opportunity to throw herself into Shen Feng's arms. And her heart was startled. But before she could pull Shen Feng away, Liu Ya threw herself directly into her arms. She cried out at the top of her lungs. Sister Wanwan, I'm so scared. Zhang Wanwan was stunned. Sister, did you hug the wrong person? Shouldn't this bad woman hug Shen Feng and cry and wipe her tears? Why hold her? At this time, Shen Feng picked up the mobile phone that Li Yuya had dropped when she was squatting on the ground. After looking at the lock screen picture of his phone, Shen Feng sighed helplessly. She probably didn't hug the wrong person. Because the lock screen of her phone is all your pictures. Zhang Wanwan? What is going on? Chapter 138. Who do you think you are? Free court trial. On the curb beside the street, Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan and Li Yuya sit side by side. Zhang Wanwan frowned and asked, "So, you are actually my fan?" Li Yuya nodded carefully. "Still a fan?" Li Yuya nodded again. "Or is it Poison Wei?" Li Yuya nodded and then shook her head. She whispered, "It's not that I'm a fan, it's just, I don't want you to be with Shen Feng." "Why?" "Because he's not a good guy." Shen Feng, looking at Li Yuya who was glaring at him, Shen Feng said helplessly, "And why did you want to hug me, peel oranges for me, and pester me to go to Zonghai City with me?" Li Yuya snorted. "I was just trying to show Sister Wanwan what a scumbag you really are. There may be good things about men, but you're definitely not one of them. If I hug you and you show that you like me, Sister Wanwan will definitely see through you and won't have to be with you anymore. What a pity. As for the oranges, the ones I peeled for you were sour. I went to Zonghai City just to spend more time with Sister Wanwan. Who cares about you?" Li Yuya muttered. Shen Feng was surprised. But it be that he had offended Li Yuya before? Zhang Wanwan was also very surprised. "Can you tell me why you think Shen Feng is not good?" Li Yuya lowered her head and whispered, "Is there any need to wonder? I lived in his house for more than a year when I was a child. Of course I know what kind of person he is. He's cowardly, timid, stupid, and irresponsible. Most importantly, he's been pretty decent since he was a kid. Little girls have always stuffed love letters into his pockets. And he never refuses them." Shen Feng felt that he was wronged. What does it mean to accept everyone who comes? At that time, he just didn't know how to refuse. Li Yuya continued. "He's just a guy who pretends to be honest and simple on the surface, but is actually a complete pervert and is here, the as a typical loser. How can he be worthy of you, Sister Wanwan? Sister Wanwan, I'm telling you, I've actually been your fan since you debuted. At first I just thought it was novel that a sister I know is a celebrity. But the more I watched you, the more I thought you had great acting skills, and I was instantly attracted to you. And I heard that Shen Feng had appeared on a dating variety show with you and even got married to you. I was so angry that my teeth were itching. How could such a person be worthy of such an outstanding person like you? The most infuriating thing is that there are actually many people praising Shen Feng online, saying that Shen Feng is a high-quality idol and that you two are a good match. A high-quality character is not something that is artificially created. How can I not know what kind of person Shen Feng is?" Zhang Wanwan raised her eyebrows. "So you were lurking in Shen Feng's house just to find ways to separate me from Shen Feng? I'm not that free. I really plan to find a job in Qingliu County and live in my aunt's house temporarily. I didn't expect you to come back," Li Yuya said. After saying that, he pulled Zhang Wanwan's hand and said, "Sister Wanwan, you and Shen Feng grew up together, so maybe in your eyes, you are used to Shen Feng's shortcomings and you ignore them. But those who are involved are confused, while those who are on the sidelines can see things more clearly. I know that this damn Shen Feng is definitely not worthy of such an excellent person like you." After hearing what Li Yuya said, Zhang Wanwan looked a little helpless. "Not everything is hidden from the inside, especially love. You can judge whether my decision on a matter is correct, but you cannot judge whether my love is reasonable. Love has nothing to do with whether it is reasonable or not. It's just that he loves me and I love him. That's simple. No one in the world is absolutely perfect, and no one is completely compatible with anyone else. Since I like Shen Feng, I have already been prepared to accept his shortcomings. I don't need outsiders to remind me," Zhang Wanwan said, hugging Shen Feng beside him like a brother. "Besides, my Fengzi has become a very good person now. I know this better than anyone else. If there is anything to say, it is that I am not worthy of him. Not that he is not worthy of me." Shen Feng never expected that Zhang Wanwan would actually say such words one day. He was stunned for a moment, then a smile appeared on his face. Chen Cheng gently rubbed Zhang Wanwan's face with his hand and said, "Don't say such things, you are the best one in my heart." Zhang Wanwan also smiled sweetly, looking at the couple in front of her. Li Yuya felt complicated. She still felt that Zhang Wanwan was bewitched and blinded by love. How can someone with Shen Feng's personality compare to Zhang Wanwan? Shen Feng is very popular now, and what is reliable is not only his personality, but also the popularity he had when he participated in variety shows with Zhang Wanwan. Can a person who becomes famous by riding on the popularity of her idol be worthy of her idol? Seeing that Li Yuya still had an indignant expression on her face, Zhang Wanwan didn't know what to say. Love is a matter between her and Shen Feng. Only the person who drinks the water knows whether it is hot or cold. She doesn't need Liu Ya to judge anything, nor does she need Liu Ya's approval. So she pulled Shen Feng up, patted her butt and prepared to leave. Liu Ya can think whatever she wants, as long as she doesn't want to hook up with Shen Feng. Nothing matters to Zhang Wanwan. Liu Ya stood up immediately afterwards and suddenly said, Sister Wanwan, I know I can't persuade you now, but I sincerely hope that you can be happier. So, can you get Shen Feng to accept my challenge? Within 3 days, I will definitely find a way to expose Shen Feng's true colors. Let you see his shortcomings and know that he is not worthy of you. After saying that, Liu Ya looked at Shen Feng again. Shen Feng, do you dare to accept the challenge? Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were walking towards home. Hearing this, Shen Feng turned around. Looking at Liu Ya, he slowly said, Liu Ya, who do you think you are? You are not my father, nor are you Zhang Wanwan's mother. What qualifications do you have to decide these things for her? Just because you are her fan, she should listen to you? Just because you want to make her better, I have to accept the challenge? To be honest, I originally thought that Wanwan's fans were of high quality. At least not as brainless as Fu Yan's fanatical fans. But now it seems that there are exceptions to everything. To put it nicely, you are just an outsider, to put it bluntly. Who do you think you are? Shen Feng's words made Liu Ya bite her lips tightly. He didn't say a word for a long time. She just stood there, watching Shen Sheng and Zhang Wanwan walk further and further away. After walking for several minutes, Zhang Wanwan looked back. From a distance, one could only see Liu Ya's figure squatting under the street lamp. It seems like crying. Zhang Wanwan scratched his head and said, Shouldn't I have said it so harshly? Little kid. You're too obsessed with star chasing and think you're a celebrity. Shen Feng said, holding Zhang Wanwan's hand, You need to speak harshly to make her sober up and face reality. Speaking of my cousin, she had a miserable life since she was a child. She had always lived in other people's homes from a psychological point of view. Such people are either likely to be withdrawn and cowardly, or they are likely to like to find spiritual sustenance for themselves. Liu Ya's spiritual sustenance is chasing stars. And chasing you looking at her current situation, if not pathological. It has gone a little too far if we don't let her wake up now. She is more likely to go to extremes in the future. Shen Feng said. Liu Ya has never been disciplined by her parents since she was a child. And many relatives do not interfere too much in her growth. Just like the issue of excessive star chasing, if Shen Feng hadn't said anything, perhaps no one would ever wake Liu Ya up by scolding her. Zhang Wanwan nodded. Then he said with some surprise, Come to think of it, it has been 800 years. How come you still remember your cousin so clearly? Maybe it's because I keep reminiscing about the past. If I don't think about something, repeating the same thing every day will make me crazy. And do you recall what Liu Ya just said about the love letter? Zhang Wanwan suddenly narrowed her eyes. When you were a kid, there were little girls who stuffed love letters into your pockets. How come I didn't know about this, huh? Shen Feng glanced away and said in a relaxed tone. I really don't remember this. It's been 800 years. Who can remember it so clearly? I'm not a god, my memory is not that good. Tell me who gave you these love letters, name one and I'll kiss you later. Zhang Wanwan showed a seductive smile on her face. Xiaoli, Sun Xiaoban, Qinyu, Liu Qimeng. Shen Feng was halfway through his speech. And I saw Zhang Wanwan looking for something on the ground. Then, I saw her picking up half a brick. Chapter 139. If you don't believe it, you can try it. Of course Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan would not leave Liu Ya alone outside late at night. This girl had good intentions towards Zhang Wanwan. But she was so obsessed with star chasing that she went astray. A bit like those girlfriend fans of male stars on Weibo. If a male star has the slightest scandal with another female star, this group of people will get extremely anxious. It seems that male stars are given to choices. Either marry them, or remain single and become monks for the rest of their lives. To put it nicely, this kind of person thinks too highly of himself. To put it bluntly, it's just a little bit of disease. Because of her family environment, no one ever told Liu Ya whether these things were right or wrong. So she went astray. But in essence, it can be seen from the fact that she is willing to help Shen Xiaojiyuo and Tang Ping with work and is deeply loved by Shen Xiaojiyuo and Tang Ping, that she is still a good child. After walking around the area, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan returned to Liu Ya. Liu Ya had finished crying and was squatting there in a daze. Seeing Zhang Wanwan handing her a piece of paper, she immediately folded it carefully and put it in her pocket, as if she wanted to keep it. Then she snatched the paper from Shen Feng's hand, wiped her tears, and blew her nose hard. Finally he threw it to the ground and stepped on it several times. He picked it up again and threw it into the trash can on the side of the road. Shen Feng. This cousin seemed to be even more resentful towards him. But it's no wonder. After all, he had said that to Liu Ya before. Shen Feng didn't really care, he just said, "It's late. Go back to bed." "I'm not going back with you." Li Yuya glared at Shen Feng like a puppy. Zhang Wanwan patted her on the shoulder and said, "Stop being upset and go back." Li Yuya leaned into Zhang Wanwan's arms like a cat. "Why don't you just stay outside?" Shen Feng looked at Li Yuya, who was trying hard to get into Zhang Wanwan's arms, and said in a deep voice. Li Yuya rolled her eyes at him. "I'll go back, that's my aunt's house, not yours. Why don't you let me live there? Just go back, I'll piss you off, I'll piss you off, I'll piss you off." Shen Shenk licked his tongue. Who said this cousin is a good kid? After returning home, the three people who were planning to go to bed discovered a very embarrassing problem. That is, Li Yuya actually lives in Shen Feng's room. Chen Xiaoji Yuo's home only has 2 bedrooms. In other words, there are no empty rooms at home now. Besides, Li Yuya is not a little girl anymore. She can't sleep with Shen Feng Zhang Wanwan. So Shen Feng and Li Yuya each put forward their own opinions. Shen Sheng felt that this bedroom belonged to him, and he and Zhang Wanwan should sleep in the bedroom, and Li Yuya should sleep on the sofa. Li Yuya felt that Shen Feng, as a grown man, should live a harder life and sleep on the sofa, allowing her to sleep with Zhang Wanwan. In the end, it was Zhang Wanwan who solved the problem. Zhang Wanwan was unwilling to sleep with Li Yuya, but she felt that it was somewhat inappropriate to let her and Shen Sheng sleep in the bedroom and let Li Yuya sleep on the sofa. So Zhang Wanwan decided. Li Yuya slept in the bedroom, and she and Shen Feng squeezed on the sofa. "No, you're a big star. How can I let you sleep on the sofa?" Li Yuya protested immediately. But unfortunately, the protest was in vain. After returning home, Li Yuya was pushed back to the bedroom. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan squeezed on the sofa in the living room. The two of them hugged each other and prepared to go to sleep. After a while, Shen Feng asked softly, "Are you asleep?" "Zhang Wanwan, I can't sleep." Shen Feng sat up again, holding Zhang Wanwan in his arms. He sighed and said, "Take your ID card there, there's a hotel nearby." "Good." Zhang Wanwan nodded with a slightly red face. Early the next morning, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan returned. "I also bought some breakfast and we all ate together." After what happened last night, Li Yuya not only stopped hooking up with Shen Feng, but also became obviously hostile towards Shen Feng. Didn't say a word all morning. He also gritted his teeth while eating the breakfast brought by Shen Feng. It seemed as if the fried dough stick in his hand was Shen Feng. This morning, Li Yuya went out to work. Li Yuya doesn't have a stable job yet. Chen Xiaoji Yuo originally wanted to let her work in his own supermarket, but Li Yuya felt that she had already troubled Chen Xiaoji Yuo's family enough, and she couldn't let Chen Xiaoji Yuo pay her a salary. "So I started working as a cleaner in a nearby shopping mall, doing odd jobs while looking for a more suitable job. Yesterday was a day off and she happened to be at home. So today it was her turn to go to work. When it's time for lunch at noon, Li Yuya usually goes home to eat. But this afternoon, Li Yuya had not returned yet. Chen Xiaoji Yuo called Li Yuya, but Li Yuya didn't answer. Chen Xiaoji Yuo and Tang Ping both became a little worried. Yuya has been staying here for a few days before. She would either come back for dinner or call to let me know if she wasn't coming back. Why didn't she even answer the phone today?" Chen Xiaoji Yuo took out his phone and sent a few more messages, but received no response. Tang Ping also said worriedly, "Yes, the child is quite obedient. What happened today? Feng Zi, why don't you go take a look to see if anything has happened?" Shen Feng nodded. Zhang Wanwan also went with Shen Feng, wearing a hat and a mask, and went to the shopping mall where Li Yuya worked. This mall is quite old-fashioned. It only sells things and there are no restaurants, so there weren't many people here at lunchtime. Shen Feng found the service desk and wanted to ask where the shopping mall's cleaning room was. "And I heard the staff at the service desk talking about a cleaning lady who had gotten into trouble today." Shen Feng's heart moved, and he asked where the cleaning lady who caused the trouble was. The staff member said she was in the manager's office. Shen Sheng immediately took Zhang Wanwan to the manager's office. "Before I even went in, I heard the sound of an argument coming from inside. My shoes cost 20,000 yuan. This necklace is a new limited edition. Who are you trying to fool with these few hundred yuan? I'm telling you, this matter is not over today. If you don't pay me 50,000, we'll meet at the police station." Along with it came Li Yuya's voice. She seemed to be crying, and her tone was a little weak. "I'm sorry, but I really can't come up with so much money. Can I write an IOU first, please?" Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan looked at each other and immediately walked into the cleaning room. In the room, there were two young men and women dressed fashionably, pointing and talking. Li Yuya, who was wearing work clothes, wiped her tears and apologized. There was a manager-like man nearby who was mediating the situation, helping to apologize and scolding Li Yuya. Seeing Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan come in, The manager immediately said, "Excuse me, we have something to do here. If you need help, please wait a moment. We know this cleaner." Chen Feng said, "What happened?" When the manager heard that he knew Li Yuya, his attitude changed. A tone changed from polite to unfriendly. "What happened?" "Something big happened. This Li Yuya. She didn't look at the floor when she was mopping, causing others to slip. The heels of her shoes worth tens of thousands of dollars were broken. And her jewelry was broken into. People said you can't leave without 50,000 yuan. Since you know Li Yuya, hurry up and help pay the money," the manager said angrily. A woman in the young couple also lifted her heel. Revealing the broken heels, he pointed to the broken jewelry on the table and said, "See, that's the cleaning lady's fault. I tell you, asking you for 50,000 is too little." Less? Chen Feng took a look at the jewelry. And then said calmly, "The jewelry is 9,800 yuan, and you just said that your shoes are 20,000 yuan, which adds up to at most 30,000 or 40,000 yuan. How dare you ask for 50,000 yuan? The woman didn't say anything. A scoundrel-looking man came forward and approached Chen Feng, sneering, "What's wrong, kid? Do you still want to pick a fight? Let me tell you, those jewelry pieces are endorsed by Chen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. And they are the latest limited editions. They were sold out as soon as they were released. And now you may not be able to buy them online for 30,000 or 40,000 yuan. Do you know that? I'm telling you this. Either you pay me 50,000 and we'll be done with it. Or I'll see you at the police station." Chen Feng smiled. Then he took out his cell phone and said, "Give me your card number and I'll transfer it to you." The young man and woman looked at each other, their eyes lit up. The man immediately gave his card number and watched Chen Sheng transfer 50,000 yuan to him. Li Yuya lowered her head, held Zhang Wanwan and kept saying sorry. Zhang Wanwan also smiled like Chen Feng. She patted Li Yuya and whispered, "Don't cry. But I made you lose money. Compensation?" Zhang Wanwan whispered, "It's still unclear who will pay the money. If they want to extort money from Feng Zi, they are 800 years too early." Li Yuya didn't understand. "I have clearly given the money to the other party. So why does Zhang Wanwan still say this?" But then, she saw Chen Feng blocking the young man and woman who were about to leave. The man glared at Chen Feng. "Why, you still want the money back?" Chen Sheng shook his head. "I didn't want to come back. I just suddenly remembered something." "What's up?" the man asked with a frown. "1 minute ago, you and your girlfriend used knockoff shoes and fake jewelry to extort 50,000 yuan from me. There are transfer records, and the mall manager is proof. Fraudulently defrauding 50,000 yuan is a crime of fraud, which is a huge amount of fraud according to the law. The offender can be sentenced to fixed-term imprisonment of more than 3 years but less than 10 years. Chen Feng folded his arms and looked at the two of them with a smile on his face. "You just said we'd meet at the police station, right? Okay, how about we go there?" The expressions of the young man and women couldn't help but change. The man pushed Chen Feng aside and was about to walk out, saying, "What nonsense are you talking about? Who is cheating? Get out of here, we are leaving." Chen Feng didn't stop them. Instead, he let them leave and chuckled. "Just a friendly reminder to you. Returning the proceeds of the fraud and turning yourself in is different from reporting it to me and getting arrested. If you don't believe me, you can try it." Chapter 140. It's no use discussing it with me. Chen Feng's words really frightened both of them. The young man and woman who were about to leave came back. The woman pulled the young man's clothes with some concern. The man frowned and said as tough lie as he could, Why are you reporting a case? We didn't commit any crime. Why are you reporting a case? You said our shoes and jewelry are knockoffs. Do you have any evidence? If you don't have any evidence, we will sue you for defamation." The woman followed suit and said, "Yes, we are all people of status. Why would we use counterfeit goods? Don't slander us with nonsense." "Don't worry, I'm trying to reason with you." Chen Feng smiled and said, "Whether it is a knockoff or not is not up to me to decide. But the anti-counterfeiting measures, judging from the logo on the lady's broken heel pair of shoes, they should be from the luxury brand La Vie. The luxury goods they produce are all equipped with professional anti-counterfeiting marks. And the anti-counterfeiting marks on shoes should be printed on the soles. Let's take a look, shall we?" Both young men and women felt a little guilty. They know that their products are indeed counterfeit and shoddy products. So the so-called anti-counterfeiting and the like. There is no such thing on their shoes. The woman was a little nervous and hid behind the man, covering her feet. The man also blocked the woman and said, "Can you take off my shoes whenever you want? Are you trying to be a hooligan?" "No way. You don't have to take off your shoes, you can just lift your feet and take a look." "My feet hurt, I can't lift them up," the woman stammered. Seeing this scene, the mall manager nearby also understood what was going on. It can be seen from the attitudes of these two people that the shoes they call worth 20,000 Jaro or 30,000 yuan are definitely fakes. Thinking that he had been deceived, the manager also said angrily, you too, if you want compensation, just cooperate. Why should we cooperate with you? Wife, let's go. When the man saw that even the manager was unwilling to help him, he pulled the woman away. But after taking only 2 steps, he was stopped by Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan took a chair from somewhere and sat down at the door with her legs spread wide. He crossed his legs like a gangster. The young man and woman wanted to walk away, but Zhang Wanwan stopped them with just her hand. Things haven't been explained yet. Don't leave in a hurry. Zhang Wanwan had a smile on her face even though she was wearing a mask. One could still tell that her smile was sinister. I'm telling you, get out of my way right now, we have urgent matters to deal with. If you dare to stop me again, be careful or I'll hit you, the man said through gritted teeth. Zhang Wanwan didn't care at all. Instead, she said, you can try now, you are just a fraud. If you use force, you will be intentionally hurting others. You want to spend more than 10 years in prison for these 2 crimes? You. Seeing that the man seemed to be getting really angry, the mall manager quickly called the security guard. Several security guards wanted to enter the manager's office, but Zhang Wanwan was blocking the door. They could only stand behind Zhang Wanwan for the time being. He looked just like the younger brother that Zhang Wanwan brought with him. It's quite impressive. When the security guard arrived, the man didn't dare to take action. I could only grit my teeth and say, you are restricting my personal freedom. I will call the police to warn you. Whatever, but before you sue us, let's first clarify the matter of the copycat. Let's put the shoes aside for now and take a look at your broken jewelry. Chen Feng said, holding a necklace in his hand. This necklace is what you called the limited edition jewelry endorsed by Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, right? Hearing Shen Feng's voice, the young man and woman looked back first. When they saw the broken necklace in Shen Feng's hand, their expressions changed. The man hurriedly felt his pocket and said in astonishment, when did you take it? While you were chatting with my wife. Shen Feng said, that's not the point is, you said this is limited edition jewelry endorsed by Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, right? Yeah, what's wrong? Give it back to me now. The man reached out to grab it. Shen Cheng didn't stop him and let the man take the necklace away. But then he took off a necklace from his neck. While waving it in front of the man, she said, what a coincidence, I also have a necklace they endorse. And it's the same style as yours. However, why is your necklace not only smaller than mine, but also much lighter, even though they are of the same style and model? The man didn't expect that Shen Feng actually had the real necklace in his hand. He swallowed nervously, then argued, this may be your necklace is fake. My necklace is fake? Shen Feng smiled and took off his mask and hat. You mean as a spokesperson, I can't even afford my own endorsement products? I have to buy fake products to save face. When the man saw Shen Feng, he was stunned at first. Then he frowned and said, you. Why do you look familiar? The smile on Shen Feng's face stiffened for a moment. He thought that this guy was using his name and the products he endorsed to cheat people. So he must know him. Unexpectedly, the other party didn't recognize me at first glance. He's been pretending to be so arrogant in vain. Zhang Wanwan on the side also laughed out loud. The man did not recognize Shen Feng, but the woman behind him recognized Shen Feng immediately when she saw him. The woman stared at Shen Feng with eyes wide open, and stuttered for a long time before saying, You are Shen Feng. So, then are you Zhang Wanwan? Oh my god, did I actually see a celebrity? Seeing the woman's excitement, the man came to his senses. He looked at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan in astonishment. He never expected that these 2 people were the Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan he had been talking about. In fact, men rarely pay attention to news in the entertainment industry, so they are not very familiar with Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. But ever since they filmed the commercial, the jewelry in the commercial has become very popular. As a result, many high-quality imitation products have appeared on Taobao. That's why the man picked out this high-quality imitation necklace that cost 9 yuan with free shipping on Taobao, intending to use it to blackmail people. Unexpectedly, I was blackmailed. The man's hands were shaking at this moment. He was no longer rude and a smile appeared on his face. While taking out his cell phone, he said with as much smirk as possible, well, hello, although our products are all high-end imitations, it is true that the cleaner broke my wife's heel and damaged her jewelry. It is reasonable for us to ask for some compensation. Well, how about this? I'll return the money to you and we don't need any compensation. Is that okay? But Shen Feng showed no intention of collecting the money. Instead, she narrowed her eyes and looked at the man and said, it has come to this point, and you still want to put all the blame on my cousin, saying that she broke your things? Where's the broken heel? Take it out. The man smiled and said, don't be serious. Brother, we are all going to return the money. I don't like to repeat myself too much. Take out your heels. Shen Feng said slowly. I'm not being serious. I just want to clear my cousin's name. I'll count to 3. Hand over the things and we can discuss everything. If you don't, I will pursue this matter to the end. The man rubbed his hands and wanted to say something. But Shensheng had already started counting down. 3. Brother, let's not be like this, we don't want any compensation. Let's just forget about it. The man said hurriedly. 2. Don't be so extreme, you are a celebrity. If this matter gets out of hand, it will definitely affect you. The man began to threaten Shen Feng again. 1. Seeing that Shensheng's expression had not changed, the man had to grit his teeth, took out the broken heel and handed it to Shen Feng. Shen Feng took a look at it, then tore off a piece of dried glue on the broken surface of the heel. He brought the glue in front of the man and said word by word, "The heel was broken a long time ago, and I just used glue to stick it together. That piece of jewelry of yours was also damaged by someone. It would not be damaged to that extent simply by falling. Whether it's the heels or the jewelry, you prepared them in advance for the purpose of blackmailing others. Now, are you still going to put the blame on my cousin?" The man showed a smile that was uglier than crying. He rubbed his hands and whispered, This is our first offense. Really, our first offense. I didn't expect to offend you. Yes, you are right, we deliberately blackmailed her. We are really sorry, but since my wife is your fan, please let us go this time. We are willing to apologize to your cousin. Shen Feng smiled and patted the man on the shoulder. Let you go, huh? Dream. The $50,000 will remain with you. It will serve as evidence to prove that you have paid the price for breaking the law. The man's face turned pale. There was no smile on his face anymore. But he grabbed Shen Feng's arm in panic. He hurriedly said, You just said that as long as I show you the heel, everything can be negotiated. Where is the negotiation? You lied to me. Shen Feng pried his hands apart, while taking out her cell phone and dialing the police. She looked at the man and said, You can discuss anything you want with me. Unfortunately, it's not me who decides how many years you'll be sentenced to, but the law. So it's no use discussing it with me. Chapter 141. Liu Ya also got excited. The young man and woman were eventually taken away. Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan and Liu Ya also went to record a statement. Before leaving, Shen Feng called Shen Xiaojiyuo to report that he was safe and told him not to wait for them for dinner. When I finished taking the statement, it was already past 2 in the afternoon. Liu Ya followed Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan out of the police station and found a restaurant nearby to eat. It was past 2 o'clock and there were basically no people eating. Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan and the others found a corner and were not too worried about being recognized. Liu Ya kept her head down and remained silent. She didn't eat a single bite of the food even after it was served. Seeing this, Zhang Wanwan whispered to comfort her. It's okay, Liu Ya, the 50,000 yuan will definitely come back in the end. It's not your fault, and we don't blame you or anything. So don't be unhappy. I'm not unhappy about this. Liu Ya pursed her lips and spoke softly. She looked at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan with some complexity. Fen lowered her head. While drinking water, he said vaguely, I just feel that it's a bit awkward. Before this incident, Liu Ya's impression of Shen Feng was still stuck in their childhood. In Liu Ya's opinion, Shen Feng is really not worthy of Zhang Wanwan. Because she didn't want to see Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan together. She almost never watched the show Let's Start Dating Today. He had no idea that Shen Feng was completely different from when he was a child. But what happened today was discovered by Liu Ya. Zhang Wanwan was right, Shen Feng had really changed. When she was most scared and helpless, it was Shen Feng who stood up. He handled everything for her with ease. Even though he had found evidence of the young couple's blackmail, he still insisted on clearing her name and insisted on checking her heels. When Shen Feng said, I'm not being serious, I just want to clear my cousin's name, Liu Ya really couldn't help crying. She grew up without a father or mother and lived with relatives. She knew that many relatives seemed close to her on the surface, but secretly regarded her as a burden. If she was bullied outside, she would not be protected by her parents or cared for by her family like other children. Once she got into trouble, even if she was wrongly accused, many relatives would just scold her without any reason. Even if she was the victim, those relatives would only apologize on her behalf to other children who had actually done something bad. No one has ever stood in front of her and said to her, I will clear your name. Except Shen Feng today. Tears began to fall unconsciously again, and Liu Ya tried to wipe them away in a hurry. A piece of paper was handed over. Liu Ya looked up and found that it was handed over by Shen Feng. She took the paper, but cried even louder. I lay on the table and cried for a long time. Zhang Wanwan sat beside her, stroking her back and comforting her. The shop owner heard the noise and wanted to come over to take a look, but was silently driven away by Shen Feng. But before leaving, the boss asked Shen Feng for an autograph. It took a long time before Li Yuya stopped crying. She sniffed and said to John Wanwan, "Sister Wanwan. I'm fine, thank you." Besides, Li Yuya looked at Shen Feng again, holding the piece of paper Shen Feng gave her in her hand. She said softly, "Thank you, brother." Shen Feng smiled. He pushed the dish in front of Li Yuya and said, "Eat it quickly. If it gets cold, I'll ask the boss to heat it up again." Li Yuya took a big bite of the food and her red and swollen eyes curved up into a smile. Li Yuya didn't go to work in the afternoon. After what happened in the morning, almost everyone in the mall now knows that she is Shen Feng's cousin. If I go to work again, people will just look at me like a rare animal. After dinner, Li Yuya and Shen Fengzhang went home late. I told Tang Ping and Shen Xiaojiuo the general idea what happened. After listening to this, Tang Ping repeatedly praised her son for doing a good job. However, Shen Xiaojiuo has been worried about whether he can get the 50 yuan back. Li Yuya didn't go to work in the afternoon. After helping with the housework at home, she stayed in her room. I don't know what he is doing. Occasionally he would come out of the room and take a look at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. There is always a strange smile on that face. Zhang Wanwan felt a little scared when she saw it. But it be that this girl was stimulated by something? Especially at dinner time. Every time Shen Feng picked up food for her, Li Yuya would stare at the two of them. From time to time, the corners of his mouth would curl up and reveal a smile. Zhang Wanwan was even more frightened by what she saw. So after dinner in the evening, Zhang Wanwan and Shen Shen went to Li Yuya's room together, intending to talk to this girl and ask her what was going on. As a result, as soon as Li Yuya saw Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan coming in, she immediately gave up her bed. He also said with a smile, "Brother, sister Wanwan, you two can sleep in the bedroom tonight." "No, you are a guest. How can you sleep on the sofa?" Zhang Wanwan said. As soon as he finished speaking, he heard Li Yuya say, it's okay, I won't sleep on the sofa. I'll just stand next to you and watch you to sleep. Okay? Shen Feng. Zhang Wanwan?" Both of them looked at Li Yuya strangely. Li Yuya blushed and whispered, I went to watch the variety show you recorded this afternoon. But because of the short time, I watched the highlights edited by others. Afterwards, Li Yuya suddenly became excited again, jumping and shouting. Although it's just a collection, you two are so sweet. How can there be such an interesting CP? I'm totally obsessed with it, since I'm your cousin. But you can just hug and kiss me in front of me. If you kiss me hard, I'd be willing to eat vegetarian food and chant Buddhist scriptures for a year. And the commercial you two shot is so amazing. Wow. Why did I see this commercial so late? Why did I become a fan of your CP so late? Circle locked couple YYDS. Shen Fei covered his forehead with his hands as he felt a headache. Good job. This girl went from being a brainless toxic fan of Zhang Wanwan to an avid CP fan of him and Zhang Wanwan. And maybe it's because she's already in the fan circle. So she's obviously more obsessed with it than others. Finally, Shen Feng said helplessly, Li Yuya, calm down. We won't sleep in this room. If you guys must squeeze onto the little sofa to sleep, I'd be happy to watch. Let's go to the hotel. Can we get a triple room? Shen Cheng took Zhang Wanwan and turned away, locking Li Yuya in the room. On the way to the hotel, Zhang Wanwan also asked speechless Lai Fengzi, what is Li Yuya's current condition called in psychology? I'm so excited to be a CP. Shen Feng said. The next morning, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan drove Shen Xiaojiuo and Tang Ping to Zhanghe City. Of course, there was also Li Yuya in the car. Before, Shen Cheng and Zhang Wanwan were unwilling to bring Li Yuya with them because they suspected that Li Yuya had bad intentions towards Shen Feng. And now Li Yuya's attitude has changed to hoping that Cheng Xing has something bad to do with Zhang Wanwan. And she is watching from the side. They even waved flags and cheered. So Shen Feng took her with him. Zhang Wanwan's car is quite big. When Shen Feng said before that it couldn't accommodate Li Yuya, he was just lying to her. There were 5 people in the car. And it didn't seem particularly crowded. In front of Shen Xiaojiuo and Tang Ping, Li Yuya was much more restrained. Although he would glance at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan from time to time, he only looked at them furtively. Because Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday party is tonight. The 5 people are not in a hurry. When passing by a beautiful lake between Qingliu County and Zhanghe City, Shen Feng stopped the car and let a few people get off to play. While standing side by side with Zhang Wanwan and admiring the lakeside scenery, Shen Feng's cell phone suddenly rang. He took it out and saw that it was Li Yuya who sent him a message. I clicked on it and found that Li Yuya had sent me a photo. In the photo, he and Zhang Wanwan were standing side by side, admiring the scenery. Li Yuya is quite good at taking photos. And this scene was captured by her quite beautifully. The two stood side by side, with the lake in the sky connecting in front of them. Shen Cheng let Zhang Wanwan take a look at the photo. and Zhang Wanwan's eyes lit up. Then he gave a thumbs up to Liu Ya behind him. Liu Ya smiled, trotted over and said, "The environment here is so nice. Why don't you two kiss each other? I'm sure I can take better pictures." The smile on Zhang Wanwan's face disappeared in an instant. Instead it was Shen Feng. He looked at Zhang Wanwan with a smile and said softly, "Wife, I think my cousin is right." Zhang Wanwan rolled up her sleeves. "I think you're itchy." Shen Cheng's smile disappeared. But Liu Ya just kept on grinning foolishly and said, "Fighting is fine. The love-hate relationship between a couple is the strongest. Fight, fight, I'll record it for you." Shen Cheng licked his tongue and reached out to flick Liu Ya's head. Liu Ya pouted immediately and pulled Zhang Wanwan to complain. "Sister Wanwan, my brother hit me." As a result, Zhang Wanwan also flicked Liu Ya on the head. Liu Ya rubbed her head and suddenly smiled secretly. "They both hit me with the same amount of force. They are such a perfect match." Looking at Liu Ya, who was grinning foolishly again, Chen Cheng said to Zhang Wanwan, "You are too ruthless. You made her stupid?" Zhang Wanwan rolled her eyes. "If I really did something dirty, it wouldn't be just my hands." Shen Feng remembered the half-brick that night. He nodded in agreement. Chapter 142. Has your account been stolen? At noon, Shen Feng and his party arrived in Zhanghe City. Shen Cheng first took people to Zhang Wanwan's villa. Although today is Zhang Ziyiqi's birthday, Zhang Ziyiqi's company will not take a holiday. So Zhang Ziyiqi still has to go to work during the day today. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan didn't plan to go to Zhang Ziyiqi's place too early. At noon, Shen Feng cooked himself and made a lot of delicious dishes. Chen Xiaojiuo and Tang Ping had already tasted Shen Feng's cooking skills, so they were not too surprised. But Liu Ya was extremely excited. "First, I took pictures of the food on the table with my mobile phone. Then he put on a pilgrim's posture, picked up a piece of food with chopsticks and put it into his mouth with a pious look. It was so delicious that I almost cried. Brother, your cooking skills are so good, no wonder all the chefs in the variety shows praise you. This is definitely the most delicious dish I have ever eaten in my life. And these spiribus, why are your stews so much more delicious than mine?" Now Liu Ya has become a huge fan of Shen Feng. On the way, he praised Shen Sheng for his superb driving skills, and now he is praising Shen Feng for his amazing cooking skills. Shen Feng, who was full of shortcomings in her eyes before, has now become like a saint. All that's missing is a halo above his head. Fortunately, Shen Feng was thick-skinned and accepted all the compliments. After dinner, Liu Ya ran to wash the dishes consciously, and was quite diligent. I have to say, since yesterday, Liu Ya has been behaving very well except for the fact that she was drunk. Even Zhang Wanwan started to like this cute little sister a little. The premise is that this sister doesn't say something unspeakable like, "Can I watch you guys sleep?" Zhang Wanwan's small villa has 3 bedrooms, one for Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng, and the other 2 are guest rooms. Chen Xiaojiuo, Tang Ping, and Liu Ya took a nap in the guest room at noon. Although it was said to be a lunch break, Liu Ya didn't rest at all. She lay on the bed with her phone, scrolling through various video clips of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. The smile on his face never stopped. After seeing a particularly interesting video, she forwarded it to a Zhang Wanwan fan group. This repost caused Zhang Wanwan's fan group to go crazy. "Bunny bunny bunny, oh my god, what did I see? Yuya actually reposted the CP video of the circle lock couple. Did the sun rise from the west today, or did I travel through time? Wangchuan Dong Dao Ha, turtle, could Yuya's account have been hacked? Isn't she Shen Feng's #1 hater and a staunch ADP supporter? Group leader, would like to say something, or is it me?" Liu Ya, who was happily watching videos, switched back when she saw someone tagging her in the group. "Crescent Bay, it's me, have you seen the video? It's super interesting. Bunny bunny bunny, the videos you forwarded are all ones we have watched 10 times a month ago. That's not the point is you. Crescent Bay. What's wrong with me? Wangchuan Dong Dao Ha, aren't you Shen Feng's #1 anti-fan? And you also claim to be firmly against Shen Sheng and Zhang Wanwan being a couple? Why did you start forwarding their videos today?" This Zhang Wanwan fan group was established a long time ago. The group is not big and there are not many people in it. However, they all joined the group not long after Zhang Wanwan debuted. And they are basically old acquaintances and know each other. After Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan appeared on a variety show together, some people in the group, like Liu Ya, initially did not like the pairing of Zhang Wanwan and the newcomer Shen Feng. But slowly, with the broadcast of date, Shen Feng gained fans of these people. So much so that later on, except for Liu Ya, everyone else in the group turned from being Zhang Wanwan's personal fans to being CP fans. Only Liu Ya insisted on slandering Shen Feng until 2 days ago, saying that Shen Feng was not worthy of Wanwan. Because everyone in the group is a friend who has known each other for several years, They won't quarrel just because of disagreements. Therefore, Li Yuya and other group members had always kept their distance from each other. When group friends posted videos of couples, Li Yuya didn't watch them and didn't say much. Li Yuya scolded Shen Feng, and the group members pretended not to see anything. Unexpectedly, today, for the first time in history, group members saw Li Yuya posting the CP video of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. This is the first time a grown-up girl is getting married. Li Yuya looked at the message sent by the group members and immediately typed a reply. Crescent Bay, who is Shen Feng's number 1 anti-fan? Don't talk nonsense, I am Shen Feng's number 1 fan. Okay. Crescent Bay, the Quan Suo couple is the eternal god. If anyone dares to say something bad about the Quan Suo couple, I will be the first to cause trouble to them. Crescent Bay. Also, let me tell you another secret. Shen Feng is actually my brother. From the forgotten river to the sea. Rabbit rabbit rabbit. Group master. Group leader, it seems that this child is really stimulated and has problems with his brain. Bunny bunny bunny. Yuya, please wake up, although I also want to have such an omnipotent and perfect brother. It is a pity that this is impossible. Yuya and hey. Why don't you believe me? Shen Feng is really my brother. He just made lunch for me. Crescent Bay, Wang Xuan. You haven't said anything for such a long time, you must believe me. Wang Xuan Dong Dao Che. No, I just consulted a psychiatrist for you. And he said that in your case it's best for you to go to the hospital for a checkup. From Wang Xuan to the east of the sea, if you seek treatment early, there may still be hope. Crescent Bay. Li Yuya bit her nails. With a very depressed expression on her face. These guys. Believe it or not. She originally wanted to send some photos of Shen Feng and Zhang Wan that she took secretly to the group. Now, just keep it for her to enjoy. Li Yuya snorted and went to watch videos again. But as she was swiping, Li Yuya's phone screen suddenly went black. Pressing the power button or any other button again. There is no response. She frowned and used her universal repair method to hit the phone several times with her hands. As a result, the phone was not restored. It seems to be even darker. This made Li Yuya's face turn pale. Because of family reasons. Her life was not easy before. The money I earn from occasional part-time jobs is all used for housing and food. And I don't have much money left to buy a new phone. She has been using this phone for many years, and its response has indeed been a bit slow recently. I just didn't expect that it would break down so suddenly today. Without her cell phone, Li Yuya suddenly became depressed. She tossed and turned in bed for a long time and didn't want to take a nap. Finally, I walked out of the room and planned to go downstairs to watch TV. As a result, as soon as he went out, he met Shen Feng, who was also going downstairs. Shen Feng glanced at Li Yuya and asked, "Why, didn't you take a nap?" Brother, didn't you take a break either?" I remembered something. I need to go buy something." Li Yuya nodded. Seeing Shen Feng was about to go out, she suddenly remembered something and asked, "Brother, you are so good, can you repair the phone?" Li Yuya realized that her brother seemed to be omnipotent now. From cooking to singing to advanced mathematics to piano to chess. He is simply a genius. I wonder if such a genius like him can repair mobile phones. "Is your phone broken?" Chen Sheng raised his eyebrows and asked. Li Yuya nodded, took out the old mobile phone from 4 or 5 years ago and handed it to Shen Feng. "Then you help me fix it?" Shen Sheng glanced at the phone. Then nodded and said, "I see, don't worry, I will help you solve it." Li Yuya's eyes lit up. "Brother, you are so awesome. You really know how to repair cell phones." "Won't." Shen Sheng shook his head. Li Yuya was stunned. Then you said you would help me solve it. "It's very simple." Shen Feng said, "Just buy a new one." Li Yuya. Is this what rich people say? She is such a poor bastard. She is jealous. Chapter 143. Explosive. A high-quality celebrity cheated on her husband. Originally, Shen Feng just planned to buy some gifts so that Shen Xiaojiuo and Tang Ping would not go empty-handed when they went to Zhang Ziyiqi's house. Although he knew that Zhang Ziyiqi and Su Yan definitely didn't care about this, he still had to show some appreciation. Zhang Wanwan had no interest in choosing gifts for her parents, so she planned to sleep at home and let Shen Feng buy them himself. But now, when it comes to buying a mobile phone for Li Yuya, Zhang Wanwan seems to be interested again. Followed Shen Feng and Li Yuya and went to the mall together. There were many people in the mall, so in order not to be exposed, Zhang Wanwan and Shen Sheng put on masks, sunglasses and hats on their heads. Walking together with Li Yuya, who was dressed refreshingly, she formed a sharp contrast. After entering the mall, Zhang Wanwan asked Shen Shen and Li Yuya to buy a mobile phone together, and she was going to pick something out for herself. Shen Sheng had no objection, so he took Li Yuya to the mobile phone counter on the first floor of the mall. "Hello, are you planning to buy a mobile phone?" The salesperson came up to me enthusiastically and asked. Shen Feng nodded. "Fruit 13, is it in stock now?" When Liu Ya heard that Shen Feng was going to choose the latest expensive mobile phone, she quickly pulled Shen Feng and said, "Brother, I don't want such an expensive phone." Although Liu Ya came to the mall with Shen Feng, she didn't actually intend to ask Shen Feng to pay for a mobile phone for her. She understood that she was just a distant cousin of Shen Feng. He had spoken harshly to Shen Feng before. It is neither moral nor logical for Shen Feng to spend money on her. So she thought about using her own savings to buy a mobile phone. She turned to the salesperson and said, do you have a mobile phone for around $1,000? I don't need one with too high configuration." Shen Feng glanced at her. This girl really doesn't like to take advantage of others. Liu Ya also looked at him and whispered, "Brother, I'll just spend my own money. It's already very troublesome for you to live in my aunt's house. Yesterday you even paid 50,000 yuan to the liar to help me out. I just need to buy an ordinary mobile phone to use." Really? Liu is independent and self-reliant and doesn't like to take advantage of others, which is a good thing. Shen Feng also didn't want Liu Ya to become a parasite. So Shen Feng smiled and said, "I'm afraid that buying a cheap phone will affect your ability to take photos of me and your sister Wan. Since you don't want me to spend money to buy it for you, I won't force you. How about this? You write me and I owe you and I'll pay it back in installments later." Liu Ya thought about it. Then he looked at Shen Feng hesitantly. "Well, then I may only be able to pay back a few dollars a day." "You can pay back a few cents," Shen Feng said, "and if you find a good job in the future, wouldn't it be easy to pay back this little money? Having a little debt can give you motivation and make you work harder, right?" Liu Ya was troubled for a long time. Finally, he made up his mind and nodded. After signing a note for Shen Feng, he bought the latest Fruit 13. However, what Shen Feng and Liu Ya didn't notice was, at this moment, it is in a corner of the mobile phone counter. Someone was holding up a cell phone and taking a few photos of them. If Shen Feng could look over here, he might be able to recognize it. This person was the paparazzi that Shen Feng beat up at the airport a few days ago. This paparazzi is also miserable. Not only was he beaten up by Shen Feng, but his dining utensils were also taken away by Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. They also have to face the dilemma of paying compensation and maintaining a deposit. There was no other choice. The paparazzi could only think of selling the Fruit 13 in his hand to temporarily alleviate the financial crisis. But his cell phone was broken after being dropped, so he couldn't sell it for a high price. The paparazzi went to various mobile phone stores in the city to ask for prices, compare prices, and try to sell the phones as expensively as possible. Today he happened to find this mobile phone store in the mall. When Shen Cheng and Liu Ya came in just now, the paparazzi noticed them. It's not that his eyesight is very good, he could tell at a glance that Shen Feng was wrapped tightly. Instead, he was attracted by Liu Ya first. Liu Ya's appearance is definitely not as good as Zhang Wanwan's, but among ordinary people, she can be considered to be above average in appearance, even better looking than most internet celebrities. The paparazzi first noticed Liu Ya. Then he saw Shen Feng beside Liu Ya. At first glance, the paparazzi did not recognize the fully armed Shen Feng, but from his professional point of view, anyone who was so tightly wrapped up in a shopping mall must have some little secrets. So he found a corner that was not easy to be discovered and observed Shen Feng secretly. The more I look at it, the more familiar it seems. The more I feel like he looks like Shen Feng. He found some old photos of Shen Feng to compare them and became more certain. Although the face is obscured and cannot be seen clearly, the height and body shape are almost the same, especially that outfit, which Shen Cheng had also worn in his previous photos. It's simply rock solid. Shen Cheng actually brought a woman other than Zhang Wanwan to the mall, and he even wanted to buy her a cell phone? My goodness. This is big news that just came to our doorstep for free. The paparazzi immediately sensed the gossip. It was as if he saw the popularity and traffic waving at him. In his eyes, Shen Feng and Liu Ya are no longer two different people, but it's the walking traffic and money. So the paparazzi took several pictures of the two of them. A sinister and complacent smile appeared at the corner of his mouth. At this moment, the salesperson came over and asked, "Hello sir, are you still selling your second-hand phone?" Sell, what?" The paparazzi proudly tossed his hair and said, "In 2 days, I will buy all the mobile phones in your store. Believe it or not." Having said that, the paparazzi walked around Shen Feng and hurriedly left the mall. Having shot such good material, he definitely didn't want to waste it. He wanted to work hard to create the most explosive news that would shock the entire entertainment industry. He has even thought of a title. It's called Breaking News. A high-quality idol is suspected of having an affair during marriage and secretly meeting a beautiful girl behind his wife's back. Unfortunately, the paparazzi did not see that not long after he left the mobile phone store, Zhang Wanwan walked in carrying several bags. Shen Cheng had just bought a mobile phone for Liu Ya. Liu Ya was changing the SIM card and fiddling with the new phone. And I saw Zhang Wanwan walking over with a few bags. Have you finished shopping? Zhang Wanwan asked. Chen Feng nodded and looked at what Zhang Wanwan was holding. What did you buy? Makeup and some skin care products. Zhang Wanwan chuckled. Sister Yuya is pretty, but I think she doesn't seem to have taken care of her skin or put on makeup. It's such a waste of her beauty. When Li Yuya heard that they were buying things for her again, she hurriedly said, Sister Wanwan, I don't need these. You don't spend money. Oh, it's not that expensive. Come on, sit over here and let me put some makeup on you. It will definitely make you look completely different. Zhang Wanwan said this and pulled Li Yuya to the rest area and started to put makeup on Li Yuya with the newly bought cosmetics. Zhang Wanwan was applying foundation on her face. Li Yuya felt that what was photographed was not foundation. This is all money. How much does this cost? How many iOS do I need to write? Li Yuya felt very disappointed. Zhang Wanwan is an actor after all. Although her makeup skills are not as good as those of makeup artists, they are better than those of ordinary people. After a simple bit of dressing up, Li Yuya looked as if she had been completely transformed. Even Li Yuya didn't expect that she would have such a big change. And she was almost stunned when she looked in the mirror. Zhang Wanwan clapped her hands proudly. Well, Sister Yuya is still very beautiful. Just use these skin care products and cosmetics and dress yourself up beautifully every day. But I don't know how to put on makeup. Li Yuya pursed her lips. This makeup is really beautiful. Even she herself feels moved by it. But she also understood that she was not as good as Zhang Wanwan in putting on makeup. Taking these expensive cosmetics is just a waste. When Zhang Wanwan heard this, she immediately said, It doesn't matter if you don't know how to put on makeup. Follow my Weibo account one, which contains makeup tutorials I've posted before. They are simple and easy to learn, and I promise you'll learn them all, so you can witness your own beauty. I think I've seen this advertising scene in your variety show highlights. Li Yuya said, and then said, and I have read every Weibo post you posted. Sister Wanwan, but I am clumsy, and I still don't think I can learn to put on makeup. Oh, what are you afraid of? At worst, I can give you on-site guidance. I don't believe there is anyone dumber than me, Ba. I don't believe there is anyone I can't teach. Zhang Wanwan said. Pulling Li Yuya up. Okay, now that you have finished choosing your cosmetics, I will take you to choose clothes. Without waiting for Li Yuya to refuse, Zhang Wanwan had already run out with Li Yuya. Shensheng was left alone. And a table full of large and small bags of cosmetics. Shensheng sighed helplessly. He silently picked up all the bags and followed the two of them. Like an oppressed slave laborer. Chapter 140 For that's called seeing a ghost. Girls, when they were young, liked to play with dolls and dress up all kinds of toys. When they grow up and have access to computers, some of them like to play dress-up games on the computer. And now, dress up Li Yuya. Let Zhang Wanwan find that kind of fun again. Although she didn't play with dolls much when she was a child, she spent most of her time with Shen Feng in the kindergarten to kill everyone. Come on, try this on and see how it works. Not bad. Not bad. Come on, Yuya, change into this one. This one suits you well. Change your style and try this on. Zhang Wanwan took Li Yuya and tried on clothes in the mall for 2 or 3 hours. Basically, Zhang Wanwan would buy every item she tried on. Even though Li Yuya repeatedly said that she didn't need so many clothes, she couldn't stop Zhang Wanwan from spending money. Maybe instead of dressing up, Zhang Wanwan is just enjoying the pleasure of spending money. It's the same mentality as those who shop on Double 11. Zhang Wanwan is indeed a real rich woman now. Ever since Shen Sheng helped Qin King acquire the Zhenchen jewelry, Qin King gave Shen Feng a huge sum of money. Of course, this huge sum of money naturally fell into Zhang Wanwan's pocket. For Zhang Wanwan, who has a huge amount of money, buying hundreds of clothes for Li Yuya is not a problem. Li Yuya was being manipulated by Zhang Wanwan, changing her clothes one after another like a rag doll. My heart is bleeding. This one is over 700, this one is 100, this one is 800, this one is 2000. How much money do I need to write an IOU for now? How long will it take me to pay it off? Li Yuya is desperate. The only thing to be thankful for is that Shen Feng only has 2 hands. When Shen Feng's hands were full of shopping bags and he couldn't hold even one bag, Zhang Wanwan finally stopped. Then he took Shen Feng and Li Yuya and went back. Shen Feng said helplessly, Wanji, we are not here just to buy mobile phones and clothes. And to pick out some gifts to bring to your house. Have you forgotten? If Shen Feng hadn't said it, Zhang Wanwan would have really forgotten it. She thought about it, then said, well, I'll go pick a gift for you. It will definitely satisfy my father, you just wait here. Having said that, Zhang Wanwan ran upstairs to the shopping mall. Shen Feng took Li Yuya to a nearby clothing store to rest for a while. Because Zhang Wanwan and Li Yuya had just spent a large sum of money here, the store clerk did not stop them from taking a rest when they saw them here. Instead, he brought a glass of water to Xin Feng and Liu Ya. Chen Sheng was carrying a lot of bags and had been shopping with Liu Yis and Zhang Wanwan for a while. He was a little thirsty at the moment. After saying thank you, he took the cup, took off his mask and took a sip. After he finished drinking it, he saw the salesperson looking at him with surprise. You are really Shen Feng. I thought your voice sounded like you just now. But I didn't expect it to be you. Feng Zi, I'm your fan. Can you take a photo with me and sign an autograph for me? The salesperson said excitedly. Shen Feng didn't expect that he has become so popular that he can easily meet fans. After smiling, Shen Feng nodded. I have nothing to do now anyway. And the salesperson was very warm and thoughtful when he served Liu Ya and Zhang Wanwan just now. He signed an autograph for the salesperson and then took a photo with him. When taking photos, the salesperson pulled Liu Ya next to her and said, Beautiful lady, I just heard you chatting with brother Feng Wanwan. You seem to be brother Feng's sister, right? Brother is handsome. Sister is pretty. Come on, let's take a photo together. I'm not good looking, so I don't need it. Liu Ya felt a little embarrassed. If you don't look good, then we won't be able to see anyone. Come, let's take a photo together. The salesperson was very enthusiastic and finally pulled Liu Ya to take a photo with him. Then he asked Shen Feng excitedly, Brother Feng, can I post this photo on Weibo? This is the first time I take a photo with my idol. I'm so happy. Chen Sheng glanced at Liu Ya. Seeing that Liu Ya didn't show any reluctance, he said to the salesperson, Sure. The salesperson was excitedly posting on Weibo and telling Shen Shen how she became a fan of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. He said it with great enthusiasm and devotion. She didn't even notice that many people had commented on the photo of her. Shen Sheng and Liu Ya shortly after she posted it online. Fuck, who is that pretty girl next to Feng Zi? Why isn't Feng Zi with Wanwan? Who is this woman? Is she a passerby? She is so pretty. I don't think he's a passerby, he seems to be standing quite close to Feng Zi. Feng Zi wouldn't. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan became much more popular after filming the commercial. Especially since Fu Yuanian has stopped making any noise recently. The entertainment industry has become quiet with few big news. The once bustling entertainment industry has become deserted recently. Therefore, this photo of Shen Feng and other beautiful women was quickly discovered by netizens who had nothing to do recently. In just over 10 minutes, the discussion became increasingly heated. In fact, if it was a photo of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, perhaps there wouldn't be so many people paying attention and commenting on it. But this time, it was a photo of Shen Feng and other women. This is very unusual. It's not that I don't agree with Shen Feng taking photos with other women. It's just that the girl in the photo is very beautiful. And she seems to be quite close to Shen Feng. He doesn't look like an ordinary passerby at all, but instead seems to have some relationship with Shen Feng. Many people started discussing it. Some people insisted that this person should be the passerby who took a photo with the salesperson next to him. But he was just a little prettier. Some people also speculated whether Shen Feng really did something wrong behind Zhang Wanwan's back. Both sides held their own opinions and the argument was unresolved for a while. This dispute was discovered by the paparazzi. After taking the pictures of Shen Feng and Liu Ya, the paparazzi ran back to his studio at the speed of light. I started writing articles frantically, hoping to write a report that is explosive and eye-catching enough in the shortest possible time. Having finally found such explosive news, he must of course seize the opportunity to become famous in one fell swoop. As the article was being written, the paparazzi discovered that someone seemed to have posted a photo of Shen Feng and Liu Ya on Weibo. This made the paparazzi a little uneasy. I thought this was first-hand information he had. Who would have thought that someone would be one step faster than him and send out the photo? The paparazzi was a little annoyed at first. But when he saw that many people on Weibo were still arguing about whether this beautiful woman was a passerby or really had some relationship with Shen Feng, the paparazzi suddenly calmed down. This is actually an opportunity for him. Red made popularity, red made topics, red made traffic. Now it is so easy for him to catch the attention of these netizens. Thinking of this, the paparazzi immediately took advantage of the popularity and posted a Weibo. Everyone, stop guessing. This woman is not just a passerby. She is Shen Feng's mistress. I have real evidence that can prove that Shen Feng bought a mobile phone for this mistress on the first floor of this mall. If you want to see the picture, follow me. I will post the picture immediately if this Weibo is forwarded more than 10 times. There are always many people who like to read gossip. Especially reading the gossip about celebrities who are popular recently. After seeing the paparazzi's Weibo post, many netizens forwarded it. And the number of reposts exceeded 1,000 within a few minutes. There were also people urging the paparazzi to post the pictures quickly. The paparazzi chuckled and sent out the photos he had taken earlier of Shen Feng and Liu Ya buying mobile phones. Brothers, here are the pictures. I risked my life to take these pictures, so they are absolutely authentic. In addition, I have some explosive news in my hands. This Weibo post has been forwarded over 10,000 times. I will reveal some real big news to you. Picture, picture, picture. When the onlookers saw the photos leaked by the paparazzi, they were shocked again. These pictures are enough to prove that this beautiful woman is definitely not just a passerby. Shen Feng bought her a mobile phone and took her shopping in the mall. Could it be that Shen Feng really had a mistress? Some people have such associations. And at this time, Fu Yan and Guanheng became a little excited when they saw the current momentum on Weibo. Originally, Fu Yan and Guanheng were planning to slowly frame Shen Feng. Who would have thought that Shen Feng would actually go find the mistress himself and expose the scandal himself? This is simply God's help for them. Guanheng also struck while the iron was hot and mobilized all his navy troops to start discrediting Shen Feng immediately. We also contacted the group owners of some of Fu Yan's big fan groups, and asked them to take the fans of Fu Yan in the group to Weibo to stir up trouble. Suddenly, there was an uproar on Weibo. But Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan, Liu Ya, and even the salesperson didn't know any of this. Zhang Wanwan had just bought the gift in return to Shen Feng. He handed Shen Feng a bag of dog food and some dog toys. Shen Feng looked at Zhang Wanwan in astonishment. I asked you to buy a gift for your father. My father-in-law, Zhang Zhe. Are you sure it's okay to send these? Zhang Wanwan nodded seriously. I'm sure, there will be no problem. Shen Feng. Zhang Wanwan patted Shen Feng on the shoulder and explained. Feng Zi, you are still too young. Let me ask you, who is my dad most afraid of? My mother-in-law? Yes, then who does my mother love the most now? You? Zhang Wanwan shook her head. I have fallen out of favor. It's a thing of the past. A family can only have one treasure. And now my mother's only treasure is steamed bread. My mother will only be happy if WOTU is happy. Only when my mom is happy can my dad live comfortably. Do you understand? Shen Feng said helplessly, but I think that on my father-in-law's birthday, our family brought him a bunch of dog food and dog toys. He probably wouldn't feel comfortable at all, right? Zhang Wanwan has something else to say. But at this moment, the cell phone in her pocket rang. Zhang Wanwan took a look and saw that it was Sister Lin calling. This made her raise her eyebrows. After answering the phone, Zhang Wanwan asked with a smile, "What's wrong, Sister Lin? Are you tired of being alone together and are you willing to call me?" But Sister Lin didn't mean to be joking at all. Instead, he asked Zhang Wanwan in a serious tone, "Wanwan, is there any problem between you and Shen Feng?" Huh? Zhang Wanwan was stunned. Sister Lin, on her part, took a deep breath. Then, he said solemnly, "Okay, then I will ask directly. Did Shen Feng find a mistress? Did he cheat on his wife?" Zhang Wanwan glanced at Shen Feng beside her. The corners of his mouth twitched. Although Shen Feng and I are together almost every day, we are not together 24 hours a day. He was with me all day. And the only private time I had was probably to go to the bathroom. If he has time to find a mistress, that's not cheating. That's hell. Chapter 145. I'm just kidding. Zhang Wanwan would rather believe that Aesop can climb a tree than believe that Shen Feng would cheat. Whether you have time or not is actually secondary. The main reason is that Zhang Wanwan knows how sincere Shen Feng is to her. Anyone in this world can cheat, except Shen Sheng. She asked Sister Lin on the other end of the phone. Sister Lin, have you heard any news? Why are you asking this all of a sudden? Sister Lin heard Zhang Wanwan's tone seemed normal, so she thought that maybe nothing was wrong. She breathed a sigh of relief. Then said, someone just posted a photo of Shen Feng and a beautiful girl on Weibo. And a paparazzi account posted a photo of Shen Feng buying a phone for that girl. And the paparazzi said he had even more explosive information. So I called you to ask. Sister Lin rubbed her forehead and said, I didn't call Shen Feng directly after all. If he really did something to let you down, I would definitely stand on your side. Although Sister Lin is the agent of both Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. Moreover, Shen Feng's performance in all aspects seems to be excellent at the moment. But in Sister Lin's heart, Zhang Wanwan is always more important than Shen Feng. When Zhang Wanwan heard this, she asked for Shen Feng's phone and started checking Weibo. And I saw the group photo that Sister Lin mentioned, as well as the Weibo post posted by the paparazzi. And of course, there are the comments below. When the paparazzi exposed the photos of Shen Feng and Li Yuya buying a mobile phone, many comments began to accuse Shen Feng of having an image ruined and of having an affair during marriage. It is obvious that there are traces of Water Army leading the trend. But there is a saying that goes, a lie old 1,000 times becomes the truth. With so many people leading the trend in an organized manner, many passers-by believed it. They started to curse Shen Feng together. The entertainment industry, or the internet, is like this. A previous second, you might have been a glass jade cup held high by someone. A next second, those people will throw you to the ground, smash you to pieces, and step on you hard. On the internet, everyone is a fence sitter. Many people do not try to distinguish right from wrong, nor do they care about right or wrong. As long as they can be righteous keyboard warriors, they are willing to stand on the moral high ground and use the most vicious words to harm another person who has no grudge against him. Even if that person is wrongly accused, these keyboard warriors won't care. Jang Won-won frowned as she watched. Sister Lin, how long have these Navy soldiers been around? 7 or 8 minutes, not a long time, but there were a lot of people. The pace was fast, and it was very professional. They should all be employed by Phoenix Entertainment. Phoenix Entertainment is Fu Yan's agency. In other words, these Navy troops are all Fu Yan's men. Fu Yan has been suppressed recently and has not dared to show his head. He finally caught Feng Zi's handle and will definitely do his best to deal with Shen Feng. Unfortunately, they only have these few minutes to give their best. Jang Won-won said to Sister Lin again, Sister Lin, don't worry, that woman is Feng Zi's cousin, not someone else. Leave this matter to Feng Zi and me. It's just a small matter. Just enjoy your time with your boss Yuan Bai. Jang Won-won chuckled and hung up the phone. After hearing what Jang Won-won said on the phone, Shen Feng knew something had happened. He took Li Yuya's phone and opened Weibo. And sure enough, he saw all kinds of discussions about him on Weibo. The salesperson who had been there before also went to take a look, and his face turned pale. Did I get into trouble? I'm sorry. I shouldn't have posted the photo and I should have mentioned that that was my younger sister. Seeing the salesperson blaming himself, Shen Feng smiled and said, it's just a small matter, don't worry too much. Besides, we agreed to let you post the photo, you can't be blamed for this. Jang Won-won also nodded, yes. Don't worry, don't worry. As she spoke, Jang Won-won took out her phone and opened the selfie camera. Find a good angle, show a perfect smile, and take a perfect selfie. Jang Won-won simply photoshopped the photo and then posted it on her Weibo with satisfaction. Jang Won-won, let's go shopping today. Picture. After the photos of Shen Feng and Li Yuya were exposed, countless people have been following Shen Feng and Jang Won-won's Weibo. I just want to wait for them to reveal some explosive news. In the end, instead of getting any explosive news, I got a selfie of Jang Won-won. Jang Won-won in the photo was smiling happily, like a silly girl who didn't know what had happened. But everyone who saw this photo understood that Jang Won-won was definitely not unaware of what happened. She absolutely, totally knows everything. For everyone who is not blind can see clearly. Just behind Jang Won-won's selfie, there were two people sitting. It was Shen Feng and the mistress, who was photographed buying a mobile phone with Shen Feng. Seeing this photo, the onlookers were stunned. Where is the mistress? Didn't we agree to have a secret meeting behind Jang Won-won's back? Isn't Jang Won-won standing in front of them? This clearly shows that they know each other. Immediately, a fan asked a question under this Weibo post. Wan Ji, what's going on? Who is this woman? Did Feng Zi cheat on her? Jang Won-won replied to this message casually. Jang Won-won, if Feng Zi cheated, you wouldn't be able to see the complete version of him in the photos now. Of course, you might not be able to see my selfies, but I might appear in the legal evening news tomorrow. Laughs. Jang Won-won. Oh, I forgot to mention that the pretty girl is Feng Zi's cousin, the kind who calls Feng Zi's mom aunt. After replying, Jang Won-won pulled Li Yuya and took a photo together. Li Yuya knew that this photo shoot was for serious business, so she cooperated very well. In the photos taken, both of them had sweet smiles on their faces. One wears light makeup, the other has delicate makeup. One is a sunny, confident and radiant sister. One is a little shy, but also shows his sister in front of the camera. Jang Won-won also posted this photo on Weibo. 2 photos, a few replies. But all the rumors flying around were refuted. The public opinion on Weibo immediately reversed. The onlookers who were criticizing Shen Feng just now immediately turned their guns on the internet trolls and the paparazzi. All the Navy soldiers hired by Fu Yan and Guan Heng were dumbfounded. They have had nothing to do for a long time since Fu Yan disappeared. Today Fu Yan had finally assigned them a new task. And they were just getting ready to make their mark. As a result, they were unemployed again after only working for a dozen minutes. Not only did he lose his job, but he was also chased and scolded by the crowd for half a street. What was even more dumbfounded was the paparazzi. Just a few minutes ago, the paparazzi called Guan Heng. Of course it was to take credit. He told Guan Heng that he took the photos and posted them. Guan Heng also agreed not to pursue his deposit and would also give him a large reward. As a result, the conditions had just been negotiated and the phone call was not even hung up. I just saw Jang Won-won posted a few Weibo posts. The paparazzi were all dumbfounded. Guan Heng on the phone was silent for a few minutes. After a while, the paparazzi heard Guan Heng say, All the deposits will be returned in full. If you pay $1 less, you'll end up in jail. After saying that, Guan Heng hung up the phone. The paparazzi's heart skipped a beat and he hurriedly tried to call back. But before he could dial, a caller ID popped up on his phone. It's an unfamiliar phone number. The paparazzi answered the phone and asked, "Hello, who is this? Who do you think I am?" Shen Feng's voice came from the other end of the phone. The paparazzi's face immediately turned pale. How do you have my phone number?" Shen Feng said in a calm voice. "Not only do I know your phone number, I also know where you live. And I also know that you just called Guan Heng." The paparazzi swallowed. But he still said stubbornly, "I didn't call just now. Also, what do you want to do with me? How did I offend you?" Shen Feng smiled and said, "I just heard that you still have some of my spices. So I wanted to ask you, why didn't you tell me that you still have my peppercorns and cumin? Come on, tell me what else you have after all. I am also curious about how you can make up a story." Shen Feng's tone gradually turned cold. I didn't know that was your cousin." Hearing the coldness in Shen Feng's tone, the paparazzi finally got scared and dared not play dumb anymore. "You didn't know she was my cousin, so she must be the mistress I found? Bro, you have really good logic," Shen Sheng said slowly. "To be honest, I really didn't expect that you would have the guts to pick a fight with me. You didn't forget, your laptop is still in my hand. Don't you know how many offensive things are in your computer?" When the paparazzi heard this, he immediately panicked. How could he have forgotten this? His computer contains countless fabricated negative information about other celebrities, as well as countless secret chat records with his financial sponsors. After all, not all the people who hired him contacted him through the secret website of the black market. If these things were to be exposed, he would not only offend the stars he had blackened, but also the financial backers who hired him. By then, let alone whether he can continue to stay in the circle, it will be difficult for him to avoid being sued. He grabbed the phone and said quickly, "Brother, I was wrong about this. I didn't think it through. Can you give me one more chance? I will never dare to do it again." Shen Feng smiled. "I'm just kidding, don't get so excited. Seeing that your attitude is so sincere, I also want to give you another chance." The paparazzi's eyes lit up. "Thank you, brother. I will work like a slave for you in the future and I will never dare to offend you again." But the second half of Shen Feng's sentence completely confused the paparazzi. "Why, you don't really believe I'll let you go?" Shen Sheng said with a smile. "I told you, I was joking." Chapter 146 A Murderous Look. Shen Feng ignored the paparazzi who was already crying on the other end of the phone. He hung up the phone directly and sent some information he had previously searched from the paparazzi's computer to those who were interested in knowing the information. Working as a paparazzi is the most offensive thing. The big stars in the entertainment industry often have powerful backers behind them. So Shen Feng only needs to do this much, and it will be a huge trouble for the paparazzi. As for what would happen to the paparazzi later, Shen Feng didn't care at all. At this time he was taking Zhang Wanwan and Liu Ya to buy a few bottles of red wine. Although they are all things from the mall, they are definitely not of high quality. But Shen Feng felt that it was better to visit his father-in-law with red wine than with dog food. After buying things, Shen Feng and his friends drove back to the villa. After temporarily putting down the bags that Zhang Wanwan had bought, Tang Ping and Shen Xiaojiyuo planned to go to Zhang Ziyaqi's house together. However, Shen Xiaojiyuo and Tang Ping, who came out of the room, were both stunned when they saw Liu Ya's appearance. Obviously, no one recognized Liu Ya at first sight. "Liu Ya, why are you dressed so beautifully?" Liu Ya was a little embarrassed. "Sister Wanwan did it for me." Zhang Wanwan also smiled proudly. "How is it? My cooking skills are not bad, Mom. Do you want me to dress you up? Why should I dress up when I'm this old?" Tang Ping waved her hand and said with a smile, "Come on, dress up. It's just like a kid who says he doesn't want red envelopes but tries hard to snatch them from adults during Chinese New Year." Liu Ya and Zhang Wanwan went to put makeup and dress up for Tang Ping again. Shen Feng and his son Shen Xiaojiyuo could only wait downstairs. Shen Xiaojiyuo took a puff of cigarette with melancholy. "This woman is just trouble." Shen Feng nodded. Shen Xiaojiyuo added, "Your mother loved to be vain back then. Every time I went out with her, she would spend half a day putting on makeup. After she got older, she became more restrained." Shen Feng nodded again. Shen Xiaojiyuo then said, "Ah, you are already an old woman. Why do you still need to dress up? Is it necessary?" Shen Feng nodded again. Then he said to Shen Xiaojiyuo, "Dad, my mom is behind you." Shen Xiaojiyuo. He glanced back at the stairs behind him. I found that Tang Ping was actually standing there. Shen Xiaojiyuo smiled and said, "Why, didn't you go to put on makeup? Well, come down and get something." Tang Ping walked down the stairs step by step, walked to Shen Xiaojiyuo, took the mobile phone on the coffee table, and walked up again. Wait until Tang Ping leaves. Shen Xiaojiyuo took another long puff of his cigarette. Then he exhaled a cloud of smoke, looked at Shen Feng with even more melancholy and said, "Son, why didn't you say so earlier?" Shen Feng patted Shen Xiaojiyuo on the shoulder. "Dad, don't be afraid. Why would I be scared, and your dad and I've seen the world. Then why is your hand holding the cigarette shaking so badly?" Shen Xiaojiyuo looked at his trembling right hand and hurriedly steadied it with his left hand. And he smiled with chattering teeth and took another puff of his cigarette. "It's getting cooler today. It's a little chilly, a little cold." Shen Feng did not use today's high temperature of 37 degrees to expose Shen Xiaojiyuo's lies. Men understand each other. He approached Shen Xiaojiyuo and whispered, "Dad, I have a way to save you." Shen Xiaojiyuo quickly put out his cigarette. "Hurry up and tell me." Shen Feng ran over and got a necklace. "This is the necklace I endorsed the company gave me 2 sets. One set has 5 pieces, and this is one of them. You can give it to my mother later. And say a few sweet words to her, and it will definitely help. My dear son." Shen Xiaojiyuo held Shen Feng's hand. "Dad has not raised you for so many years in vain. A necklace costs 9,800 yuan. Should I pay by WeChat or Alipay?" Shen Feng said. Shen Xiaojiyuo let go of his hand. He picked up the extinguished cigarette and took another puff. "I've raised you in vain. Besides, when has your father ever had more than $200? I'm kidding." Shen Feng smiled and handed the necklace to Shen Xiaojiyuo. "You are my father, of course I won't really ask you for money. So you can just write an IOU. Shen Xiaojiyuo." Shen Xiaojiyuo snatched the necklace from Shen Feng. Of course, Shen Feng would not really ask Shen Xiaojiyuo for money. The father and son waited downstairs for more than an hour. And Tang Ping, Li Yuyan, Zhang Wanwan finally came downstairs. After all, Tang Ping is old, so Zhang Wanwan didn't put heavy makeup on her. She mainly tried to improve her skin tone and remove wrinkles. It was more about picking out a suitable piece of clothing for Tang Ping. Zhang Wanwan has quite a few clothes, but not many are suitable for Tang Ping's age. So Zhang Wanwan also put in some effort. After finishing her makeup and helping Tang Ping choose her clothes, she simply touched up Li Yuya's makeup and then put on some simple makeup for herself. In other words, Zhang Wanwan is more skilled and quick. If she were replaced by some girl who does not have such rich makeup experience, it may not be possible to finish one person's makeup in more than an hour. When Tang Ping, Li Yuyan, and Zhang Wanwan walked down the stairs, Shen Feng and Shen Xiaojiyuo felt that they, father and son, had instantly become the country bumpkins. It was the kind that had just been pulled out of the ground and was covered in mud. Tang Ping's wrinkles were mostly covered up after she put on makeup, and she looked 10 years younger, but the dark dress she wore made her look like the dignified and mature parent. Li Yuya also changed into a sleeveless dress that Zhang Wanwan had just bought for her. The tight-fitting dress flattered her figure, and the moon-white fabric set off her skin tone, turning her from a girl next door into a rich princess. As for Zhang Wanwan, she didn't put too much effort into her makeup. She never liked to put on heavy makeup. Shen Feng also asked her this question. And Zhang Wanwan's answer was, "I'm already pretty enough. Why do I need to wear so much makeup?" A lotus emerges from clear water, naturally without any embellishment. Zhang Wanwan didn't wear a long evening gown. She was active by nature, and that kind of skirt would only slow down her speed in drawing the sword. She was wearing a loose light pink work t-shirt on top and a pair of jeans on the bottom. Although her outfit is simple, it makes her look so approachable, bright and vibrant. In comparison, Shen Feng and Shen Xiaojiyuo, whose complexion was several shades darker because they had no makeup on, looked like two African blacks of impure descent. Although they are not that dark, the contrast with Zhang Wanwan and the other two is too stark. Fortunately, Shen Feng and Shen Xiaojiyuo didn't really care about these things. At Shen Feng's reminder, Shen Xiaojiyuo hurried to meet Tang Ping. While taking out the jewelry and putting it on Tang Ping, he said, "Wife, you are so beautiful, come here. This is a gift I bought for you. Try it on and see if it looks good on you." Tang Ping glanced at the necklace around her neck and said with a forced smile, "It looks good, very good. As long as you like it. As long as you like it." Shen Xiaojiyuo just breathed a sigh of relief. Tang Ping then said, "Is this the necklace endorsed by Feng's Yuan? I remember it cost less than 10,000 yuan." Shen Xiaojiyuo, "When did you get so much money in your pocket?" Shen Xiaojiyuo swallowed his saliva. He quickly said with a big smile on his face, I bought this from Pinduoduo. That's cheap, only a few dozen yuan." Tang Ping sneered again. "Okay, Shen Xiaojiyuo, if you want to give me a gift, you're going to give me a fake A-grade product, right? Is this all you have in mind?" Shen Xiaojiyuo had no choice but to tell the truth. "No, this is not an A-grade product, this must be real. This is given to me by my son." But Tang Ping obviously had no intention of letting Shen Xiaojiyuo off. She narrowed her eyes and said coldly, "You dare to lie to me and say that you bought the things your son gave you? Sure, you were brave enough to lie like that." Chen Xiaojiuo didn't know what to do at the moment, and looked at Shen Feng for help. Shen Feng smiled and walked to Tang Ping. "Mom, actually I didn't give this necklace to my dad. I don't know where he got it from." Shen Xiaojiuo stared at Shen Feng, a face full of shock. Tang Ping also stared at Shen Xiaojiuo, a murderous look on his face. Chapter 147, Playboy. On the way to Zhang Ziyiqi's house, Comrade Shen Xiaojiuo kept looking at Shen Feng, who was driving with a resentful look on his face. Someone once said that a daughter is a caring little cotton-padded jacket that can give you warmth. And your son is like a fur coat that can protect you from wind and rain at critical moments. To be honest, Shen Xiaojiuo didn't think that Shen Feng was protecting him from the wind and rain. Instead, he felt that he was always calling the shots. He was like a lightning rod, afraid that the lightning would not explode on his head. What a filial son. When Shen Feng drove to Zhang Ziyiqi's house, Zhang Ziyiqi had just returned from the company. The two people's cars stopped together. After getting off the car, Zhang Ziyiqi started chatting with Shen Xiaojiuo and Tang Ping. Especially the chat with old friend Shen Xiaojiuo was so lively. He seemed to have completely forgotten that his current character is still the villain who disagrees with Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan being together. After entering the house, Shen Xiaojiuo handed the red wine bought by Shen Feng to Zhang Ziyiqi and Su Yan. Liu Ya gave Zhang Wanwan the dog food she bought. When Su Yan saw the red wine, she just smiled and said thank you. But when he saw the dog food, his eyes immediately lit up. He held Liu Ya's hand and praised Liu Ya for a long time. Sure enough, steamed bread is Su Yan's treasure. Su Yan will be good to whoever is good to WOTU. Chen Xiaojiuo and Tang Ping and Su Yan and Zhang Ziyiqi. The in-laws sat in the living room and chatted. Zhang Wanwan took Shen Feng and Liu Ya to play with WOTU. WOTU is also smart. It seems that he knows that Liu Ya brought dog food and toys for him. He ignored Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan and kept playing with Liu Ya. "You are such an ungrateful person," Zhang Wanwan snorted coldly. "I bought all that dog food for you, you know that?" When WOTU heard this, he wagged his tail, moved closer to Zhang Wanwan's feet, and stuck out his tongue. That look is so snobbish. The three were playing with the dog when Zhang Ziyiqi's doorbell suddenly rang. Nanny Aunt Li went to open the door, and Zhang Wanwan also looked up in the direction of the door. Then, the door opened. A young, handsome man who looked slightly younger than Zhang Wanwan walked in. In his hands, he was holding a gift. Aunt Li. As soon as the young man came in, he greeted Aunt Li, obviously knowing her. When Aunt Li saw the young man, she also said enthusiastically, "Ming Ming is here, come in quickly." The young man smiled and nodded, then walked into the living room and politely greeted Zhang Ziya. Seeing this young man, Zhang Ziyiqi and Su Yan also smiled and introduced Tang Ping and Shen Xiaojiuo to the young man. "Ming Ming, these are your sister Wanwan's father-in-law and mother-in-law." The young man also greeted Shen Xiaojiuo and Tang Ping politely. "Hello, uncle and aunt, I am sister Wanwan's cousin. My name is Zhang Tianming. Ming Ming, we saw you when we were little. You came to my house to play at that time, have you forgotten?" Tang Ping said with a smile. Back then, Zhang Ziyiqi's family lived across the street from them. As Zhang Tianming was Zhang Wanwan's cousin, Tang Ping had naturally met him before. "Okay Ming Ming, your sister and the others are playing with WOTU over there. Go find them, we'll go eat after 6 o'clock. After Su Yan finished speaking, Zhang Tianming nodded and walked to Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng. With a smile on his face, he greeted Shen Feng and said, "Brother Feng Zi, no, I should call you brother-in-law now. Long time no see." Shen Feng nodded at him. Of course Shen Sheng knew Zhang Tianming. After all, this is Zhang Wanwan's cousin. Zhang Tianming's parents are richer than Zhang Ziyiqi. And Zhang Tianming also studied abroad since he was a child. He is well educated, handsome, and rich, a perfect example of a tall, rich, and handsome man. But don't be fooled by the fact that this boy looks honest and polite now. But Shen Feng knew that this guy was a playboy. It is said that after returning to China, he often hung out with some bad friends and changed girlfriends one after another. Shen Feng didn't have much interaction with him, they were just at the acquaintance stage. Seeing Zhang Tianming greet Shen Feng so warmly, Zhang Wanwan immediately protected Shen Feng and said, "I warn you, don't lead my Fengzi astray." "Sister, what are you saying? It's as if I'm not a good person." Zhang Tianming smiled helplessly. As he spoke, his gaze moved to Liu Ya, who was beside Shen Feng. Liu Ya didn't say anything and just stayed beside Shen Feng. At first Zhang Tianming didn't see her appearance clearly, so he didn't care. But now it seems that Liu Ya is actually a beautiful girl. Zhang Tianming immediately came forward and extended his hand in a gentlemanly manner. "My name is Zhang Tianming, may I know who this beautiful lady is?" Zhang Wanwan slapped Zhang Tianming's claw away. He also sternly warned, "This is Feng Zi's cousin, you are not allowed to have any bad ideas." Jiang Tianming rubbed his hands and said with a smile, "Sister, what do you mean by bad idea? We are all the same age. What's wrong with making friends?" As he spoke, Jiang Tianming took out his mobile phone. "Beauty, add me on WeChat." Liu Ya is a rather slick girl. She could see that Zhang Wanwan didn't seem to want her to get to know Jiang Tianming. So he rubbed his hands and said in an awkward manner, "I don't have WeChat." "Oh, that's okay, you can add me on QQ." "I don't have QQ either." "You don't use domestic social software. How about Line or Skype?" Liu Ya said, "No, actually I don't have a cell phone." "Beauty, your trick is boring it, as a different era now. Who doesn't have a cell phone?" Jiang Tianming clicked his tongue twice. "Don't be afraid, don't look at what my sister said about me. I'm actually a good person. But people don't say they are good people," Liu Ya whispered. Jiang Tianming raised his eyebrows and rolled up his sleeves. "What you said is wrong. Who told you that? I have to find him to argue with him. My brother told me." Liu Ya hid behind Shen Feng. Although Shen Feng didn't remember telling Liu Ya this, but he still acted as Liu Ya's shield and said to Jiang Tianming, "Is there a problem with what I said?" Jiang Wanwan stood beside Shen Feng and said, "Is there a problem with what he said?" "No problem. My brother-in-law is right. When I think about it carefully, I'm really not a good person," Jiang Tianming said immediately. All right, stop talking nonsense, I'm warning you. Don't have any bad thoughts towards Yuya, or I won't let you off," Jiang Wanwan said. Jiang Tianming nodded immediately. Then he was suddenly stunned again, as if he thought of something. He pulled Jiang Wanwan and asked, "Sister, what did you just say was the name of my brother-in-law's sister?" "Yuya, Liu Ya, what's wrong?" "Crescent Moon." When Jiang Tianming heard this, he looked Liu Ya up and down again. Liu Ya felt goosebumps on her back as she stared at him. He hid behind Shen Feng and didn't dare to show his head. Jiang Wanwan kicked Jiang Tianming again, and Jiang Tianming retracted his gaze, smiled, and then said, "Sorry, my sister is really beautiful. I was fascinated by her. Let's not talk about it for now. My stomach suddenly hurts a little, I need to go to the toilet." Having said that, Jiang Tianming ran to the toilet. Jiang Wanwan rolled her eyes when she saw this. "It's inexplicable. Yuya, let me tell you, Jiang Tianming is not a good person. He is a playboy, you better stay away from him." Jiang Wanwan gave Liu Yu instructions. "Yeah." Liu Yu nodded quickly. Ever since Jiang Tianming kept staring at her, she no longer liked this guy. She must stay away from Jiang Tianmian. After the three of them chatted for a while about Jiang Tianming, Liu Yu started playing with her phone by herself. "I was scrolling through my phone when I suddenly saw someone tag Jiang Wanwan in her fan group. Wang Chuan East to the Sea, Crescent Moon Bay Crescent Moon. Are you really Shen Feng's cousin?" Liu Ya raised an eyebrow. "What's going on? Didn't these people suspect that she was mentally ill before? Why did they start to believe her again today?" "Crescent Bay. No, I'm crazy, how could I be Shen Feng's cousin? I'd better go see a doctor as soon as possible." Liu Ya was typing there. But what she didn't realize was, at this time, Jiang Tianming had already walked out of the toilet. While holding the phone, he looked at Liu Ya, who was typing. After looking for a long time, a smile appeared on Jiang Tianming's lips. He also typed a line on his phone. Liu Ya, who was staring at her mobile phone, saw that Wang Chuan Dong Dao Ha, I had sent another message. "Wang Chuan Dong Dao Ha, it's been a while since we played games together. Do you want to play a couple of games tonight?" In the early years, people in Jiang Wanwan's fan group often organized gaming groups. Sometimes we spray pesticides, sometimes we kill and eat chickens. Liu Ya was also one of them. However, since Liu Ya hasn't changed her mobile phone for a long time and her phone configuration is outdated and can run those games, Liu Ya hasn't played games with these friends for a long time. Now seeing that Wang Chuan Dong Dao Ha is organizing again, Liu Ya, who just bought a new mobile phone, became interested again. "Crescent Bay, okay, let's call Tuchu and the others to join us in a 5-person team tonight." Jiang Tianming looked at the message on his phone and wanted to say, "It's fine for just the two of us to come." But after thinking about it, he deleted these words. Sent a message again. "Wang Chuan East to the Sea. Okay, let's go together in the evening." Chapter 148. Get out and get back. When Jiang Tianming returned to Jiang Wanwan and the others, he looked quite happy. Jiang Wanwan rolled her eyes at him. "Why are you grinning like an idiot? You must have had diarrhea and your brain has gone out." Jiang Tianming, sister, you are a big star. Can you speak more elegantly?" Jiang Wanwan nodded. Then he asked, "Why are you smiling foolishly? Did you leak your pig head when you went to the toilet?" Jiang Tianming was even more speechless. He squatted aside and played with WOTU. Instead, Liu Ya pulled Shen Feng aside and asked, Brother, what does pig head mean? Big head. Shen Feng said. When Li Yuya heard this, she stamped her feet in anger. I just asked you a question. I am indeed poorly educated. But you shouldn't scold me. She snorted and turned to look at Zhang Wanwan. Sister Wanwan, tell me what pig head means. Feng Zi is right. Means pig head. Li Yuya. She was now embarrassed and wanted to tease Wotu. But when she saw Jiang Tianming there, she held back. This person is a playboy. Absolutely stay away from him. So the embarrassed Li Yuya went back to checking her phone. At this time, the group was already lively because Wang Chuandong and HA were organizing a game at night. Several familiar faces were eager to sign up, but Wang Chuandong Dao HA, who had been very active just now, was silent at this moment. I don't know where he went. Li Yuya looked at the chat history in the group, and then tagged a few people in the group who wanted to play games. Crescent Bay, I might have to attend someone else's birthday party in the evening, so I will probably be a little late. Rabbit. It's okay, I'll wait for you. Group leader, what a coincidence. I just had a private chat with Wang Chuan and asked him what time he would play games in the evening. He also said that someone was having a birthday in the evening and would call me later. Group leader, you two can't possibly know each other in real life. Or have some affair. Yu Yao An, huh? Maybe it's just a coincidence. Thinking about this, Li Yuya opened Wang Chuandong Dao HA's private chat again. I wanted to chat with him, but after seeing the chat records with Wang Chuan, Li Yuya felt a little melancholy again. In fact, a few years ago, when she often played games with other people in the group, Wang Chuandong Dao HA was a very good friend of Li Yuya. At that time, Li Yuya was 17 or 18 years old, just the age when she was beginning to fall in love. This Wang Chuandong Dao HA is humorous, good at playing games, and very caring. It is said that she is still single and has no partner. Li Yuya began to feel a little amorous. However, before she had the chance to confess her love to Wang Chuandong Dao HA, Wang Chuan said in the group that he was no longer single and had found a girlfriend. At that time, everyone in the group secretly celebrated that Wang Chuan was no longer single. And Wang Chuan even sent out red envelopes worth several hundred yuan to thank everyone. Li Yuya couldn't remember what her mood was at that time. Looking back now, I just celebrated with everyone in a daze, and felt an inexplicable bitterness and sadness in my heart. After all, it was just a youthful memory that had never begun. So Li Yuya didn't feel too much about it, but just felt a little sad. I heard that Wang Chuan broke up with his girlfriend later. I heard from Wang Chuan's real friends in the group that the woman was attracted to Wang Chuan's money and played with his feelings. After cheating Wang Chuan out of his money, he not only dumped Wang Chuan, but also called him a fool and an idiot with very vicious words. That friend said that Wang Chuan had never been in a relationship before and was cheated the first time, which really hurt Wang Chuan's heart. Li Yuya felt that he was quite pitiful and tried to comfort him. I don't know if he has found a girlfriend now or if he is still being deceived. Li Yuya muttered to herself. Jiang Tianming, who was playing with the dog, felt an itchy nose for some reason and sneezed on Wotu. Wotu looked at Jiang Tianming resentfully. Jiang Tianming patted its head and said, "Don't look at me like that, it must be you who caused my allergy and that's why I sneezed." Steamed bread. Wotu has always been a vengeful dog. Once, in order to get revenge for a sausage, he chased Zhang Wanwan to her home. This time, he had snot spray all over his head for no reason and was wrongly accused. How could Wotu tolerate this? I can't stand it. Wotu immediately raised his legs and soaked Jiang Tianming's feet. Jiang Tianming was startled and dodged while cursing. "You!" Before he could even curse, he heard Zhang Wanwan say in a sarcastic tone, "This is my mother's most precious son, why don't you try to curse him?" Tsk. Jiang Tianming pointed at the steamed bread for a long time and said, "You are such a naughty dog." After saying that, he ran to brush his shoes. Seeing Jiang Tianming's cowardly look, Li Yuya on the side couldn't help but laugh out loud. Although this guy is a playboy, he seems quite interesting. After Shen Xiaojiyuo and Zhang Ziyiqi and other elders chatted for a while, they decided to go to the hotel. Because Su Yan knew in advance that Shen Xiaojiyuo's family was coming, and also knew that Shen Feng wanted to give Zhang Ziyiqi a big gift on his birthday, Su Yan specially booked a better hotel in the city for the sake of grandeur. Wow, what a beautiful hall. Seeing the hotel lobby, Li Yuya sighed. Wow, what an exquisite corridor. Seeing the hotel corridor, Li Yuya sighed. Wow, what a beautiful box. Sitting in the private room booked by Su Yan, Li Yuya sighed again. Damn, what an expensive dish. Finally, seeing the ridiculously expensive dishes on the menu, Li Yuya couldn't help but sigh again. A plate of stir-fried shredded potatoes, named golden and jade like silk, cost 168. A dish of chicken stewed with mushrooms, named Fang Ki Wu Tong, costs 488. A serving of boiled cabbage, named boiled cabbage, costs 888. Sister Wanwan, look, why is it so expensive to cook cabbage? Liu Ya pulled Zhang Wanwan aside and complained. Before Zhang Wanwan could say anything, Zhang Qianming on the side said with a smile, "This boiled cabbage is a state banquet dish, and it is very troublesome to prepare." "How troublesome? Are they all freshly planted cabbages?" Liu Ya muttered. "It's still cheap no matter how much trouble it takes. One dish is worth half a month's salary for me, this is too much." Zhang Qianming also whispered to Liu Ya, "In fact, the chefs here are very good, this price is already good for restaurants of the same level. I guarantee that you have never eaten better food than here." Liu Ya rolled her eyes. "How do you know I haven't eaten it? The chef here was once the apprentice of a state banquet chef. Have you ever eaten state banquet level dishes?" "I've eaten my brother's cooking," Liu Ya said. Zhang Qianming fell silent immediately. Shit, how could he forget about this? Of course Zhang Qianming also watched the variety show of Zhang Wanwan and Shenfeng. Naturally, everyone knows Shenfeng's cooking skills. Even Uncle Li, the state banquet chef, praises him highly. I wanted to show off my knowledge in front of Liu Ya, but I didn't expect to fail. However, Zhang Qianming was indeed thick-skinned. He immediately changed the subject and said, "Sister Yu Ya, I also want to eat the food your brother cooks. Can you let me go to your house for dinner next time?" Liu Ya did not answer Zhang Qianming, but said to Zhang Wanwan, "Sister Wanwan, Zhang Qianming said he wanted to invite my brother to dinner. Tell him to get out of here and don't let my Feng Zi astray." Zhang Wanwan said. Liu Ya looked at Zhang Qianming. "Did you hear it? Your complaints are meaningless. Can we still have fun? I never wanted to have fun with you. You playboy." Liu Ya stuck out her tongue at Zhang Qianming. While the two were interacting, there was a knock on the door of the box. Originally Zhang Ziyi and the others thought it was a waiter, so they asked him to come in. But when the door of the box opened and Zhang Ziyi saw the middle-aged man with a face full of flesh walking in, his expression changed immediately. With a gloomy face, he looked at the middle-aged man and said in a cold voice, "MRLI, this seems to be the box I booked. What are you doing here?" The person who came was MRLI from Shanhe Trading. He is a strong business rival that gives Zhang Ziyi a headache. At one point, MRLI even wanted to collude with other companies that were hostile to the Zhang family to suppress the newly developed Zhang family. It almost brought the Zhang family to its knees and made Zhang Ziyi bankrupt. It is no exaggeration to say that this person is Zhang Ziyi's mortal enemy in business. However, the person who made Zhang Ziyi look the ugliest was not Mr. Li, because behind MRLI, Mr. Shan, Mr. Xiao, Mr. Yu and several other CEOs from other companies all came in. Stand straight in a row. Zhang Ziyi's face turned completely dark. He stood up and shouted coldly, "Today is my Zhang Ziyi's birthday. And there are juniors here, what do you want to do?" MRLI, who was in charge, felt helpless. He rubbed his hands and said in a slow tone as much as possible, "Mr. Zhang, don't get me wrong, we know that today is your birthday. So you picked today on purpose to cause trouble, right?" Zhang Ziyi said angrily. "I'm telling you, Mr. Li, today is a very important day for me and my family. If you dare to make trouble today, I, Zhang, will destroy your Shanhe trade even if I have to break off relations with you and burn my boats. Get out." MRLI looked a little embarrassed, but seeing Zhang Ziyi's angry face, he had no choice but to take that messy group of people out. But just as he went out, MRLI received a WeChat message from Shenfeng. "Why are you walking so fast? Can't you explain your purpose clearly? Get back here." MRLI, with a sad look on his face, he knocked on the door again. Chapter 149, Everything in the Dream. MRLI and his friends returned to the box. Zhang Ziyi was furious when he saw Mr. Li and others coming back. "You guys are determined to destroy my place today and ruin my birthday, right?" Seeing Zhang Ziyi lose his temper, MRLI quickly explained. Mr. Zhang, listen to us. We are not here to mess things up this time. We are here to give you a present and wish you a happy birthday." As he spoke, MRLI asked someone to bring a bottle of wine and placed it in front of Zhang Ziyi. "I had someone bring this bottle back from the old wine cellar of Chateau Nalu in France. It's an absolutely authentic 1971 Lafite." Zhang Ziyi looked at Mr. Li suspiciously. This old dog Li actually gave him such good wine today. Are we really here to celebrate his birthday? Impossible. It can be said that there is no mutual incompatibility between them. This is definitely Liao Jiou's conspiracy. Behind Mr. Li, several other CEOs also took out the gifts they had brought. Soon, a pile of things were placed in front of Zhang Ziyi. Red wine, white wine, grape wine, gold watches, silver watches, and diamond watches. Jadeite, Heat Yun emerald, blue and white tricolor CLO is on end. The life and death of these bosses are held in Shen Feng's hands. If you want to give a gift, of course you dare not give a bad one. They were afraid that Shen Feng would be unhappy and give away their secrets. Then they are screwed. Zhang Ziyi was even more dumbfounded when he saw so many good things in front of him. Is this reasonable? So many old enemies and sworn enemies actually sent him so many good things as birthday gifts. Where did the sun come from today? No, there must be something fishy going on here. Zhang Ziyi pushed all the gifts back, then frowned at Mr. Li and the others and said, "Don't try to play tricks on me. Don't think I don't know what you are up to. Since a few weeks ago, none of your companies have made any moves. All those who targeted our Zhang group have disappeared without a trace. Since then, I have suspected that you have some conspiracy and have planned some strategy to secretly harm my Zhang family. Now I am even more certain if you didn't have some ulterior motive. How could you be so kind as to give me so many expensive gifts?" Zhang Ziyi glared at MRLI and the others. "You just want to use these gifts to pretend to be friendly with me and make me relax and let down my guard. In fact, you have other plans, intending to take advantage of my laxity to wipe out my Zhang family, right?" MRLI was almost crying. "Brother, my dear big brother. Can you please not be so imaginative? Do you think we are giving you gifts voluntarily? Do you think we are making peace with you voluntarily? It's because your son-in-law has the leverage over us, so we have no choice but to give in." Seeing that Zhang Ziyi was about to chase people away again, Chen Feng finally stood up. He walked to Zhang Ziyi's side and said to him, "Uncle, please accept their gifts. You don't have to worry so much, because this is actually a gift from me to you." Chen Feng smiled and placed a stack of contracts that he had prepared in advance in front of Zhang Ziyi. "I had a heart-to-heart talk with MRLI and his team before, and they all realized that it was wrong to target Zhang Corporation before. So they signed these contracts with me to cooperate with Zhang Corporation. Now, they can actually be considered allies of the Zhang family. So uncle, they are here to celebrate your birthday, this time with sincerity." Yeah. MRLI and others responded quickly. Zhang Ziyi was stunned after hearing what Shen Feng said. Then he picked up the contracts and looked at them carefully. He looked at Shen Feng again, and then at the contract. He looked at MRLI and others again. Then he opened his mouth. "I want to say something, but I don't know how to start." After a moment, he stood up and pulled MRLI aside. He whispered to MRLI, "Old dog Li, how many years have we been friends?" "We have been friends for more than 2 weeks, Mr. Li said. "More than 2 weeks ago, we were enemies." "Yes, so tell me the truth, did Shen Feng pay you to perform this drama for me?" Zhang Ziyi asked. MRLI, brother, can you tell me how you came to this conclusion?" Zhang Ziyi analyzed. "Before, my son-in-law boasted that he would give me a surprise on my birthday. And for me, this scene now is obviously enough of a surprise. But I also feel that he is just a young boy, and he should not be able to defeat you 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 several old foxes. So I guess, did he pay you to act for me on purpose?" MRLI rubbed his forehead and said, "Brother, my Shenhe trading makes hundreds of thousands per minute. How much money do you think your son-in-law can afford to treat me? To treat so many of us? Then why are you guys so cooperative with him? You even gave me so many gifts, what do you want?" Zhang Ziyi was very confused. Based on his many years of experience in the business world, MRLI and his group are typical examples of people who will not do anything without profit. How could Shen Feng be so worthy as to take down this group of old foxes? MRLI sighed. He patted Zhang Ziyi on the shoulder and said, "Brother, I can't say much more. I can only tell you that your son-in-law is awesome. I really can't afford to offend you. Does he have any powerful backers?" "No." MRLI shook his head. "He himself may be his most powerful backer. At least in all these years, I haven't fought with such a ruthless person. And you should have heard about the news of the change of ownership of Zhenchun Jewelry. I asked someone and found that your son-in-law might be behind that incident." Zhang Ziyi was shocked. He thought there was something wrong with his ears. If Shen Feng could defeat MRLI and his people, Zhang Ziyi could barely accept it. Zhang Ziyi found it really hard to accept that Shen Feng caused the change of major shareholder of Zhenchun Jewelry. Whether it is Shenhe Trading or his Zhang Group, they can only be regarded as small companies in Zhanghe City. But it's really pure jewelry. He is one of the top 5 jewelry tycoons in the country. Trading with Shenhe and Zhang family is not a heavyweight at all. Shen Feng, a young man in his 20s, an actor with no background, could change the ownership of a commercial giant like Zhenchun Jewelry. Is this some kind of fantasy story? Seeing Zhang Ziyi was shocked. MRLI patted Zhang Ziyi on the shoulder and comforted him. "Don't be too shocked, this is your son-in-law, you should have the dignity of a father-in-law. Where's your grace and your bearing? Show them out. Suppress Shen Feng, and make him call you daddy. Remember, all he did was to surprise you, you are the protagonist." Zhang Ziyi heard this and nodded. You are right. No matter how powerful Shen Feng is, he is still his son-in-law. He was also under the control of his daughter. I am his father-in-law, I am his second father. Muttering, I am his second father. Zhang Ziyi walked back to the dining table. His eyes were fixed on Shen Feng. Try to keep your breathing steady as much as possible. And he opened his mouth and spoke. Dad. Shen Feng. Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Ziyi. Damn it, I keep repeating that sentence. But I'm saying it wrong. Zhang Ziyi was eager to slap himself in the face. To be honest, Zhang Ziyi felt a little nervous when he thought that Shen Feng was actually able to shake a big company like Zhenchun Jewelry. It's not that he is not steady enough, it's mainly because the incident was too shocking. Fortunately, Zhang Ziyi reacted quickly. After calling out Dad, Zhang Ziyi immediately followed up with the next sentence. Dad is proud to have a son-in-law like you. You really gave me a big surprise. And I believe that you are capable of taking good care of my daughter. From today on, I acknowledge you as my son-in-law. Shen Feng breathed a sigh of relief, a smile appeared on his face. And he bowed politely to Zhang Ziyi. Then he called Dad, respectfully. He also offered Zhang Ziyi a cup of tea. Looking at Shen Feng, Zhang Ziyi felt a lot of emotion. Once upon a time, a timid and cowardly little boy who was scolded by him and expressly forbidden by him to be with Zhang Wanwan. Now he has grown into a young talent whose abilities are beyond his imagination. Turn your hand and it becomes clouds, turn your hand back and it becomes rain. Zhang Ziyi took the tea offered by Shen Feng and drank it all in one gulp. He was truly relieved to leave his daughter to such a Shen Feng. Looking at this scene of serving tea, MRLI and others were also quite moved. Everyone has children. Why aren't their sons so outstanding? Can't their daughter find a husband like this? When Mr. Li thought of his daughter, he went up to Zhang Wanwan to ask for advice. Wanwan, how did you find such an excellent husband like Shen Feng? Zhang Wanwan glanced at MRLI. Then he frowned and said, Boss Li, you don't want to find a husband like Shen Feng, do you? How could it be me? Wanwan, you must be joking. MRLI smiled awkwardly. So you want to find a husband like Feng Zi for your wife? Zhang Wanwan looked at MRLI with an even stranger look. MRLI said helplessly, can't I find one for my daughter? Zhang Wanwan touched his chin and thought for a moment. Then he said, then you must first have a daughter as outstanding as me. MRLI? MRLI, then how can I have such an outstanding daughter like you? Go back quickly, take a shower and go to bed, Zhang Wanwan said. MRLI raised his eyebrows and said, you mean, let me go back to sleep with my wife early? Or Carter, and have a chance to give birth to a good daughter in the future? Zhang Wanwan looked at MRLI with sympathy. What I mean is, instead of thinking so much, you might as well go to sleep and dream. After all, dreams can contain anything. MRLI? Chapter 150. You are still a good carrot. MRLI and his friends left after giving their gifts. Only Shen Feng, Zhang Ziyi and others were left in the box. However, the atmosphere in the box was a bit weird. Zhang Ziyi is fine. After all, he is a businessman and his horizons are broader than ordinary people. Now I have accepted the reality. But Liu Ya, Zhang Tianming, Su Yan, and the couple Shen Xiaojiyuo and Tang Ping who were standing next to them had not yet recovered from their shock. Especially Shen Xiaojiyuo and Tang Ping. They both looked at the pile of expensive gifts on the table. Look at Shen Feng again. Look at the gift again. Look at Shen Feng again. No matter how hard I tried, I couldn't figure out where my son got such great abilities from. He was able to make so many business tycoons, who were on equal footing with Zhang Ziyi, listen to him and send Zhang Ziyi so many valuable gifts. Originally Shen Xiaojiyuo and Tang Ping thought that their son had become cheerful and could cook, which was a big change. Later, when their son became a star, they began to feel proud of him. In the variety show, my son showed off his knowledge, piano skills, and even played chess against a national chess player. Shen Xiaojiyuo and Tang Ping could barely explain these as the result of their son's excellence and hard work. But now, the 4 words study hard seemed to be insufficient to explain all this. Zhang Tianming and Liu were equally shocked. Zhang Tianming knew the previous Shen Feng. So even though he had watched the variety show and knew that the current Shen Sheng was completely different from the past, in Zhang Tianming's eyes, Shen Feng was just a relatively outstanding person. Nothing more. But now Zhang Tianming realized that the current Shen Feng could not be described as relatively excellent at all. It should be said that it is too awesome. Shen Feng glanced at the few people who had not yet recovered from their shock, and said with a smile, I just happened to have talked to those bosses and got to know them. Rather than this, now is the time to wish your father-in-law happy birthday. Zhang Wanwan quickly followed suit and said, yes, Dad, happy birthday. She raised her glass, and everyone else in the box raised their glasses in response. Zhang Ziyi and Shen Xiaoji, you all both drank a lot tonight. When the two of them went downstairs, they supported each other. They were shouting incoherently and no one could hear what they were saying. But they seemed to be in sync with each other. After one of them finished shouting a sentence, the other one would immediately continue shouting. I don't know what language they speak. Ang Ping and Su Yan followed behind them and felt a little emotional when they saw this scene. It's been a long time since they drank like this since we moved, Su Yan said. Tang Ping nodded. Yeah, so many years have passed in a flash. Feng Zi and Wan Wan have grown up, and we have also grown old. Su Yan smiled and said, Sister Ping, what are your plans for Feng Zi and Wan Wan's wedding? They got their marriage certificate secretly without telling us. There was no engagement ceremony, and no wedding either. At first, Lao Zhang didn't agree with them being together, but later he agreed but was too eager to save face. Now he has finally officially accepted Feng Zi, and it's time to make up for the wedding for the couple. Tang Ping glanced at the younger generations walking in front. Zhang Wanwan was a little tipsy and half lying on Shen Feng's back like a sloth. Shen Feng held her carefully, looking caring and considerate, as if he was protecting a treasure. Then the two looked at each other. The slightly tipsy Zhang Wanwan had a confused smile on her face, while Shen Feng had a doting smile on his face. Ang Ping rubbed her eyes and said with red eyes, they are not children anymore, let them make the decision. And given Wan Wan and Feng Zi's personalities, they probably don't want to trouble us to help them organize their wedding. Su Yan also nodded. That's true, these two children have grown up. Sister Yuya, be careful. While Tang Ping and Su Yan were talking, they heard Jiang Tianming's voice behind them. Then came Li Yuya's scream. The two of them hurriedly looked back. Jiang Tianming and Li Yuya, who were carrying bags full of gifts, fell to the ground together. Jiang Tianming was looking at Li Yuya nervously and asked, Sister Yuya, are you okay? Li Yuya was nervously checking the gifts. Then he let out a long sigh. Luckily it didn't break. Otherwise I wouldn't be able to afford the compensation if I sold it. What's wrong? Su Yan and Tang Ping came over and asked. Li Yuya felt a little embarrassed. She and Jiang Tianming were the last ones to walk, because she was thinking about going home to play games. Li Yuya took out her mobile phone to check the group chat, intending to tell everyone in the group. As a result, she was so busy looking at her phone that she didn't pay attention to the road, and she tripped over the raised edge of the carpet. Jiang Tianming, who was holding a gift at the side, reached out his hand to help her, but he was carrying a bunch of things in his hands, so it was not very convenient. So in the end even Jiang Tianming was brought down by Li Yuya. Li Yuya knew that it was all her fault. She was about to apologize to Su Yan and Tang Ping, but before she could open her mouth, Jiang Tianming spoke first. Jiang Tianming picked up the gifts and said with a wry smile, I wasn't paying attention when I was walking just now. I accidentally tripped and brought Sister Yuya down with me. Li Yuya was stunned. It was clearly her responsibility. Why did Jiang Tianming? Be careful, it doesn't matter what you have. But don't let anything get hurt, are you okay? Su Yan had no intention of blaming Li Yuya or Jiang Tianming, but asked with concern. Jiang Tianming shook his head. I'm fine, I just don't know how Sister Yuya is doing. I'm fine too. Li Yuya finally came to her senses and quickly shook her head. I'm glad you're okay, let us go. After Su Yan finished speaking, she and Tang Ping continued to walk out. Jiang Tianming also packed up his things and planned to follow. Seeing this, Li Yuya wanted to go up and thank Jiang Tianming, but as soon as she took a step, she felt a pain in her ankle. Sure enough, I sprained my ankle again. Li Yuya pursed her lips. You shouldn't play with your phone while walking. She forced herself to support her sore ankle and tried to keep walking despite the pain. But after taking a few steps, she couldn't help but gasp in pain. Jiang Tianming, who was walking in front of her, turned around and looked at her when he heard it. Seeing her limping, Jiang Tianming sighed. Even though I sprained my ankle, I still cared whether the gifts were broken or not. I don't think these gifts are worth that much. Li Yuya whispered. Besides, I'm fine and can still walk. Li Yuya had just finished speaking when she saw Jiang Tianming leaning down with his back to her. Li Yuya was stunned. Jiang Tianming said helplessly. What are you looking at? Lie on my back and I will carry you. No, you don't have to do that, you, Ray, carrying something. Besides, my injury isn't that serious, it's okay. Sister Yuya, come up if I tell you to don't let a handsome guy like me stand with my butt sticking out for too long. Okay, it's not very decent. Jiang Tianming said this and leaned closer to Li Yuya. Li Yuya was actually a little embarrassed and a little scared. But her foot was indeed injured, and it was indeed difficult for her to walk in a short period of time. After hesitating for a while, Li Yuya whispered, and you really carry me? You are carrying so many things. Why don't you just let me help you? Sister Yuya, if you question a man's strength, you are questioning his masculinity. Which is an insult to him, do you understand? Jiang Tianming said. Don't be fooled by my handsome appearance, I have been practicing. Don't worry if a man can't even carry a woman, is he still a man? After hearing this, Liu Ye finally lay down behind Jiang Tianming. Jiang Tianming slowly straightened up. He staggered to steps carrying Liu Ye on his back. Then he stopped. You can't carry it anymore? Liu Ye asked a little embarrassed. Jiang Tianming took a deep breath and said. I've said before, questioning a man's strength is an insult to him. Jiang Tianming put Liu Ye down and said, but I have to admit that your doubts are correct. Liu Ye, didn't you say that a man who can't even carry a woman is not a man? Jiang Tianming was silent for a moment, then said, there is another saying that a man should be able to bend and stretch. In the end, Liu Ye still grabbed Jiang Tianming's arm, used Jiang Tianming as a crutch, and walked out of the hotel. Before leaving, Liu Ye whispered to Jiang Tianming, thank you. Although you are a playboy, you are still a good carrot. Jiang Tianming gave a helpless smile. And he showed his dissolute look as he asked Liu Ye for her contact information during the day. And said, Sister Yuya, can you add me on WeChat later? Adding WeChat is not going to work, but you can come back. Suddenly such a voice was heard. Jiang Tianming was stunned. Then he turned around and looked to his side. He saw Jiang Wanwan standing beside him at some point. Jiang Tianming, I should have warned you to stay away from Yuya. Chapter 151 Because you are a bad student. What made Jiang Tianming feel fortunate was that Jiang Wanwan was drunk. So before Jiang Wanwan could do anything to Jiang Tianming, she burped in a daze. Then, as if she had forgotten about Jiang Tianming, she turned around and lay in Shenfeng again. Jiang Tianming's mouth twitched when he saw this. Why was his sister still paying attention to his conversation with Liu, even though she was drunk? Also, why was his sister able to lie on Shenfeng's back so accurately even though she was drunk? He felt that his sister was like a piece of iron. And Shenfeng is like a magnet. However, after being interrupted by Jiang Wanwan, this made Jiang Tianming feel a little regretful. Shenshang called a designated driver. Jiang Wanwan, Liu Ye, and Shen Xiaojiuo and his wife returned to Jiang Wanwan's small villa. Jiang Tianming was temporarily staying at Jiang Ziyachi and Su Yan's house. So they went back together. After arriving home, Tang Ping helped the drunk Shen Xiaojiuo to rest. Liu Ye also returned to her room. Shenfeng originally planned to help the drunk Jiang Wanwan back to the room to rest. But Jiang Wan was halfway upstairs that night when he suddenly refused to leave. He sat on the stairs and began to look at Shenfeng stupidly. Feng Zi, hug me. She held out her hand like a child. Shenfeng squatted down and hugged her, saying softly, be good, Wanji, go back to sleep, okay? I'm not sleepy. Jiang Wanwan yawned and said, I'm not sleepy at all. I'm full of energy now. Hey, Feng Zi, you are so pretty. Let your sister give you a MUA, okay? It was rare for Shenfeng to see Jiang Wanwan like this. Jiang Wanwan's alcohol tolerance has always been average. But she knows this herself, so she rarely drinks too much. But today, Jiang Wanwan drank too much. It's not just because Jiang Ziyiqi's birthday. It's also because Jiang Ziyiqi finally accepted Shenfeng in a true sense. This is what makes Jiang Wanwan happiest. Shenfeng smiled and put his face close to Jiang Wanwan's mouth. As a result, Jiang Wanwan bit Shenfeng on the face. Jiang Wanwan stuck out her tongue in disgust. This pig head meat is so hard. I can't bite it. Shensheng rubbed his face, smiled bitterly and said, okay brother Wan, I'll carry you back to sleep. But Jiang Wanwan still seemed to have no intention of leaving. Instead, he suddenly stood up. Standing on a step higher than Shenfeng. Looking down at Shenfeng, he said in a serious and arrogant tone, where did this man come from? How dare he be so rude and speak to me like that? Man, kneel down and surrender at my feet, and I may spare your life. Shenfeng sighed, Your Majesty, I surrender to you. Then we go back to the palace and rest? Oh, go back to the palace to rest? Is there a concubine to sleep with me? As she spoke, Jiang Wanwan suddenly burped again. Then he reached out and lifted Shenfeng's chin. Hey, isn't this concubine Feng? Why, do you want to sleep with me? As she spoke, Jiang Wanwan's fingers slid down and stroked Shenfeng's neck. I didn't expect concubine Feng to be so proactive. But it be that I haven't visited you these days and you feel lonely? Her hand touched Shenfeng's chest again. And he moved closer to Shenfeng and chuckled. It's a pity that concubine Feng has a flat chest. She's not my type. But fortunately, concubine Feng, you are very cute. Why don't you smile for me? If I am happy, I might even stay overnight in your palace. While talking, Jiang Wanwan's fingers were drawing circles on Shenfeng's body. Shensheng rubbed his forehead silently. Then he hugged Jiang Wanwan in his arms. She held Jiang Wanwan in her arms like a princess. Leaned over and whispered in Jiang Wanwan's ear, Your Majesty, since you have amused me, no matter what you say today, you will have to spend the night in my arms. As he said that, Chen Chang carried Zhang Wanwan back to the room. Zhang Wanwan was now a little more sober. She blinked and looked at Shen Feng, who had carried her to the bed, and said, dazed lie, Feng Fengzi, what are you going to do? Shen Feng smiled slightly. Sleeping. In Li Yuya's room. Li Yuya was lying on the bed, tagging those who were planning to play games in the group. Group leader, we all have time, but I don't know how Wang Chuan is doing. He also has to attend someone else's birthday party tonight. Wang Chuan east to the sea, I'm home. Bunny bunny bunny. Now that everyone is here, let's go to rank up in 5 teams. Rabbit, 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 rabbit. Group leader, Wang Chuan east to the sea. Crescent Bay, and another person in the group named Akina Mountain No. 1, played the game together. After Li Yuya entered the game, she turned on the voice chat and excitedly said, hello twice. She hasn't played games with these friends for a long time. This long-lost feeling made her feel very happy. Several other people also started talking on the microphone. But Wang Chuan Dong Dao Ha remained silent. Bunny couldn't help but complain. What's wrong with Wang Chuan? Are you pretending to be an expert by not saying anything? Wang Chuan Dong Dao Ha still didn't say anything. Just typed a line. Wang Chuan Dong Dao Ha, I hurt my throat from eating spicy food the past 2 days, so I won't speak on the microphone for now. Forget it. Forget about him, he is just a tool to lead us. He is responsible for leading us, and we are responsible for winning and talking. Charge. Everyone entered the game with laughter. At this time, at Zhang Ziyi's home, Zhang Tianyanming stood on the balcony of the guest room. There was no light in the room, and the only source of light was the mobile phone in Zhang Tianming's hand. Looking at Li Yuya's game avatar on the phone screen, Zhang Tianyanming couldn't help but raise the corner of his mouth. I still remember a few years ago. At that time, Zhang Wanwan had just made her debut. In order to support his sister, Zhang Tianming joined a fan group that was also newly established. Zhang Tianming was studying abroad at the time and had few friends. These enthusiastic netizens in the group became his spiritual sustenance. Playing games with these people every day is what Zhang Tianming finds happiest. What impressed Zhang Tianming the most was always the Crescent Bay. As for why he was so impressed, Zhang Tianming himself couldn't explain it clearly. Maybe it's because she is more lively in the group. Or maybe it's because she speaks more cutely. Maybe it was because she was the first person to say to him, welcome to the group. It might be because some people in the group kept saying that Yuya Bei liked him, but he just took it as a joke. It is also possible that it was because on the day when his girlfriend cheated on him, this Crescent Bay came to comfort him a few words. It's hard to describe this feeling. In fact, ever since Yu Yan said that they couldn't play games together due to cell phone problems, Zhang Tianyanming often stared at the game records that he had played with Yu Yan. He also thought about going to talk to Crescent Bay. It can be about love or something else. But ever since he was cheated on, he has had an extra barrier towards online dating. I don't even dare to have such a thought again. But that was all a few years ago. After returning to China, Zhang Tianyanming became more open-minded. He met a lot of friends in real life, perhaps what many people call bad friends. His focus is no longer on the internet, but has returned to reality. The thoughts I once had about Crescent Bay have long since faded away. Until today. Until he discovered that Yu Yan was really Shen Feng's cousin. Until he discovered that he was actually very close to Crescent Bay. In fact, Zhang Tianming himself couldn't explain how he felt about Li Yuya now. But he was sure that he didn't do it on a whim to tease this netizen who didn't recognize him. Maybe he just wanted to play a few more games with her. Zhang Tianming wanted to laugh. Humans are such complicated animals that they can't even explain what they are thinking. The game has already started on the phone. Zhang Tianyanming controlled the hero he chose and played it very casually. His attention was more focused on Li Yuya, who played the support role. Looking at the clumsy bull rushing around in the canyon, and dying tragically at the hands of the enemy from time to time, Zhang Tianming's mouth curled up. Sure enough, the level is the same as before. And there is still no improvement. Because we haven't played for a long time. We are not very familiar with the game. Zhang Tianyanming was not paying attention while playing. So his side was obviously at a disadvantage. The Bull Demon King played by Li Yuya died 7 times. Li Yuya was already very unhappy, and the enemy on the opposite side even mocked her. I haven't seen such a weak cow in a long time. My grandma plays with her feet better than you do. Li Yuya was so angry that she muttered in the voice chat. What kind of person is this? You mock me just because I killed me a few more times. I'm so angry. It sounds like he sounded quite aggrieved. Listening to Li Yuya's low grumble of grievance, Zhang Tianming turned his gaze to the chat box on the screen. After seeing clearly who was mocking Li Yuya, Zhang Tianming controlled the game character and directly found the enemy who mocked Li Yuya. Without saying a word, he emptied his health bar and carried him back home. But what made the enemy even more desperate was yet to come. The character Lan Lingking, controlled by Jiang Tianming, seemed to be cheating. Every time, it was as if he could predict which path he would take and would lie in ambush on his path in advance. Then, take advantage of his unpreparedness and give him a fatal blow. Once, twice, 3 times, 5 times, 6 times, 7 times. The enemy was almost driven crazy by the killing, and shouted angrily, "Damn it, Lan Lingking across the street. Are you sick? Why are you chasing me and killing me alone?" Jiang Tianming typed a line of words on the screen. "All Wangchuan Dong Dao Ha, because you are bad. I haven't seen such a bad Jiao for a long time. My grandma is better at playing with her feet than you." At the same time this line of words was sent out, Jiang Tianming raised his knife and killed the man again. Chapter 152. I suddenly remembered that I still have to go to school. Awesome, Wang Chuan, you really didn't play seriously before. Avenguya. Ooh, and let them run rampant. It's so refreshing. Go, go, crush the other side. In the game voice chat, the other 3 people except Jiang Tianming and Liu Ya all shouted excitedly. Liu Ya couldn't help laughing when she saw the sentence "Forgetful River flows east to the sea" typed into the game. This person seems to be the same as he was a few years ago. Just as awesome. Same, I will vent my anger for her. Liu Ya was lying on the bed holding her mobile phone, looking at the character controlled by Wang Chuan on the screen. Somehow, her eyes became a little blurry. That's how people are. Whether old or young, it is easy to feel sad when the past reappears. Liu Ya was a little moved by the fact that she and her friends who hadn't played games together for a long time met again and relived the joy they had back then. Because of her family reasons, she doesn't have many friends. She had to change her residence frequently, which left her with little time to make real friends. On the contrary, these netizens spent more time with her. Liu Ya's other group members all have to go to work. We played games until around 11 o'clock in the evening and then left. We won and lost in the game, and although we didn't win completely, everyone felt very happy. Liu Ya also felt a little unsatisfied. She was planning to quit the team and the game reluctantly. It turned out, however, that Wang Chuan Dong Dao Ha was still in the team and did not leave like the others. Liu Ya asked, "Why, aren't you going to bed?" "From the east of the Wangchuan River to the sea. I'm not sleepy yet." "Wangchuan east to the sea, are you sleeping? Do you want to go duo?" Liu Ya took one look and responded immediately. The two switched to double ranking and entered another game. During the game, Liu Ya still didn't hear Wangchuan Dong Dao Ha speak. She was the one doing all the talking from beginning to end. Wangchuan would reply by typing from time to time. There wasn't much communication, but Liu Ya inexplicably enjoyed this feeling. It's different from the lively and noisy playing with other group friends. This relatively quiet communication actually makes people feel more at ease. The two of them played games from 12 o'clock to 1 o'clock. And then to 2 o'clock. No one said they wanted to leave first. Until the character controlled by Crescent Bay in the game became idle and her voice disappeared from the voice chat. The teammates were a little unhappy when they saw someone was AFK. Those who are still playing games so late are night owls who are obsessed with games and care more about winning or losing the game. Someone couldn't help but typed in cursed, "Damn. It's okay that this support is bad at playing, but why is he AFK? Go report it." When Jiang Tianming saw it, he also said something. "Wangchuan Dong Dao Ha, this one is so good, don't report her." Teammate. "Oh, you're taking a girl out late at night, right? If you can take her out, I will report you. If you can't, I'll report you too." Jiang Tianming stopped typing. Instead, he operated silently. It was clearly a situation of 4 against 5. But under Jiang Tianming's manipulation, the balance of victory actually tilted towards them. Seeing Jiang Tianming killing people in the enemy camp, the teammates who had been sarcastic before couldn't help but start to flatter him. "Teammate, what a great guy, 1 against 3. Teammate. Master, are you still in the queue for the next game? Let's join. Wangchuan east to the sea, not coming." Teammate. "Oh, your girlfriend is asleep so you're not coming. Right? Okay. Then add me as a friend and we can play together later." Jiang Tianming's hand that was operating the game paused. After a moment, he replied. "Wangchuan east to the sea. Not a girlfriend, just a friend." Teammate. "Master, what you are saying? At this time, playing games together, a man and a woman. Aren't they boyfriend and girlfriend?" Jiang Tianming did not reply, but flattened the enemy's base without saying a word. After the game ended, Jiang Tianming ignored the friend request from his teammate. Instead, he quit the game and opened QQ. After hesitating for a moment, he clicked on the chat interface of his friend Crescent Bay. Hyped 2 words. "Elite it again. Hype it out again." After a moment, Jiang Tianming still pressed the send button. "From the east to the sea, good night." At noon, Jiang Wanwan got up. And I saw Shen Feng walking into the bedroom carrying a bowl of porridge. Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng in a daze. He looked around again. After a while, her mind gradually recovered her memories of last night. Zhang Wanwan is the type of person who will remember what she did when she was drunk. So when she thought about how she teased Shen Feng last night, Zhang Wanwan wanted to bury her head in the quilt. She coughed lightly, pretending as much as possible that nothing had happened, and said to Shen Feng, "Fengzi, what time is it now?" "11:30. Shen Feng said, holding the porridge bowl in one hand and the spoon in the other. "Open your mouth, this porridge can help you relieve your headache." Zhang Wanwan drank the porridge obediently. While drinking, she glanced at Shen Feng secretly. It seemed that Fengzi had no intention of mentioning her drunken behavior last night. But it be that Fengzi drank too much last night and forgot about it? That's good, that's good. Zhang Wanwan felt relieved. But then, Shen Feng said, "Your Majesty, is it delicious?" Feth cough. Zhang Wanwan had just swallowed half of the porridge when she choked it out. This guy hasn't forgotten at all. Looking at Shen Feng with a smile on his face. Zhang Wanwan doesn't want to bury her head in the quilt now. Instead, he wanted to bury Shen Feng's head in the ground. Seeing Zhang Wanwan glaring at him, Shen Feng held back his smile. He wiped Zhang Wanwan's mouth and said softly, "Okay. Brother Wan, don't be angry, everyone gets drunk sometimes. It's normal. And you were actually quite cute last night. Don't mention what happened last night again." Zhang Wanwan slapped the bed. "Otherwise, forget about getting in bed tonight. Okay. Okay, let's not talk about it, come on, drink the porridge first and open your mouth." Shen Cheng coaxed Zhang Wanwan like he was coaxing a child. And only then did Zhang Wanwan open her mouth and drink the porridge again. While eating, Zhang Wanwan said, "It's almost 12 o'clock and I'm still drinking porridge. Should I still eat lunch?" "As for lunch, it might be later." Shen Cheng said helplessly, "My dad drank too much last night and he hasn't woken up yet. My mom and your mom are going out shopping today and won't be home for lunch. As for Yuya, when I called her this morning, she said she stayed up late last night and wanted to get up later today. She should still be sleeping now. So don't be in a hurry to eat lunch. Or drink some porridge first to sober you up and relieve your hunger." Zhang Wanwan blinked. "I originally thought she would be the last one to get up today. I didn't expect that compared with others, she is quite diligent." After drinking the porridge, Zhang Wanwan lay back on the bed. After burping, he started checking his phone. Halfway through scrolling, Zhang Wanwan received a WeChat message. It was sent by her bad friend Qian Huahua. When Zhang Wanwan saw this, she suddenly sat up straight on the bed. "Qian Huahua, Wanwan, we are all back to school, when will you come back? And you bring your husband with you?" "Oh no, I forgot I had to go to school," Zhang Wanwan murmured. "It is already mid-September. And major universities in China are about to start or have already started the new semester." Meanwhile, Zhangwan Suzhou and Hanghouse Theater Academy was about to start school. But Zhang Wanwan had completely forgotten about this. After all, she hasn't been to school for 10 years. If Qian Huahua hadn't reminded her, she probably wouldn't have remembered that she was actually a college student. Seeing Zhang Wanwan sitting up suddenly, Shen Feng asked, "What's wrong, Brother Wan? What happened?" "Nothing happened. But I suddenly remembered that I still have to go to school," Zhang Wanwan whispered, "although I can use filming as an excuse to skip some classes. And I can graduate as long as I complete the basic credits. I still have to go to the opening ceremony." Although with Zhang Wanwan's acting skills, there is very little she can learn about acting in school. But it is still necessary to get this diploma. Otherwise, other stars have graduated from college or graduate school. But she dropped out of college, which would easily embarrass her fans. Shen Feng raised his eyebrows. Come to think of it, it seems that he is also in college now. But he is not in the same university as Zhang Wanwan. "Huan Ji, when do you start school? I'll go with you," Shen Feng said. "Wait for me to ask." Zhang Wanwan sent another message to Qian Huahua, asking about the start date of school. Qian Huahua made a dizzy expression. "Qian Huahua, my big star, are you stupid because you went on a honeymoon with your husband this summer and you can't even remember when school starts?" Qian Huahua, September 21st, 4 days later. "Do I need to remind you where our school is?" Zhang Wanwan, "Hey, no need." Qian Huahua, "Oh, it seems you are not stupid enough to forget the address of the school." Zhang Wanwan, "Actually, I have forgotten, but I have a mobile navigation, so I don't need to bother you, rich lady." Qian Huahua. Chapter 153, Homecoming 2-in-1. 4 days later, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan left Song Ha and came to Suzhou and Hanghouse Drama Academy. Li Yuya did not follow. She had already returned to Qingyuliu County with Tang Ping and Shen Xiaojiyuo. Originally, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan planned to help Li Yuya find a job in Zong Ha City. But because Zhang Wanwan had to start school, the job search process was temporarily slowed down. Speaking of Zhang Suzhou Hanghouse Theatre Academy, it has a great background. Suzhou Hanghouse Drama Academy and Shanghai Film Academy are collectively known as Southern Drama and Northern Film Academy in the domestic film and television circles. Countless well-known veteran actors, young actors, big directors, and screenwriters graduated from these two schools. It can be regarded as a top institution for performing arts. The average appearance of students here is higher than that of students in other universities. Even if you just take a few steps on campus, you might meet a celebrity who is well known in the entertainment industry. Therefore, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan originally thought that the two of them walking on the campus of Sushi would not cause much trouble. I didn't do much disguise, I just simply wore a mask. But alas, they soon discovered that they were wrong. When the first student recognized Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, a large group of people immediately rushed towards them. Like a bunch of zombies that smell brains. They were either shouting circle lot couple, YYDS or Feng Zi or Wan Ji. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan still underestimated the popularity of the two of them. In fact, logically speaking, neither of them can be considered a first-tier star, because neither of them has any box office hits worth showing off. Zhang Wanwan has only filmed a few TV series, and Shen Feng has only filmed one variety show. There is no work, but the popularity of both of them is not low at all. In itself, the first few episodes of the show Dating were enough to attract fans, and laid a stable fan base for the two people. In the following episodes of Date, Shen Cheng once again demonstrated his various skills and created the concept of high-quality idol. Because of this concept, he was even compared with the popular top-tier star Fu Yan. Because of this incident, and the rate posts of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan by veteran actor Xu Yilan and others, the popularity of the two began to remain high, and they were considered frequent visitors to hot searches. It can be said that Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan are now truly popular. The advertising dispute between Mingyu Jewelry and Chun Jewelry pushed the two people to the extreme. The two people openly challenged Fu Yan, and defeated the top-tier Fu Yan with a crushing victory. Not only that, the commercial shot by the two of them became popular again with their superb acting skills. That advertisement made countless netizens cry and gained countless fans. Therefore, the popularity of the two of them can no longer be described by normal levels. On a campus like SUXI, where most of the students study performing arts, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, two acting role models of the younger generation chosen by the old movie emperor, are naturally more popular. It is no exaggeration to say that among every 10 students of SUXI Academy, 7 are fans of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. In the end, the school sent security guards to maintain order and stabilize the situation. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were also taken away by the principal. In the principal's office, Zhang Wanwan looked at the white-haired principal and whispered, "Principal Wang, I know I was wrong. I shouldn't have been so blatant in public. I hope you can give me a chance and don't fire me if you want to fire someone. Just fire Shen Feng." Principal Wang Shunxuan glanced at Zhang Wanwan and said, "He's not a student of my school, how can I fire him? Besides, I didn't say it was going to punish you, why are you so scared?" Wang Shunxuan said this, stood up and handed a manuscript to Zhang Wanwan. "Student Zhang Wanwan, you are the best student in this class of our school, and also the most popular student, so I plan to give you a task. Let you be responsible for the speech to the freshmen at the opening ceremony." Zhang Wanwan's eyes lit up when she heard this. "Is there a salary?" "No." Zhang Wanwan put the manuscript back on the table. But then, Wang Shunxuan said, "But as long as you finish your speech, I can make the decision to exempt you from taking the credits for this school year, giving you time to focus on filming." Zhang Wanwan took the manuscript back and said with a smile, "SUXI is my alma mater. I would not refuse a speech at my alma mater even if they don't pay me." You are still in this state, so naughty." Wang Shunxuan couldn't help but shook his head. He is not only the principal of SUXI Opera, but also teaches at SUXI Opera. I used to be Zhang Wanwan's teacher. This is also one of the reasons why Zhang Wanwan dared to act naughty in front of him. Zhang Wanwan chuckled, "How can I be naughty? I am very obedient. I am your most obedient student." Alright. Stop talking to me." Wang Shunxuan waved his hand and then said, "But I do have a job that pays. I wonder if you two are willing to take it." "What kind of work?" Zhang Wanwan asked. "Filming." Wang Shunxuan took out a file bag from the drawer, took out the script from it, and placed it in front of Zhang Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan wanted to go and see it, but Wang Shunxuan held down the script again. He looked at Zhang Wanwan and said slowly, "Classmate Zhang Wanwan, before you read this script, I have to explain something to you first. This script was written by Song Xian and now, there is only the script. No directors, no investment, nothing else except the script. Shen Cheng and Zhang Wanwan were stunned when they heard Wang Shunxuan's words. It's not because of what Wang Shunxuan said later, that there was no director, actor or investment, but it was because of the screenwriter who wrote the script, as Wang Shunxuan said. Song String. Song Xian is a top screenwriter who was a flash in the pan in China. He has written 3 scripts in total. The movie made from the first script won the Best Film Award at the most authoritative Golden Film Awards in China. The second script was bought by a foreign country, and the movie made into it won the Academy Award for Best Picture 10 years ago. The third script was shot by a famous domestic director. Based on the market, he selected popular stars at the time. In the end, the stars' acting skills were controversial, but the script was the only one that received unanimous praise. Song Xian, who had only written 3 scripts, was even included in textbooks, and his scripts became the subject of discussion and research by countless film lovers. But what really stunned Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan was, this Song Xian died of illness 5 years ago. I know what you are surprised about. Wang Shunxuan said, this script is his posthumous work. His wife found this posthumous work when she was sorting out his belongings, but she had kept it in her hands this year. His wife found me and handed me the script, saying that she hoped I could help her so that Song Xian's last work could be shown on the screen again. I am the teacher of Song Xian, and his wife Song Xian is also the student I admired the most. I cannot refuse their request, so I accepted the script. Wang Shunxuan said this and looked at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. I have been looking for an actor who can perform this script for a year, but I haven't found one that satisfies me. The reason why I didn't seek investment is because I didn't want the capital to interfere too much with my casting. I think it's better to let it be buried in the dust than to let 2 incompetent actors shoot this play and tarnish this work. Until I saw your advertisement, I thought, maybe you have the ability to act in this drama. He picked up the cigarette box, took out a cigarette and seemed to want to light it. But in the end, he let it go, just took a deep breath, and said, Student Zhang Wanwan, as I said before, I won't let the capital interfere with me too much, so this play may not have too much investment in the end. I also can't promise to pay you as much as those young actors. In fact, in the end, I may only be able to pay you hundreds of thousands, or even tens of thousands. If you are still willing to accept this, I will show you the script. If you are not willing to accept it, just pretend that nothing happened today. When Wang Shunxuan said this, his tone was actually a little melancholy. It may take several months or even half a year to shoot a good movie. Given the current popularity of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, even if they take a few minutes of advertising, the price might be tens or even hundreds of millions. Even Wang Shunxuan himself had to admit that the gap was too big. Upon hearing this, Zhang Wanwan looked at Shen Feng. Zhang Wanwan in her previous life had no impression of Song Xian's 4th script. In other words, Wang Shunxuan in his previous life might not have found the right actor, which eventually led to Song Xian's posthumous work being forgotten. From the perspective of an audience, Zhang Wanwan would naturally feel regretful that the master's posthumous work has been covered in dust and cannot be published. From an actor's perspective, Zhang Wanwan certainly hopes to star in a good script. But Wang Shunxuan was not the only one asking this question. And there is Shen Feng. When Shen Feng saw Zhang Wanwan looking at him, he just smiled and rubbed her head. Don't worry about me. Just do whatever you want, I'll be with you. When Zhang Wanwan heard this, a smile appeared on her face. Principal Wang, can you let us see this script? Finally, Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan and Wang Shunxuan finalized the filming arrangements. Tell Wang Shunxuan that once he has found other actors, a suitable director, and formed a crew, he can ask them to come and film, regardless of whether the pay is high or low. This made Wang Shunxuan really relieved. In fact, the reason why Wang Shunxuan has not looked for a director or other actors now is not because he can't find them. As the principal of SUXI Academy and the teacher and senior of countless celebrities in the circle, it was extremely easy for him to find people. He doesn't look for it because he can't and doesn't dare to look for it. Wang Shunxuan did not dare to look for other crew members until he found the leading actors who were truly capable of playing the male and female protagonists in the script. He was afraid that after finding all the other members of the crew, he still wouldn't be able to find the right male and female protagonists. In the end, we had to find other actors to make do. Song Xian is his most proud student, but also his biggest regret. Rather than letting some actors without talent to film Song Xian's posthumous work, Wang Shunxuan would rather not film it. After discussing some matters concerning the filming, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan left first. Shen Cheng sent Zhang Wanwan to her dormitory. On the way, Zhang Wanwan told Shen Feng about her memories of her past life. Song Xian's last work in his previous life has not been filmed. What Principal Wang said should be his true feelings, Zhang Wanwan said. Shen Feng nodded. But Song Xian's reputation already in place. It would be easy for Wang Shunxuan to find investment as long as he announced to the public that the script was Song Xian's posthumous work. He could make a fortune without any effort. It is no exaggeration to say that for the current domestic film market, it would not be difficult to attract an investment of 700 to 800 million yuan. But Wang Shunxuan did not do this in his previous life. He would rather not make a penny and not make the movie than let capital intervene and ruin the movie. This is not only the persistence of the older generation of filmmakers, Chen Feng said slowly, but also the responsibility of a teacher for his students' works. After reading the script, I had a feeling that if this drama could be made well, it would not only be a hit in China, but it could even go global and win an Oscar. Zhang Wanwan said, and sighed again. It's not easy to make a good film. Principal Wang doesn't want capital to intervene, but if he only wants to rely on his savings to make the film, it will still be far from enough. Shen Cheng looked at Zhang Wanwan, who seemed a little melancholy, and after a moment he patted her shoulder gently. Don't worry, brother Wan, I will find a way to deal with the investment. As long as it is something Zhang Wanwan wants to do. No matter what it is, Shen Feng will find a way to complete it. If something can be solved with money, then this might be the easiest thing to solve, Shen Feng said. When they arrived at Zhang Wanwan's dormitory building, the dormitory manager stopped Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. One reason is that Shen Feng is a man. The second reason is that in order to avoid being recognized, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan are now dressed like bandits from the Middle East. It's the kind of outfit that wouldn't look out of place even if you pulled out an AK-47. Zhang Wanwan first proved that Shen Feng was her husband, and they were a legal couple. He spent some time explaining that he and Shen Cheng were not terrorists. Finally he was let in after calling Wang Shunxuan. Shen Feng followed Zhang Wanwan to her dormitory, but found that no one in the dormitory seemed to notice their arrival. Dormitory with 6 beds. All 5 beds were occupied. Some people lie on the bed and play with their cell phones. Some people sit on the bed and play with their cell phones. The only one who didn't play games. Sleeping. No one reacted at all to the arrival of Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng. Zhang Wanwan sighed. Then he yelled at the top of his lungs. Look, handsome, brother, la. Where are the handsome guys? What a handsome guy. Here it comes. The 4 people who were playing with their phones threw their phones away and looked at Zhang Wanwan. The one who was sleeping suddenly woke up from his dream. Handsome guy? There are more than 5 of them. Even several girls from the dormitory across the street and next door came running over and asked excitedly. Where is the handsome guy? Zhang Wanwan slammed the door shut, locking these nosy guys outside. Then she looked at the girls in her dorm and said, You guys didn't react at all when I came back. You got so excited when I told you there was a handsome guy. Didn't you? In the end, none of the 5 people paid any attention to her. They all ran to Shen Feng. Feng Zi, it's a real person. I'm your fan, can you give me an autograph? Feng Zi. I'm Qian Hua Hua, I played games with you before, do you still remember me? Looking closely, Feng Zi is so handsome. The handsome guy is so pleasing to the eyes. Zhang Wanwan hurriedly pulled Shen Feng behind her and said, Can you all be a little more reserved? This is my husband. Okay. The girl blinked her eyes, stretched out her hand and said to Zhang Wanwan, We are all good sisters. Our homework is your homework. And your husband is our husband. Another girl said with stars in her eyes. To be honest, I just dreamed about Shen Feng, but I didn't expect Shen Feng to really show up. I can't be still dreaming. Feng Zi, come here and let me hug you. As a result, the girl didn't hug Shen Feng, but only hugged the pillow that Zhang Wanwan swung over. You're not dreaming now, but if you get close to my Feng Zi again, I'll manually make you dream. Don't even think about stopping us from pursuing this handsome guy. The other girls in the dormitory protested. Zhang Wanwan, I'll treat you tonight, you pick the place. The other girls in the dormitory looked at each other. Welcome our Zhang Daster back to school. Wanwan is getting more and more beautiful. Come, sit down quickly. Brother, this is my treasured 1982 Coke. It has a pure taste, come and try it. Zhang Wanwan rolled her eyes at these guys. Why? A girl rubbed Zhang Wanwan's shoulders and said with a smile. We are just kidding, men are not as important as sisters. That's right, who is Shen Feng? I don't know him well. Chapter 150 for Chen Wei. The opening ceremony speech did not begin until the afternoon. So at noon, Zhang Wanwan invited a few sisters in the dormitory to go out for a meal. Although Zhang Wanwan didn't have much contact with these people in her previous life, when she met them again now, she still felt a sense of pleasure as if she were seeing old friends again. While eating, the young ladies kept gossiping about Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan's past. She has also been asking Zhang Wanwan for tips on finding a boyfriend. Zhang Wanwan shook her hair. If you are as beautiful as me, you can easily get a boyfriend. You can have as many boyfriends as you want. Shen Feng smiled as he picked up some food for Zhang Wanwan and said, How many boyfriends does brother Wanwan want? Of course. There are as many as you want. Chen Feng tapped John Wanwan's plate with his chopsticks. John Wanwan immediately coughed lightly. Of course I don't want any of them. I'll be content with you as my husband. Several other girls said that John Wanwan was spineless. John Wanwan just rolled her eyes at them. Men need to be coaxed. Do you understand? If she is too stubborn, Shen Feng will lose face. That night, Shen Feng should have made it impossible for her to get out of bed. While eating, John Wanwan received a call from Sister Lin. I then realized that Sister Lin had returned to Zhonghe City. I'm at your door, where are you? Is no one home? Oh, I forgot to tell you, our school is having its opening ceremony today. Feng Zi and I are here to attend. We should be back the day after tomorrow. By the way, Sister Lin, why don't you play with your boss Gin? John Wanwan smiled. Sister Lin on the other end of the phone sighed. Are you itching for more practice? John Wanwan quickly changed her words and begged for mercy. Sister Lin then said, King went on a business trip abroad. Now Zhenchun Jewelry and Mingyu Jewelry are in a semi-merged state. And the business is much more than before. Zhenchun has quite a few orders overseas. And King needs to go and handle them also. I've had enough vacation time. So it's time to get back to work. Hey, Sister Lin. Speaking of work, Feng Zi and I have accepted a play. Don't be angry with me yet, the situation is a bit complicated. I will tell you in detail tonight, Zhang Wanwan said. When Sister Lin heard that Zhang Wanwan had dared to take the role without permission, she was about to get furious. As a result, Zhang Wanwan interrupted her in advance as if she had predicted that she would be angry. Sister Lin sighed. If you think about it carefully, with Shen Feng by Zhang Wanwan's side, he should not let Zhang Wanwan do anything reckless. Then he said, okay, I'll wait for your call tonight. After saying that, Sister Lin hung up the phone. At this moment, she was standing at the door of Zhang Wanwan's villa. After hanging up the phone, he took out his key and opened the door. She has the key to Zhang Wanwan's villa. In the past, if no one opened the door when she knocked, she would just open it and go in. But ever since Shen Sheng and Zhang Wanwan started living together, she hasn't done that again. Even if no one opens the door when she knocks, she won't take out her key to open it immediately. Instead, she had to call Zhang Wanwan to confirm the situation first. After all, they are a young couple living together. What if they are in the middle of a passionate moment and don't have time to open the door? It would be so embarrassing if she went in rashly. After opening the door and entering the villa, Sister Lin simply put down her luggage and curled up on the sofa and started looking at her mobile phone. She had recently returned from vacation and had a lot to do. The first and most important thing is to find a place to live. Sister Lin and Zhang Wanwan often travel around because of filming, so I didn't spend much time living in Zhonghe City. When Sister Lin was in Zhonghe City, she either lived in the dormitory assigned by Lion Yu Entertainment or in Zhang Wanwan's home. Now, Zhang Wanwan's house is obviously not suitable for her to live in. Of course, she couldn't live in Lan Yu's dormitory now. Since Lan Yu fell, she established one Fenglin studio and rented a small building as a studio. She lived in the studio for some time. But that was obviously just a stopgap measure. In the future, it is unlikely that she will be the only one in their studio. Assistants, agent assistants, stylists, artists, copywriters and publicity planners, etc. At least 6 or 7 more people will be needed. The housing of these people must also be guaranteed. So on the way back to Zhonghe City from Shangjing City, Sister Lin was looking for a suitable place to live. On the other hand, we are also recruiting employees and artists for the studio. The person Sister Lin is most anxious to recruit now is an assistant. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan are now on vacation and are basically not very busy. Sister Lin doesn't have to worry about anything, so she can be relatively free. But later on, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan had more announcements and more scenes to play. How to arrange their time, how to plan their itinerary, and how to communicate with the crew and the client were all things that Sister Lin had to worry about. At that time, it would be difficult for Sister Lin to stay with Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan all the time, so she needed an assistant to help. It's hard to find a house and an assistant. It's really a headache. Looking at the unsuitable properties and the email addresses to which no one had submitted resumes, Sister Lin sighed. Leaving the company to work on your own sounds like you can get rid of the constraints of the company and be free and relaxed. But in fact, without a company to rely on, it is quite difficult to start from scratch. Even though Sister Lin admits that she has been working as an agent for many years, she still has a headache when dealing with studio-related matters. Those 2 little guys don't have to worry about these. Alas, Sister Lin was muttering to herself when she suddenly saw an email in her mobile mailbox. This made Sister Lin's eyes light up. She opened her mailbox and found a job application resume inside. But what surprised Sister Lin was that the position the sender wanted was not an assistant. a stylist, etc. The position this person applied for is artist. This surprised Sister Lin. She only posted the artist recruitment advertisement within their circle. After all, the studio hasn't been officially built yet, and Sister Lin doesn't want to recruit artists in a big way. Even the two artists originally from Lion Yu Entertainment that she and Jang Won-won had previously selected are still in the negotiation stage. Most of the other artists in the circle have studios or signed contracts with companies. Even if they want to change jobs, few people would want to switch to a small studio like Wan Fenglin that hasn't even found all the staff. So Sister Lin has hardly received any resumes for this artist recruitment advertisement these days. Sister Lin took a quick look at the man's resume. Chen Wei, 24 years old, graduated from the Beijing Film Academy. A print model. This person's academic qualifications are pretty good. He studied at the Beijing Film Academy, an institution on par with Jang Won-won's Suzhou Academy of Drama. He is not very old and seems to have just graduated. She has no experience in filming, but has been a model and is somewhat famous in the modeling circle. He is the kind of person that Sister Lin doesn't know but feels very familiar with at first glance. Most importantly, good looks and an even better figure. Sister Lin looked at the few photos sent by Chen Wei. Even in the modeling circle, her figure is truly top-notch. With such excellent resources in Wan Fenglin's current size, even if Wan Fenglin took the initiative to approach others for a contract, they might not sign. I didn't expect that Chen Wei would actually take the initiative to find Wan Fenglin. Sister Lin naturally didn't want to miss such a good opportunity. I immediately sent a reply to Chen Wei, hoping to have a face-to-face interview with her. To show her sincerity, Sister Lin also expressed her willingness to fly to Shangjing City to meet Chen Wei. But Chen Wei said that she happened to be participating in a fashion show in Zhonghai City. We can meet now. Chapter 155 Good News and Bad News. Night. Shen Feng and Jang Won-won leaned on the bed in the hotel. Shen Feng hugged Jang Won-won and fed her potato chips. Jang Won-won was eating potato chips while talking on the phone to Sister Lin. Yes, the script of that movie is written by Song Xian. And from what Lao Wang said, he seems to be planning to pay for the film out of his own pocket. I've read the script. It's really up to Song Xian's usual standard. Even better than his previous 3 scripts. Jang Won-won briefly told Sister Lin about the role. When Sister Lin heard this, she also expressed her approval of this matter. Since it's Song Xian's script, there will be no problem. I support you in making this movie as for the investment. If Principal Wang is not convenient to solve it, I can help think of a way to raise money. No need for that, Feng Zi said he would find a way. Jang Won-won said this and took another bite of potato chips. Sister Lin nodded. She now has 100 confidence in Shen Feng's abilities. After all, she had witnessed with her own eyes how Shen Feng defeated a behemoth like Senchun Jewelry by himself. Without talking about the script anymore, Sister Lin brought up another matter. Someone came to submit a resume today, hoping to apply for the position of artist. She happened to be in Zhonghai City, and I met her. She is a very good candidate. Sister Lin said, but we are still in the discussion stage and it has not been finalized. I'll send you her information, take a look. As she spoke, Jang Won-won received the information and pictures sent by Sister Lin. Jang Won-won turned on the speakerphone, glanced at the picture, and raised her eyebrows. Chen Wei, it's her? Do you know him? Sister Lin asked. Jang Won-won looked at the information and said after a moment, I guess we know each other. In fact, she is not very familiar with Chen Wei. The person who really knows Chen Wei should be her cousin, Jiang Qianming. 2 years ago, Jiang Qianming was still studying abroad. He was no longer the playboy he is now, who likes to hang out with his bad friends every day. Jiang Qianming was still very honest at that time. So honest that the most intimate contact he had with girls was the iron fist from Jang Won-won when he was a child. At that time, Jiang Qianming fell in love with a girl online. He developed a very close relationship with that girl and even flew back from abroad to celebrate her birthday with her. Jiang Qianming was absolutely attentive and caring towards that girl when it came to buying flowers and gifts. During that period, Jiang Qianming changed his profile picture to a picture of that girl. But later, Jiang Qianming broke up with the girl for some unknown reason. After all, Jang Won-won is my cousin, not my biological sister. So she doesn't know that much. But what she was sure of was that the girl in Jiang Qianming's previous profile picture was the tall model in the information that Sister Lin had sent her. And that girl's name was Chen Wei. Jang Won-won was really surprised. She never thought the world was so small that her cousin's ex-girlfriend would come to her to apply for a job as an artist. Even if we don't mention her relationship with Jiang Qianming. With her conditions, she should be able to sign a contract with a better company or studio. Why did she choose us? Jang Won-won was a little confused. She said that on the one hand she is a fan of yours. And on the other hand, she just temporarily had the idea of entering the entertainment industry. but she herself is not sure whether she can do it for a long time. So she doesn't want to be tied to a big company, and plans to find a small studio to test the waters. She thought that our studio had just been established and would be more free. So she chose us. Sister Lin said. It sounds somewhat reasonable now. Zhang Wanwan thought about it, and finally said, this person is known to my cousin. I will go ask my cousin what this person is like, and then I will give you an answer. That's fine, she seems to be staying in Zhonghai City these days. So there's no rush. Well, I'll hang up first. Zhang Wanwan said this and was about to hang up the phone. Suddenly Sister Lin said, wait a minute. Zhang Wanwan was stunned. While eating the potato chips Shen Feng fed him, he said, anything else, Sister Lin? Remember to do 20 squats, 50 high leg raises, and 50 jumping jacks later to burn off all the calories you ate from eating potato chips. The potato chips that Zhang Wanwan was holding in her mouth fell out. She coughed lightly and said hurriedly, actually, I didn't eat the potato chips. Feng Zi ate them next to me. If you want to punish him. Punish him. He ate it. Why are your words slurred? Because I bit my tongue because I got angry. Then do 10 more sets of jumping jacks to cool down. Zhang Wanwan's face fell. She whispered, actually, I didn't want to eat it. It was Feng Zi who really insisted on feeding it to me. He forced me to do it. But Sister Lin ignored her and just said, do all the exercises I told you to do, and let Shen Feng record you and send it to me. If you can't finish it, come back and wait for me to punish you. Then the call was hung up directly. Zhang Wanwan made a bitter face and looked at Shen Feng pitifully. Shen Feng shrugged, I really can't help you with this. Zhang Wanwan could only silently climb up from Shen Feng's arms and run to the side to exercise. While exercising, Zhang Wanwan said, Feng Zi, have you read Chen Wei's profile? What do you think? Not as pretty as you. Shen Feng said. Zhang Wanwan rolled her eyes at him, you are just talking nonsense. Do I need your praise? Shen Feng nodded and said, but my figure is better than yours. Damn Feng Zi, what did you say? Didn't you say you didn't need my praise? Shen Feng said. Zhang Wanwan snorted, don't play dumb. I don't believe you don't know what I mean. Shen Feng smiled, looked at Chen Wei's information, then picked up the laptop he was carrying and operated it. After a moment, he said, there are emails between her and Guan Heng in her mailbox. You guessed it right, he was indeed found by Fu Yan and Guan Heng. When Zhang Wanwan heard this, instead of feeling regretful, her eyes lit up. Fu Yan finally found someone decent this time. How do you want to deal with her? Shen Feng asked. If it were an ordinary person, he would definitely choose to refuse to sign a contract with Chen Wei at this moment. But Shen Feng knew that Zhang Wanwan was not an ordinary person. Sure enough, Zhang Wanwan said with shining eyes, how to deal with it? Of course, sign it. Since she was sent by Fu Yan, she must have another purpose. In this way, in order to achieve her goal, even if we sign a contract with her with very low conditions, she will have no choice but to agree. Then we will sign her at a low price. And then exploit her as much as possible, making her work like a slave to make money for us, and she can only get the minimum salary. Wait until you've made enough money, then kick her out. It's perfect. Zhang Wanwan said with a smirk on her face. Shen Feng also laughed. He is worthy of being his younger brother. That's so bad. But didn't you say Zhang Qianming knew her? Would Zhang Qianming be unhappy if you did this? When Zhang Wanwan heard this, she thought it made sense. I sent a WeChat message to Zhang Qianming. Zhang Wanwan, what kind of person is Chen Wei? Soon. Zhang Qianming replied with a message. Just 2 words. Bad girl. After seeing the reply, Zhang Wanwan felt relieved. My brother doesn't seem to have a good relationship with her. Just exploit her as you like. When Zhang Wanwan thought about the people that Fu Yan had tried every means to place around her in Feng Zi, and how they would end up becoming their hard laborers, she felt inexplicably relaxed physically and mentally. Seeing Zhang Wanwan still exercising, Shen Feng suddenly said, Brother Wan, there are 2 pieces of news, one good news and one bad news. Which one do you want to hear? Good news, Zhang Wanwan said. The good news is that you've already done enough exercise and don't need to do any more. Zhang Wanwan cheered and lay back on the bed. What about the bad news? Zhang Wanwan asked with blinking eyes. Shen Feng smiled and said, the bad news is, I was busy checking Chen Wei's background and forgot to record the video for you. So you may have to do it again. Zhang Wanwan, where's my knife? Chapter 156 Routine. At noon the next day, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan returned to Zhonghai City. After returning, they had a meal with Sister Lin first and talked to Sister Lin about the matter of Chen Wei. In particular, the key point was that she was hired by Fu Yan and Guan Heng to deal with them. When Sister Lin heard this, she frowned and said, why didn't you tell me these things in advance? Hey, aren't you and MRQ and living happily together? They don't have the heart to disturb you. Zhang Wanwan said. Sister Lin glared at Zhang Wanwan, causing her to stick out her tongue and change the subject. Feng Zi can handle it anyway, so you don't have to worry about it. Sister Lin, I am your agent if I don't know that someone in the entertainment industry is targeting you. And I am an incompetent agent. Sister Lin said with a headache. I know you are older and Feng Zi is capable, you can solve many problems better than me. But you don't have enough energy to handle everything. Especially when you join the crew, you won't have time to handle these chores yourself. Forget it, you will understand it yourself when you are busy in the future. Back to Chen Wei. Since she was invited by Fu Yan, I will not sign her. Sister Lin said this and was about to take out her cell phone to send a message. Zhang Wanwan quickly stopped her. Stop it, Sister Lin. Why don't you sign this coolie who came to your door for free? Coolie? Sister Lin raised an eyebrow. What do you mean? Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng looked at each other, and then told Sister Lin about the plan. Afternoon. Menji Wine Cafe is the highest standard business cafe in Zhonghae City. It costs 600 or 700 yuan to book a seat in the hall here. The minimum consumption in a private room starts at nearly 5 figures. Only some rich, second generations going on dates or some wealthy bosses wanting to discuss business would consider this place. The word business reflects its positioning. Chen Wei walked into the coffee shop, wearing high heels. Looking at the luxurious and noble decoration in the cafe, Chen Wei's eyes lit up. Although Chen Wei, as a model, earns more than ordinary people, she seldom comes to cafes of this level. Only if you occasionally follow some rich second generations can you enter such places and enjoy them. I didn't expect that the people in Wanfeng Lin would be willing to negotiate a contract in a place like this. They are really rich. Chen Wei sighed softly. As she spoke, she took out her cell phone and took a few selfies. A waiter quickly came up and said, "Hello, ma'am, taking photos may affect the privacy of other guests. So taking photos is not allowed in the lobby of our cafe." Chen Wei snorted, took another photo, and said, "There's no one in your hall right now. So what's wrong with me taking the photos?" "Excuse me, ma'am. This is the rule. If you don't follow it, please leave," the waiter said as politely as possible. Chen Wei rolled her eyes. "Let me go. Do you know who invited me here? A person who invited me here has reserved the best presidential box here. If you offend me and run away, I will tell the person who invited me here, and then you can expect your manager to give you trouble." Chen Wei came here after receiving a message from Sister Lin, in which Sister Lin said that she had booked the presidential box of Menji Wine Cafe for her. Chen Wei specially checked online and found out that the price for booking this private room is 38,188. If you order a few things, the consumption will easily exceed 40,000. When the waiter heard this, although he didn't show any fear, he changed the subject. Still as polite as before, he said, "Excuse me, ma'am, please follow me to the box. Miss Shanglin has been waiting for you for a long time." Chen Wei snorted again, then followed the waiter to the presidential box. After entering the box, Chen Wei took a look and felt a little surprised. She thought Wanfeng Lin's agent was the only one in the room. But I didn't expect that in addition to the agent's Sister Lin, there were 2 other people present. Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan. These 2 are both very popular stars nowadays. Chen Wei's heart moved. Originally, Chen Wei thought that Sister Lin valued her enough by inviting her to such a luxurious place to sign the contract. Unexpectedly, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were also present. This is enough to show how important Wanfeng Lin's studio regards her. This small studio probably hasn't signed many decent people yet. My conditions are so good, no wonder they value me so much. Chen Wei thought to herself. I couldn't help but feel a little proud again. As Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan knew, she came here to accept the mission from Fu Yan and Guanheng. Guanheng promised her a large sum of money as a reward, and also said that as long as she could complete the task, Fu Yan would protect her in the entertainment industry in the future. It can be said that it will be easy for Chen Wei to rise to success in the future. Originally, Chen Wei was worried that a task with such a generous reward would be difficult to complete. She was also afraid that Wanfeng Lin's studio had high and strict requirements and would not let her get in easily. Unexpectedly, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan valued her so much. It seems that completing this task is much easier than she imagined. Thinking in her mind, Shen Wei greeted Sister Lin, Shen Feng, and Zhang Wanwan with a smile. Then he sat on a single sofa next to Shen Feng. Chen Wei is wearing a hip-hugging miniskirt today. As she sat down, she leaned forward to best showcase her curves. After all, she is a model, so her figure is definitely impeccable. She did this on purpose, naturally to attract Shen Feng's attention and make Shen Feng interested in her. After all, her mission was actually to seduce Shen Feng. But Chen Wei was smart, although her actions were quite seductive. Her expression was deliberately honest. She didn't look at Shen Feng, but looked at Sister Lin and said, "Sister Lin, why did you choose such a high-end place to meet?" She spoke with a smile on her face and her tone was gentle, giving people a sense of being well-educated and intellectual. Sister Lin pointed at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. I didn't choose this place. They chose it. Wanwan and Xiao Shen have read your resume and think you have great potential. So they want to meet you in person and sign a contract with you. Chen Wei looked at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan again. Zhang Wanwan took the menu and handed it to Chen Wei, saying, let's order some coffee or snacks first, we can eat and talk at the same time. Just order whatever you want, don't be shy. This is so embarrassing. Chen Wei said this. But he had already glanced at the menu. And then, looking embarrassed, he ordered 7 or 8 coffees and snacks in succession. The total price is as much as 2,000 to 3,000 yuan. After ordering, she handed the menu back. Then he felt very embarrassed again. With an expression of gratitude to Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, and said sincerely with his eyes, Feng Zi, Wanwan, thank you. You are so polite. Actually, I am your fan, and it is my wish to meet you. Logically, I should be the one to treat you to coffee. How can I let you pay for it? I have to say that Fu Yan and Guan Heng were really discerning in choosing the right people this time. At least Chen Wei's acting skills are much better than some young actors, such as Fu Yan himself. But when it comes to acting skills, Chen Wei is as pure as a blank sheet of paper in front of Zhang Wanwan. Chen Wei is polite, so she acted even more polite than Chen Wei, with an expression that he particularly values Chen Wei. He said enthusiastically, don't say that you coming to our studio is actually giving us face. How can we let you pay? That friendly look was like seeing a real friend. This made Chen Wei feel a little embarrassed. But before she could open her mouth to speak, Zhang Wanwan said, but since you want to pay for the meal so much, I can't refuse your kindness, right? Then you will pay for today's expenses. Chen Wei? Chen Wei thought she had heard it wrong. But then she thought it was probably a joke. No, I should say it must be a joke. Since Wan Fenglin values her so much, how could he really let her pay the bill? She has watched some variety shows featuring Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, and knows that Zhang Wanwan has this kind of mischievous personality. Especially when she saw Zhang Wanwan's friendly expression, Chen Wei became even more certain. So Chen Wei smiled and said, okay, I'll buy it, but you better not rush to buy it when the time comes. Wanwan. Zhang Wanwan also smiled and replied, I'm sure no one will rush to buy it. Don't worry. Just Zhang Wanwan's smile. 3 parts naughty, 3 parts cheerful, and 3 parts enthusiastic, and a bit of cunning. Anyone who saw her smile would think that she was joking. 100 joking. Chen Wei, of course, is no exception. She naively thought that Zhang Wanwan valued her very much, which was why she played such a joke with her that only good friends would play with her. She didn't know how good Zhang Wanwan's acting skills were, but she thought she could see through Zhang Wanwan's thoughts. But she didn't know. From the moment she stepped into this coffee shop, she had already fallen into the trap set by Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. She would never be able to figure out how deep Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan's tricks were. Just like the day, it will never understand the darkness of the night. Unless it's cloudy. Chapter 157 40 yuan to an 1. Zhang Wanwan never mentioned the matter of paying the bill again. It was like the joke was over. Next, she and Shen Feng chatted with Chen Wei about some trivial matters. For example, how is Chen Wei's current modeling work? For example, Chen Wei is so beautiful, does she have a boyfriend? When Chen Wei answered this question, she actually looked at Shen Feng a little more. Then he half-jokingly said, I'm still single, mainly because there are too few men as good as Feng Zi. So, you like Feng Zi? Zhang Wanwan took a sip of coffee and said with a smile. Chen Wei looked as if she had said something wrong, and then said apologetically, that's not what I meant. She looked at Zhang Wanwan nervously. She was also a little worried that Zhang Wanwan would become wary of her. But Zhang Wanwan didn't seem to care, she simply ignored the topic and started talking about other things with Chen Wei. This made Chen Wei feel relieved. It seems that Zhang Wanwan is a nervous tiger girl. If Zhang Wanwan was more sensitive and alert, it might take some effort for her to seduce Shen Feng. But since Zhang Wanwan is a very calm person, things will be much easier. She no longer has to worry about Zhang Wanwan, she just needs to find a way to take down Shen Feng. Thinking about it, Chen Wei looked at Shen Feng. But she found that Shen Cheng was also looking at her. And judging from Shen Feng's expression, it seemed that he was also secretly glancing at her. His eyes were still lingering on her face, chest and legs. Chen Wei almost couldn't help laughing out loud. People on the internet are saying that Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan are a loving couple and a model couple. As if these two people love no one else but each other. But looking at Shen Feng's appearance, isn't he still attracted by her beauty and figure? Zhang Wanwan was not on guard against her, and Shen Feng was interested in her. Chen Wei felt that her mission was almost accomplished. She seemed to have seen the scene of her completing the task, taking the high reward given to her by Fu Yan, and rising rapidly in the entertainment industry. Chen Wei's spirit was tense at the beginning, but now she has finally relaxed. There's even a feeling of having a sure win. The way he looked at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan was like a butcher looking at 2 pigs to be slaughtered. After Zhang Wanwan chatted with her for some more small talk, she finally brought up the serious matter. Wei Wei, I'm actually very satisfied with you since you're interested in joining us. Why don't we talk about the salary? Zhang Wanwan said kindly. Chen Wei nodded. She was also a little curious about what price Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng would give her in the end to sign her. Although Chen Wei will get compensation from Fu Yan later, this will not prevent her from getting an extra share from Zhang Wanwan. Wei Wei, I wonder what your target price is. You should also understand the market, right? Oh, my target price is a signing fee of at least 1 million. For a newcomer who hasn't made his debut yet, this is definitely a high price. Chen Wei herself knows this. Sure enough, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan looked a little embarrassed. Then, Shen Feng said, Miss Chen, although you have good conditions and I am very satisfied with you, you only have modeling experience before, and you are a newcomer in the entertainment industry. Our studio has just been established. It would be very risky for us to pay 1 million to sign you. So can it be lowered a bit? Chen Wei left room for bargaining. So she smiled and said, of course, Feng Zi, how much do you want to give? 100,000, how about that? Shen Feng said. This number made Chen Wei's eyes light up again. I thought Shen Feng would give me 400,000 or 500,000 in the end. After all, Chen Wei knew a few friends who agreed to debut as models, and they seemed to be willing to pay about this price. The fact that Shen Feng could give her 800,000 yuan was far beyond Chen Wei's expectations. Could it be that Shen Feng is really interested in her and wants to spend a lot of money to keep her? The more Chen Wei thought about it, the more she felt that this was possible. Her charm is indeed very great. Even though Shen Feng has a beauty like Zhang Wanwan by his side, he still can't help but be attracted to her. Chen Wei felt a little proud. However, just when she was about to agree to the signing fee of 800,000, Zhang Wanwan suddenly frowned and pulled Shen Feng. Then he whispered to Shen Feng. Even Sister Lin got involved. Chen Wei stretched her ears to listen, but she could only roughly hear words like too much, and I can't give it to you. It seems that Zhang Wanwan is reluctant to pay this price? Chen Wei felt a little regretful, but also thought it was normal. After all, her expected price range is only about 300,000 or 400,000 yuan, so she can accept a slight price reduction. Soon, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan finished their whisper. Shen Feng looked at Chen Wei with a bit of regret, and that expression seemed as if he felt quite sorry for Chen Wei. Miss Chen, the contract amount may need to be reduced a little bit. I wonder if you can accept it. Of course, after all, I'm not here for the money. I'll be very satisfied to be able to work with my idols, Chen Wei said with a smile. Shen Feng also smiled. It's great that you think so. Then the signing price we plan to offer is 40 yuan. 400,000 is fine. Wait, $40? At first, Chen Wei thought that Shen Feng was talking about the 400,000 yuan, so she agreed with a smile on her face. But then he came to his senses and looked at Shen Feng with wide eyes. From 800,000 to 40 yuan, you call that a little bit reduction? Shen Feng nodded. Yes, 40 yuan. No, did you say 10,000 less? $40 is too little, Chen Wei said with a frown. $40? Isn't this just giving money to a beggar? But Shen Feng said, no, it's 40 yuan. This is the result of our discussion with Wanwan. Chen Wei looked at Zhang Wanwan again. Wanwan, aren't you guys kidding me? Zhang Wanwan still had that friendly expression, but there was a hint of helplessness in her eyes. Wei Wei, actually this matter is a bit complicated. I just remembered that our studio is in the initial stage of establishment and needs to be inspected by a department in our entertainment industry. If we sign a contract that is too expensive during the inspection period, we may have to pay extra fees and go through various procedures, which is very troublesome. $40 is just to cover. After the inspection period is over, I will definitely give you a higher price. You just need to wait a few months. Zhang Wanwan added. Of course, if you really don't want to accept it, then our cooperation will be cancelled. We can only give you this price for now. Chen Wei felt a headache. Original plan was to ask for a signing fee of 300,000 or 400,000. And capture Shen Feng, complete Fu Yan's task, and get Fu Yan's reward. But now, she only has 40 yuan left in signing fee. Although Zhang Wanwan promised that she would give a high price in the future. Who knows when later will be. The signing fee is only 40 yuan. Which means I will lose a lot of extra money, but if I don't agree, this cooperation will be cancelled, and I won't even be able to complete Fu Yan's task. The signing fee of several 100,000 is far less than the remuneration Fu Yan promised. I can't lose the big picture for the small. Chen Wei thought so, and finally had to bite the bullet and forced a smile at Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, saying, well, okay, I agree to the signing fee of 40 yuan. I just want to ask, when will your inspection period end? About 3 months, but don't worry, I will definitely give you the 800 signing bonus after 3 months. Zhang Wanwan said with a sincere expression. 3 months, I guess you and your husband will get divorced after 3 months, right? Chen Wei curled her lips. But then, she heard Zhang Wanwan say again. Although I can't give you too much as a signing fee due to the review. If you are short of money in the next 3 months, you can always come to me. If I don't have money, will you give me money? Chen Wei asked. But it be that Zhang Wanwan wants to play the yin-yang contract game? On the surface, you sign a low-price contract with her to fool the inspection. But in fact you give her extra money outside the contract? She was saying, how could Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan be so stingy as to only give her 40 yuan? Chen Wei smiled again. No, I know a loan shark who can introduce you to him. Chen Wei. The smile on her face disappeared again. To be honest, Chen Wei always felt like she was being fooled. But looking at the sincere expressions of Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan, she felt that it was not right. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan value her so much that they even go out of their way to meet her in such a luxurious place. Would they play tricks on her? If these two people don't want to sign her, why do they come to a place like this to see her? Isn't it a waste of money? Moreover, Chen Wei couldn't think of any reason why these two people were playing tricks on her. One Fenglin studio is currently in need of people. She took the initiative to submit her resume and her qualifications were excellent. Which was like a blessing from heaven for one Fenglin. She is a popular commodity that comes right to her doorstep. Why would Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan play tricks on her? Shen Feng's sincerity can also be seen from the price of 800 that he offered at the beginning. What's more, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan promised her that they would compensate her the 800 yuan in 3 months if Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan were really not sincere. Why would they promise her this? While Chen Wei was thinking about this, Shen Feng had already taken out a stack of contracts, still in the price of 40 yuan in the signing fee, and it was handed over to Chen Wei for her to sign and put her fingerprints on. In order to complete Fu Yan's task, Chen Wei finally had to sign the contract. Seeing Chen Wei sign the contract, Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan looked at each other and smiled. Sister Lin left the box silently. A moment later, Zhang Wanwan, who was chatting with Chen Wei, received a call. Chen Wei didn't hear clearly what was said on the other end of the phone. But looking at Zhang Wanwan's expression, it seemed like there was something important. After hanging up the phone, Zhang Wanwan apologized to Chen Wei. I'm sorry, Wei. Sister Lin said that there was a problem with the cooperation we discussed before, and asked us to go over quickly. Do you want to come with us? Or stay a while? Not much of the food on the table has been eaten yet. And Chen Wei even took some photos and posted them on WeChat Moments to show off and pretend to be a socialite. Naturally, he said, I'll sit for a while if you have something to do. Go ahead and do it. Well, call me if you need anything. We're leaving now. As she spoke, Zhang Wanwan seemed very anxious and pulled Shen Feng away. Looking at the two people leaving, Chen Wei let out a breath. While taking a selfie, he muttered, how unlucky, I lost hundreds of thousands of dollars. But fortunately, Shen Feng seems to be interested in me. And Zhang Wanwan is not on guard. As long as we can capture Shen Feng and complete Fu Yan's mission, these hundreds of thousands of dollars won't be a big deal. Besides, once I get close to Shen Feng, if I just whisper something in his ear, he will definitely give me the money like those other stupid men. Thinking of this, Chen Wei laughed again. She stayed in the box for more than half an hour. During this period, she also called to sisters she knew who happened to be taking advertisements in Zhanghe City. These young sisters used to have a group of socialites. They often go to luxurious places together, take turns taking photos and post them on WeChat Moments to disguise their wealth. This time, Chen Wei had the chance to come to this luxurious coffee shop where the private room fee was as high as tens of thousands of yuan. Of course, she wanted to make full use of it and let her sisters come and take some photos. In fact, the most important purpose is to show off in front of them. Wow, Wei, you become rich, you can even come to a place like this to drink coffee? After the two sisters arrived, they were almost clinging to Chen Wei's thighs. Chen Wei laughed and said proudly, someone invited me here for coffee. What's the matter? Did you catch a big fish? You may not believe this, but I caught Shen Feng. Chen Wei said. The other two sisters looked shocked. Both of them were pestering Chen Wei with gossip, while Chen Wei enjoyed their shock and flattery. More than half an hour passed before she and her two other sisters left the box. But just as she was about to leave the cafe, the waiter stopped her again. Chen Wei glared at him. It's fine that you stopped me from taking pictures before. But now you want to stop me from leaving? Do I have to meet with your manager? The waiter said politely, sorry ma'am, I stopped you this time because you haven't paid yet. Check out, what? Chen Wei frowned. Your total spending in the presidential box is 150 yuan, and the presidential box fee is 38,888 yuan. for a total of 41,038 yuan. The waiter said as he handed Chen Wei a bill. Chen Wei's expression changed immediately. Didn't those people who left before get paid for this? Sorry ma'am, no. Chen Wei frowned. Did Zhang Wanwan not joke before? Was she really going to let her pay the bill? No, it's not possible. Zhang Wanwan is a popular star after all. Would she be reluctant to spend even 40,000 yuan? There must be some misunderstanding here. Wait, I'll call and ask. Chen Wei remembered what Zhang Wanwan said before she left. Call me if you have anything, and took out her cell phone. But after holding the phone for a few seconds, Chen Wei suddenly realized Zhang Wanwan didn't even leave her cell phone number. Chen Wei could only call Sister Lin, whom she had contacted before. But I made 2 calls in a row and both times I was told that I was on the phone. Chen Wei's face turned pale. The other 2 sisters looked at each other. They whispered, what's going on? Didn't Chen Wei say she caught Shen Feng? Did Shen Feng not pay her? No way? Could it be that I was tricked? Maybe she is just bragging there. Is Shen Feng interested in her? They are sisters. But in fact there is not much real emotion. Previously, Chen Wei claimed that she had hooked up with Shen Feng and boasted about it for a long time. The 2 sisters tried to please and flatter her on the surface. But in fact, they felt a little jealous. Now that they found that Chen Wei seemed to be in trouble, these 2 people naturally felt like gloating and watching the fun. The cafe was very quiet, so Chen Wei also heard the discussion between the 2 sisters. She, who was very proud, suddenly felt a little embarrassed. Gritting her teeth, she pulled the waiter aside. First I swiped my credit card and settled the bill. Then he pointed at the waiter and said, later, you can say that it was Shen Feng who paid for me. Do you understand? The waiter pretended not to hear. Chen Wei sighed, took out her wallet and gave the waiter 200 yuan. Did you hear that? The waiter took the tip and then said, I can only promise that I won't talk, but I can't help you lie. Whatever you want, if you dare to ruin my business, I will never let you go. After Chen Wei finished speaking, she walked back to her 2 sisters. And he smiled and said, it's just a misunderstanding. Shen Feng has already paid me. Now we can go. The 2 sisters looked at the waiter next to Chen Wei. Seeing that the waiter did not seem to refute Chen Wei, the 2 nodded doubtfully. But the fake smile on his face. He left the cafe with Chen Wei. Chen Wei was also smiling. She was just smiling, but her heart was bleeding. In Zhang Wanwan's villa, Sister Lin asked Shen Feng curiously. Chao Shen, you and Wanwan gave Chen Wei 40 yuan. Aren't you afraid that she will be suspicious? What does she suspect? Shen Feng asked. I suspect that you and Zhang Wanwan already know that she is actually an undercover sent by Fu Yan, and you are deliberately playing tricks on her. After hearing what Sister Lin said, Shen Feng smiled slightly. How could she know? She didn't know that I had seen her correspondence with Guan Heng and Fu Yan. And she didn't know that we had already known that Fu Yan and Guan Heng were planning to target us. Fu Yan, Guan Heng, and this Chen Wei all think they are holding a good hand to plot against us. But they don't know that in our eyes, they are always showing their cards. Once people think they are too smart, they will never realize how stupid they are. After hearing this, Sister Lin looked Shen Feng up and down. Then he couldn't help but complain, aren't you afraid? You think you are too smart? Shen Feng shrugged, of course I'm not afraid. Why? Because the opponent was too weak. I didn't even try to exert my strength. Compared with Zhang Ziyi's rival companies, compared with Lion Yu Entertainment, and compared with Sanchun Jewelry, in front of these old foxes who are well versed in the business world, Fu Yan and Guan Heng are as innocent as a blank sheet of paper. And in front of Shen Feng, this 800-year-old fox, Fu Yan and Guan Heng were just pieces of toilet paper, not to mention white paper, or the kind that you blow your nose. Chapter 158 Husband and Wife. It was not until the evening that Chen Wei got through to Sister Lin. She wanted to ask Sister Lin directly why she didn't pay the bill and left it to her. But she was afraid that her tone would be too harsh and would annoy Sister Lin. She still has a mission to accomplish, and in order to complete it, she must not offend any of Shen Feng, Zhang Wanwan or Sister Lin. So she tried to slow down her tone and said, Sister Lin, this is what happened when I left the cafe this afternoon. I found that you forgot to pay the bill. I'll settle that bill for you. Chen Wei looked as if she wanted to say something but hesitated. She felt that Sister Lin should be able to understand what she meant. And I heard Sister Lin say, thank you. Chen Wei, is this your thank you that I want? Can't you think of giving me the money? Chen Wei took a deep breath. His tone slowed down again. Well, Sister Lin, the signing fee is 40,000, I helped to advance 40,000 this time. The money on hand is a bit insufficient. So, I also know a loan agent. Do you want to borrow money? Chen Wei. What the hell? She clenched her fists, resisting the urge to curse, and said, no, Sister Lin. I mean, can the 40,000 yuan be reimbursed? Chen Wei felt that she had to speak out. When Sister Lin heard this, she gave an answer very readily. No. Chen Wei. Damn, was she tricked? But then I heard Sister Lin say. What I mean is, you can't ask me for reimbursement. You have to ask Wan Wan. To put it bluntly, we all work for Wan Wan. And the money is all with her, do you understand? Don't worry. Wan Wan is still very generous, you will definitely not lose this money. Chen Wei breathed a sigh of relief and said, okay. Thank you, Sister Lin. Well, you're welcome if there's nothing else. I'll go to bed first. Sister Lin said this and hung up the phone. After hanging up the phone, Chen Wei took the phone and wanted to call John Wan Wan again. But she soon discovered again. She still didn't have John Wan Wan's phone number. Damn it, I forgot to ask. Chen Wei had no choice but to call Sister Lin again. The number you dialed is turned off, please call again later. Chen Wei. Chen Wei was numb. Chen Wei didn't sleep well all night. I felt very nervous. I was always worried that I was being scammed and that I had lost 40,000 yuan. But she also felt that she shouldn't. There is no reason. She is not rich, why would she care about her 40,000 yuan? In fact, this is the gap caused by information asymmetry. Neither Guan Heng nor Chen Wei knew from the beginning to the end that Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan had already known about their plan. Guan Heng thought that Shen Feng could not figure out his plan, no matter how hard he tried. And he foolishly thought that his plan would not be exposed. But he didn't know that Shen Feng could open his email and read his chat history at any time. If the information on both sides was more equal, Chen Wei should have realized that she had been exposed. Chen Wei, who was feeling uneasy all night, called Sister Lin again the next day. After asking Sister Lin for John Wanwan's phone number, I called her. John Wanwan answered the phone quite readily, which made Chen Wei feel slightly relieved. Hey, Wanwan. Well, who are you? John Wanwan seemed not to recognize Chen Wei's voice and asked. Chen Wei was a little embarrassed. Chen Wei. Oh, what's the matter? John Wanwan's tone became friendly and enthusiastic again. It's like this, you may have left in a hurry yesterday and forgot to pay the bill. So I paid the money first. When Chen Wei said this, John Wanwan asked in confusion, didn't you say you would pay the bill? So I deliberately didn't pay the bill. Chen Wei, we were just joking. John Wanwan, I thought you were serious. Chen Wei. But soon John Wanwan smiled and said, okay, I'm just kidding you, of course I'm kidding. How could I really ask you to pay? We were in a hurry yesterday and forgot to pay the bill. It was not intentional, thank you for paying for it. Chen Wei let out a breath and forced a smile. Then he pretended to be polite and said, it's nothing for me to pay in advance it, it's only 40,000 yuan, I can afford it. Yeah, thank you. Chen Wei. Why are you the same as Sister Lin? Doesn't I need your thanks? Chen Wei could only bite the bullet and say, I can't afford it, but the signing bonus is only 40,000. And the bill is 40,000. I haven't even received my salary yet and I'm spending so much. I can't explain to my family. And I'll give you your 40 yuan signing bonus. By WeChat or bank transfer. I didn't mean that. Chen Wei felt a headache. Why does she find it so difficult to communicate with these people? If she only has trouble communicating with Sister Lin, she will think it is Sister Lin's problem. But now it is so difficult to communicate with Zhang Wanwan that Chen Wei begins to doubt her life. Just when Chen Wei felt a little desperate, she suddenly heard Zhang Wanwan say with a smile, okay, I understand what you mean, of course I will give you the money you paid in advance. 40,000? I'll transfer 50,000 to you. The rest will be a gift for you. When Chen Wei heard this, she instantly felt like she had gone from hell to heaven. Although she didn't think 10,000 yuan was a huge sum of money, what she valued was Zhang Wanwan's attitude. Before, Chen Wei was also wondering if she was being fooled by Zhang Wanwan and the others. But now seeing Zhang Wanwan's attitude, Chen Wei's concerns disappeared. Chen Wei smiled and told her WeChat ID. But just when she was about to wait for Zhang Wanwan to transfer the money, Shen Feng's voice suddenly came from Zhang Wanwan's side. Wan bro, what are you doing? Oh, I transferred money to Weiwei. We went to the coffee shop yesterday and forgot to pay the bill when we left. She paid for it and now she's here to ask for the money. Chen Wei seemed to hear something strange in Shen Feng's tone. Didn't she say her family was well off yesterday? Why is 40,000 yuan worth calling to ask for it? When we go out to eat with friends, isn't it common for us to pay thousands or tens of thousands of dollars for our friends? She's so serious about it, is she short of money or just stingy? Zhang Wanwan said, oh, don't say that, as you and your friend. Weiwei is the artist you signed, how can it be the same? I consider her a friend, do you mean she doesn't consider me a friend? TSK. When Chen Wei heard this, Shen Feng sighed. It's like an innocent little boy who finds out that his goddess has rejected his confession. Chen Wei's heart tightened when she heard this. Shen Feng showed his affection for her yesterday. Moreover, the socialite image she deliberately built up yesterday might also collapse. If this 40,000 yuan caused a rift between Shen Feng and her, causing Shen Feng to suspect her. In the end, it affected the relationship between Shen Feng and her, and caused problems with the mission, which would be a big trouble. Compared to the mere 40,000 yuan, the compensation Fu Yan promised to give her was much more. How can you lose the big picture for the small? Chen Wei thought about it and finally made up her mind. It's just 40,000 yuan, just think of it as paying to buy a relationship with Shen Feng. She smiled and said to Zhang Wanwan, you are not really transferring money to me. Are you? I was just joking. It's only 40,000 yuan. I'll just pay it in advance. We are all friends, and you are my idols. I am willing to spend money on you. This is not good. And your WeChat account has been reported. Zhang Wanwan was a little hesitant. Chen Wei smiled and said, I just want to add you as a friend. Wanwan, you are too serious. Zhang Wanwan also laughed when she heard it. Wei, you are such a nice person. Well, since you don't want the money, I won't beg you to transfer the money. I'll treat you to a meal later. Yeah, there will be plenty of opportunities in the future. The two chatted for quite a while like sisters. Then he hung up the phone. After hanging up the phone, Chen Wei clutched the phone and bit her lips. These 40,000 yuan can only be regarded as a waste of money. But you can't catch a wolf without sacrificing a child. This sacrifice is necessary. Chen Wei comforted herself. At least from Zhang Wanwan's attitude, I can tell that she really wants to give me money and is not lying to me. And Shen Feng seems to think highly of me. That's enough. When Chen Wei was comforting herself, Zhang Wanwan was lying on Shen Feng's legs and laughing wildly. His hand slapped on Shen Feng's body, making a popping sound. I'm dying of laughter. Feng Zi, your idea is too mean. In fact, Shen Feng had been sitting next to Zhang Wanwan and listening since Chen Wei called. In other words, from the moment Shen Wei dialed the phone, she fell into the trap set by Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. Shen Feng touched Zhang Wanwan's head as if he was touching a kitten. Is she mean? I just treat her as a friend. She herself didn't want the money. What does it have to do with me? Hey, by the way, Feng Zi, has Sister Lin arranged Chen Wei's work? Well, when Chen Wei officially reports to the studio tomorrow, she should start her work. As Shen Feng spoke, he opened a schedule sent by Sister Lin on his phone. There is a dense schedule arranged on it. It starts at 6 in the morning and ends at 9 in the evening. Zhang Wanwan and Shen Feng looked at each other. The smile on his face looked a little weird. I see the ugly face of a capitalist on your face, Zhang Wanwan said with a smile. Shen Sheng scratched her little nose. Then we look like a couple. Chapter 159 Assistant 2-in-1. Chen Wei will officially report to the studio tomorrow. So today Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan took some time to go to Qinglu County and bring Liu Ye back. Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan planned to find a job for Liu Ye in Zhonghe City. Something that was stable and long-term. Sitting in Shen Feng's car, Liu Ye looked a little drowsy. Zhang Wanwan glanced at her and asked, Yu Ye, did you stay up late? She could see the dark circles under Liu Ye's eyes. No. Liu Ye said in a low voice, feeling a little guilty. Her guilt was clearly shown on her face, and Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan naturally saw it at a glance. As Shen Feng drove, he asked, what time did you watch TV yesterday? I wasn't watching TV, I was playing games. Liu Ye reacted after she finished speaking and quickly shut her mouth. Shen Sheng smiled and said in a slow voice, no matter what you do, don't play too late. No. Liu Ye nodded honestly. Then she suddenly added, I just play King of Glory with a few friends I know. They have things to do during the day and are free at night. So sometimes we play a little late. I will try to control it in the future. In fact, even if Shen Feng didn't say it, Liu Ye felt that her body couldn't take it anymore recently. She has been playing games with her group friends almost every day recently. However, group members like to 2-2 and group owner usually go offline after 12 o'clock. Then she played duo with Wang Chuan Don Dao Che until very late. Recently, Wang Chuan has finally started to speak on the microphone. But he still speaks very little and his voice seems to be very low. Wang Chuan said that he was afraid of disturbing others' rest. So Liu Ye didn't take it too seriously. She and Wang Chuan often played games until 2 or 3 o'clock. Or even 3 or 4 o'clock. It's not that she is so obsessed with playing games. She just felt comfortable playing with Wang Chuan. It was like there was an older brother accompanying her and protecting her all the time. If someone scolds her, Wang Chuan will support her. If someone kills her, Wang Chuan will avenge her. This reminded Liu Ye of the feeling when Shen Feng helped her out in the mall. Liu Ye feels very happy playing games with him. But in recent days, she has been staying up late and feeling groggy, and she is not in good shape all day long. So she told Wang Chuan this morning that she should go to bed early in the future. After driving back to Zhonghe City, Shen Feng originally wanted to take Liu Ya home to rest first, and then look for a job for Liu Ya online. However, halfway through the journey, Sister Lin called Zhang Wanwan. She said she found a suitable house near the studio that could be used as a dormitory. But it was only for sale and not for rent, so she wanted Zhang Wanwan to come over and take a look and make her decision. Although Zhang Wanwan doesn't live there, she is the boss of the studio after all. And she can't just be a hands-off boss who doesn't care about anything. So in the end, Shen Feng drove and took Zhang Wanwan and Liu Ya to Sister Lin's place. Wanfeng Lin's studio is located in the suburbs of Zhonghe City. It's a bit remote, but that's why the room rate is cheap. The house that Sister Lin found was a small villa near the studio. The price here is not expensive. The original owner must be in a hurry to use the money. So it is much cheaper than the market price. It was just listed for sale today. And I saw it as soon as it was put on the shelf. In the villa, Sister Lin introduced Shen Feng and Zhang Wanwan. The original owner said